waiting
and
on?
then we'll move.
Oh,
from there.
Ali, and it's his prompt too. That son of a bitch.
Do you
Well,
even
he
know your
inspired
dosage
the
of
prompt.
OxyContin? Is it the 10 milligrams, the
I have
20?
no idea.
Not enough.
Dosage of
I
He's
said,
just been
it
popping
says
them.
take
Like, what
one
difference
pill,
does it
and
make?
I
He's been
go,
popping them.
done.
Not enough.
And then they go,
Popping
you
them.
three
Like,
pills,
Rover's not
and I
cutting it
go,
no more.
done.
Because, like, yeah, if it's like the 5 or 10, like, that's like
Like, Rover's not
base
cutting.
stuff.
You gotta take a.
I
That's
am
right.
pretty
That's right,
tolerant
Corey. You gotta
bunch.
take a real man's.
That's right. It's got to take a
right?
heroic
Hey,
dose, like psychedelics.
Hunter, are you not cool? Are you lame? Right? How much have you taken so far?
Yeah, I do feel a little bit like I'm a little for sure not exactly here. But then I was like, maybe this will make an entertaining stream. So here's what I'm saying. If I'm being weird, kick me. I get it. It'll probably
You shouldn't.
I mean,
The opioids should not affect you that disproportionately.
yeah, I think I'll be okay. I'm
I
not
have a
I
collection
think
of-
I'm in control of my
Yes, you should. It's not like it's not like alcohol
Executive
where it's like you're gonna be like
totally.
like super
I-
disinhibited.
this is a collection of.
That's why you
strange
can pop it
individuals,
and then go
right?
to work,
Like,
right?
These
Corey?
individuals that
Yes,
come
people do
onto
that.
this channel
That's a
are
different
not
mistake.
like regular people. Right? Like we all have like like personalities, right? Like regular folks. Like, well, they'd be scared away from this forum. But yeah, so you guys are all straight. So it's like, hey, man, I'm being weird. I mean, maybe a different flavor of weird, but like that's weird.
How are we gonna know
allows
that
you to be
you're
here.
acting weird?
I feel like I get accused of being a normie way more than anyone here. I think I have the most normie politics. Is that true? Maybe.
Absolutely
I
not.
mean,
Gibbs, you have
I by
no-
far the closest to the normal ball.
What
You
the fuck are you
have the
talking about?
Hunter, you have the norm. You do have
It doesn't have to be a compliment, but like I
And-
do
and-
think
no,
that
Where do
Yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah,
where do
Gibbs
you
is
think
the
I
most
get my
reasonable.
politics from? You think I'm coming up with this shit on my own? Like, come on, fam.
I don't think you're coming up with this shit on your own.
I
I'm
don't
just
think
saying.
your personality is normie. Your personality is not normie. That's what I'm
Mine?
referring to.
That's
not
called
your
entertainment. You know.
Gibbs' personality is for sure not normie.
Mm.
That's a good thing, Gibbs. Never
It's
change.
Definitely not. It's a good time though. I hung out with him. It was a lot of fun actually. Okay, so
Oh,
does
Aura,
anyone-
Aura Tharman, you know.
So oh my God.
Blackwood, do you think Gibbs is more median than me?
Yeah, I think Gibbs is a centrist, actually.
Right.
Isn't that an insult?
No, I don't think
Hey.
so.
I don't think so.
No, it's an insult.
No.
You're
It's an
insulting
insult
him.
to Prime for sure.
It's called success. You know. Since
Low-key,
it's
it's
different, you play both
Centrist,
sides.
or I don't know if I've ever met a cool centrist.
They
Wait,
don't-
hold
You
on,
have
maybe
to. You
one.
have today.
Gibbs, stop being so
I
dumb.
love, somehow
Gibbs
this
is
is
right in
working
the
for-
middle.
Gibbs,
Right in the middle of what?
I got invited to a debate because Gibbs talked to someone, and then they like introduced me, and they're like, "The Jewish fundamentalist Hunter Kozak." I'm like, "What have you been telling
What?
these people?"
the fuck?
I'm like,
I didn't tell him anything.
What
I
the
didn't tell him
fuck?
anything, bro. It's
Yes,
crazy.
you did. They introduced.
Nah.
I didn't tell them I was Jewish. That's not. I was like, I'm Mormon mostly. Like that's the.
I
for sure said
these
Jewish.
people, these
Fucked up,
And
people,
they were like,
these
"Oh,
people
he,
know.
he
They
is
know.
ride or die. Like he's like a Torah. Like he's like an Orthodox."
This is what I told you was happening. You didn't believe me when I told you this was happening, so I
What do you
make
mean
sure
I
you
didn't?
were.
What are
When
you
you
saying?
were around, I kept telling you all that. Everywhere I go now, people are like, "Oh, Gibbs is the Mossad because he was with that Kozak guy."
That's it's pretty like racist, man.
Their brothers in the jumping, yeah.
Racist.
I mean, the Mexicans. I don't fucking know, and so I bring them on over.
I'm not
and they-
blaming you, Gibbs, of course, but I'm just saying like that. you talk to a Jew, you must be a Messiah.
Well, I
Well,
think it's
not
more than
just
that.
I'm a
Yeah,
Jew.
I think there's a second part.
There
of
is
that,
a
yeah.
second part of that like,
Yeah.
but it is only those two
That's still
factors,
pretty
right?
racist. Nah, it's still pretty racist.
Yeah,
too.
It's
Like, I
just
don't know.
that I'm Jewish and then was also, you know.
Yeah, that you were there for like a.
Yeah.
Well, I've been telling y'all
for
that.
other Jews in the audience. Like
You don't have to convince me, Gibbs. I promise you, I get more messages than you do
Hey, I believe it. Don't you
about
worry.
how I'm
Don't
a
you-
Messiah. I bitched someone so hard and it felt so good. She came in and she's like, "You're a crisis actor," and I went off on her, and she's like, "I didn't even say anything that bad." I'm like, "You called me a murderer," and she's like, "It was on Google. If that's not true, just fix it." I'm like, "You're a fucking psycho."
It was a, oh, sure.
I
Yeah,
win.
oh.
I
Oh,
really
you know
really
Google.
yelled at
Just
her.
go
and
knock on
it
Google's
made me
door
feel
and say,
good.
"Hey,
Yeah,
please fix
exactly.
Yeah, this
Oh
is
man.
stupid. But Lactoid, sorry, Lactoid he was saying that because this somehow fits into his political messaging. So, Lacta, if you could explain why you think Gibbs is a centrist, that will shine light as to what you're trying to pull over on us.
Yeah, I think everything that he says is like very moderate. He doesn't really have any kind of extreme proposals. Everything is kind of,
True.
it seems like he listens to both sides, and then just sort of like tries to
Takes a very
pragmatically
measured
find-
approach.
Yes, measured approach, and he tries to find the most, like what respecting the interests of all parties involved. That's
He's really
what I
threading
think
that
about.
needle, finding
That's what I think
compromise
about
in
when I
every
think about
situation.
Admiral Gibbs and his
That's,
politics.
I think I've never heard a better description
Where-
of politics in my life.
Lactoid, then
It's
you
because
tell me.
he has a couple doctorates, and so he needs to defend the legitimacy, I think, of
Exactly.
those doctorates.
Listen, I'm
by
defending
not-
them very,
See, he
very
defends
well.
the institutions, but he's also critical of them. So he,
You know,
he walks
we're,
that-
we're,
Exactly.
modernizing,
Exactly.
we're modernizing the institutions. Is what we're doing.
Yes.
Lactoid,
He's
Tell me-
centralizing the answer. Go ahead.
where you are in on the political spectrum in relation to Gibbs.
Oh, extreme. Very, like, way out there.
fascist. Just call yourself a fascist.
Yeah.
Say it.
Gibbs
Say
is
it,
like.
Lactoid.
No, I'm a hand washer of fascism.
Oh, okay.
Gibbs is.
Are we the same? Are we the same ideologically?
Well, hold on. I think I was upgraded recently to bootlicker.
Bootlicker, yeah.
Oh,
So
No, no,
yours-
I think
this
according to
isn't-
Ali,
not
you're a
bootlicker?
seasoned
I don't know which one I
bootlicker.
am.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
You gotta put that- you gotta put that in your resume,
Yeah.
actually.
yeah.
Right,
See,
hold on.
every time
That's a
he throws
title.
a label at me, it is also something that can be thrown at me.
Lactoid isn't new to this. He's true to this, right? He's been a bootlicker like from
Right.
day one, from day zero. What the fuck are you
Right.
talking about?
Right.
This ain't new.
Yeah. So I put myself like way out there, but then Gibbs is kind of like a moderating force in our discussions. I think
Yeah, that's what I really appreciate.
He
about him.
brings
Yeah.
me over to the more moderate side.
I try. You know, we gotta
Especially
reach
with,
out our
especially
hand.
with his pedophile protector positions, right?
Oh,
He's
man.
really threading the needle
Yeah,
there,
hey,
right?
hey, how you're extreme compared to that. So tell me, what's the extreme version?
Hector. Hold on, I'm not protecting nobody.
He's
Hey,
on the
if
other.
they're
He's
guilty-
supporting the pedophiles even
Hold on,
more.
hold on.
right?
If they're guilty, throw their ass in the wood chipper. This is a not just a left right argument. This is like a north south classes argument. I don't give a shit.
The
I'm
centrist
just
take.
saying. I'm just saying. I'm trying to make more money, and I'm trying to have more money.
True.
And I listen. I don't.
Centrist
At this point, I feel like all the government people are pedos. So let's throw them all in the wood chipper and replace them with people that are going to look out for me better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a shit about none of them. But I'm going to vote for the one that puts policy forward. That's going to help me. And if that's protecting the pedos, I guess.
Lactoid.
I don't-
What's the extreme version of Gibbs's pedo protector take? Go ahead. I'm waiting.
Yeah, what's extreme
Wow.
of that?
Gibbs, I have a question for you.
Thank
No,
you. Hunter. Go ahead.
hold on, wait,
No,
wait.
no, no. Why'd you
No,
drop
no,
Hunter?
rescue him.
Here, I'm
the.
the hand as the hand
No, no,
washer.
no,
I
no,
will
no, no,
distract
no.
from.
Lactoid first.
He's on
fascism.
oxy content.
first.
You can't interrupt.
How is that
Part
not
of
like?
it.
How is that not a fairly
Go ahead.
normie take though? What I just said.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Gibbs
Lactoid
isn't done
first.
explaining himself. Go ahead.
Guys,
Gibbs.
I wanna know if that's not a normal take, though.
run interference for him.
How is that like a
Lactoid
milk
first.
toast taste?
One
Is that
second.
not a milk toast taste?
Lactoid first. Lactoid, tell me, what's the extreme version of the pedal protector agenda?
Well, I need to hear the full position. So go ahead, Gibbs.
Yeah, you heard the full position.
He knows
I know
it.
what-
He's
I just
playing
wanna
dumb.
know- I just
He
want to know
knows
what I said right there of what I just said. How that is not a normie.
No. First of all, you're trying to roll back exactly what you said previously.
I
You
said-
know what
I
you
said-
said. You said it twice.
No,
right?
no.
You know what
Corey
it
tried to
is.
play a trap game, and I wouldn't buy it.
It's
That's
not.
what happened.
It's not a trap game. It's literally just a
Y'all
hypothetical.
were the ones who said y'all were gonna let it keep happening. Well, I said I would while y'all called somebody.
Oh,
I was
I
going to
forgot
see
what we were
I was
talking
gonna
about.
go.
That
I said
was
I was
a
going to go
good
in there,
moment.
and I said I was going to shoot something, shoot him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what about
Y'all were
what
just
about
gonna
while
stop
you're
it when it
calling the
happened.
police? I remember that one.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
fucking
gonna
great.
end the problem. Y'all are gonna let it happen while y'all didn't like it all. So you're really the ones letting it keep going. In
Right.
fact, y'all are
Of course,
endorsing it. You're endorsing it.
Okay.
No,
Well,
Lactoid's
as
running.
Lactoid literally runs away from the question. I guess we can move on.
I think
going to
the
look for his
extreme- I think the
yeah,
extreme
you gotta look for his
position is
position.
calling
Can't
and
find
not,
it.
it's calling and not stopping it, not the extreme position.
That wasn't hypothetical. You know
well,
that.
I'm hypothetical and I'm saying it is.
Yeah, I know because it helps you.
Because that's what y'all did. Y'all said y'all put
We
forth
did it.
hypothetical.
Let's.
And I accepted it.
Okay, Hunter, do you have something you want to add, Gibbs? After that, we'll get started.
Gibbs, I have a question.
Well, that's it.
Let's say you're a slave owner in the 1700s,
Damn, that's tough.
and there's a policy that goes forward, and they're starting to consider. There's some abolitionist question marks, and they go, "Should you get rid of your slaves?"
Yeah, and I'm going to answer. It's real simple. I think it might behoove me to maybe come up with new contracts for my slaves' freedom,
Liar.
so that I don't end up dying and I can make more money in the long term.
You know that's
Maybe,
not true.
maybe we try out something new, like a
You
co-op.
know that largely slave owners profited from
Yeah,
slaves.
yeah, but you know what's
That's actually not a controversial
You know what
thing.
is not a problem? I'm not arguing they didn't, because not paying your workers makes you a lot of money. But you know what pays you less money? Being
Hey.
dead. Like if you're dead, you can't make no money. So I'm just saying,
That part's
I'm all
true.
about the living. You know,
That's true.
you know, and
That's a normie. That's a centrist normie take. You're being
Just
dead.
saying.
Can't get
Wanting
paid.
to be alive again.
Yeah.
Another centrist take from Gibbs.
crazy takes.
What a
I got.
compromise.
Wait, are
Admiral
we
Gibbs grounds us?
are we realizing that Gibbs is the only true centrist
Yeah,
on
he's
this
a
correct.
panel?
centrist.
I'm
Yeah.
saying, bro, it's crazy.
I'm the hand washer. Lactoid
Yeah.
is the ball washer.
Yeah.
No,
And we ball wash.
bootlicker.
Who are we ball washing though?
No,
I was the,
said
boot, I was the
bootlicker did it right.
bootlicker. Get it right.
You
I-
wash
I,
hands.
I
he
haven't
licks
been promoted
boots.
yet to ball washer. That's
I
next.
apologize. I've yeah. Well, I've been there, so I'm just waiting for.
Okay.
I'm waiting for some companionship because it's getting lonely up here. Just washing at the balls by myself.
Okay. Well, when Ben was
Don't
here-
use that tone as if you didn't create this term and throw it at us.
Actually, I
didn't
created
create-
the term.
Okay,
I
that's
didn't create
probably
the term.
true.
But I wish I did. Right.
I kept
because
misconstruing. What is it? Hand wringing. What do you
Yeah,
what's
hand
the
wringing
actual
and ball
term?
washer. I think.
You
And
guys
then
don't
turn
even
it
remember
into
the
hand
actual
washer?
term.
I don't know.
No, I don't know I've never known the actual term. I've always called it.
I
No,
was
you
hand
have,
washing for
right?
a
'Cause I
while,
said
and
it
then I was
multiple
bootlicking.
times.
Yeah.
But like you just like ignored it. and made it your own thing.
So
Oh.
who's Ali? Is he just a straight up communist? Is
I
he
actually
a-
think I'm the only. I'm the true centrist. I'm just the. I'm the
that
panel.
Gibbs has
live.
already taken that.
Yeah,
Nope.
You can't,
Sorry, bro.
See,
you can't steal it from
Gibbs is a Texan and
Cultural
I'm a
appropriation.
Michigander. He covers the South.
True.
I cover the North. I speak for the people. Okay, I speak for the people.
Actually, not a bad take. Like I feel like Ali and I are really not that far. It's just like maybe like a
I
few
agree.
degrees. Like
I
he's a little more
agree.
left, I'm a little more right because it's but it's
What,
like
there's got to be a term for like how the extremes of both sides sort of curve towards each other.
Yeah, you're either. Well, listen,
Something like
this is
that.
how
I
it
don't
works,
know.
Hunter.
Yeah.
It's really simple.
like
You're
a rainbow, like rainbow theory. I think that's what
You're either
that's all.
Islamophobic and you're anti the Arab Middle Eastern countries, right? Or you're anti-Zionist and you're anti. That's the way. That's the breakdown.
That's it.
I'm not anti anything. I'm pro whatever makes me the most money. That's what
No,
I'm
you're
I'm on your side. I'm way more on your
you're
side than
anti-lab
Gibbs
grown
is.
meat. That is clear.
I would largely consider
Well,
myself
that would not make me
anti-Zionist,
money.
even though you
Because it
wouldn't.
loses him money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He owns.
Uh,
So like Gibbs is like Ali. So Ali worships Allah, and then Gibbs worships Gibbs. So it's like if you were to place
No, Gibbs worships money.
Yeah.
well, what money for Gibbs? Like there's a
I,
purpose
I wish.
Yeah,
I
he
wish
doesn't worship money
tithing
for other people for sure.
Right.
to myself.
to my.
I could tithe to the Lord, because that's the only one who needs my money.
I like it.
let's get started. But thanks all for being here. Much appreciated. This one was a particularly short one, but if you liked our little intro, consider hitting the follow button. Whether you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, or Kick, and being part of the community, consider super chatting on YouTube. That's a huge help. Or becoming a subscriber on Twitch, or just hitting the follow button on Kick. That'd be great if you did that. Please do that. Okay, let's get started. During the first Trump administration, Title 42 was invoked, which allowed the president to shut down border crossings and expel migrants to stop the spread of disease. This was continued into the Biden administration until the invocation expired in 2023. In the present day, a cruise ship is docking at the Canary Islands, where 100 or so passengers will receive medical treatment for a hantavirus outbreak. I'm gonna correct this because I think I mixed like two stories together. I didn't realize were two stories at the time. But anyway, protests have broken out with people concerned about the spread of disease. Are these concerns warranted? Should populations be worried about the spread of disease as it relates to immigration? Should a provision such as Title 42 exist? Or is it just another manifestation of our demonization of migrants? And shout out to Ali, who's always being helpful to the channel for sending me a story and sparking this. But okay, so help me if I'm wrong here, because maybe I'm fucking this up. Right? Are there two cruise ships? There's one. Like there's a hantavirus, right? So most
Mhm.
people died there. But then there's another. I thought I heard there was another one with the norovirus.
Yeah, that one's
norovirus.
less of a big deal though. Norovirus
I've only heard
is
of the
all over the
Hanta.
place in America.
What's it called? The
Norovirus.
neural?
I think that's pretty
Noro.
standard for just
Oh,
any
noro,
cruise ship.
norovirus. Okay.
Like,
Yeah, it
you
is.
get
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it comes up on cruise ships all the time.
Yeah.
It's spread through contact or exposure to the waste of another person. It comes up a lot in like areas that have karsted soil that use kind of they use septic systems that are kind of higher up, just because there's not a lot of drainage through the area, and the drinking water happens to become contaminated pretty easily. And then cruise ships, yeah, that one's not. I'm guessing they're throwing that on because of the hantavirus thing has gotten so much attention. They're like, oh, look, another infection over here. Norovirus is super common.
I've been on like 21 or 22 cruises, and like everywhere you go on a cruise ship, they have fucking hand sanitizer. Oh god, put out, and they fucking have it everywhere, and then they have like signs everywhere. Stop norovirus. So like, yeah, it's been a thing.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, PSA, like, don't go on cruises. They're motherfucking petri dishes.
I love
like
They are cesspools.
fucking ill.
I love
Any which way. Sorry.
Also
They're fun, though.
environmentally very
True.
inefficient.
Yeah, they're awful. But in any case, so there's the hantavirus. All right, so thank you for that, because I was getting a little confused there. So there's the hantavirus cruise ship that is stopping at the Canary Islands. And people are going to be let off, and some people I think have already left, and they're they're making their way back home. Some of them will come to the United States. We've got a few, like just a few who are on that ship, but they're going to be monitored. There are people who haven't been showing symptoms. There's also like an incubation period here, right? Where like apparently like you're not infectious until you start showing symptoms, and these people haven't started showing symptoms yet. So like, okay, we'll let you go, but we're going to monitor you if you do start showing symptoms, and we'll do something then. That's my understanding of the situation. In any case. So yeah, Title 42 is activated during the Trump years, and like he uses this to crack down on the border more so than previously. And yeah, Biden, he doesn't change this, right? Like this is a policy shift, and Biden like goes along with it. But this like comes along, through a long line of I'll call it fear mongering. Other people may say differently. You guys can have your own opinion, right? But I'll call it fear mongering that like talks about like how the migrants are diseased, right? They bring all kinds of societal ills to your shores, and one of them are their diseases. And so just another reason to keep them out. And so I to examine that, like, are these fears reasonable? Is it not fear mongering, or are we just like identifying a real thing that we should be concerned about? Yeah, I just want to know what your thoughts are on that. So we'll start with our friend Lactoid, work our way around.
Lactoid, you could find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. So yeah, I mean, I think it is a problem. From what I've looked up before this panel is that there are a number of studies that demonstrate that infectious diseases are much more common amongst especially infectious diseases are much more common among foreign-born individuals. Tuberculosis being the biggest one, like over 70% of all TB cases in America are identified amongst people who are born in a different country. Tuberculosis is particularly nasty in the sense that it's not very easily treatable, despite being a bacterial infection. You get it, you can treat it using a long course of antibiotics, and then it kind of enters this latent phase where you don't really get rid of it, and then it can pop up later on in your life, and it can be deadly, and it can cause a lot of other issues as well. Hantavirus is probably much less of a concern when it comes, and to be honest with you, not super relevant to the immigration discussion, because my understanding is the people coming to America from the cruise ship are Americans that were on the cruise ship, and they're coming here. That being said, I mean, if there was, let's say Mexico had like a giant outbreak of hantavirus, the kind of human-to-human communicable version that appears to be in South America, especially. Yeah, I think that preventing the spread of that in America would be a good idea. Could it be used to demonize people? Sure, but at the same time, I give a little bit of grace when it comes to these kind of decisions made during a pandemic, right? Because yes, looking back, there are things that could be done differently, and I think it's fair to hold people accountable for making wrong calls. That's okay, but in the moment, I don't want to be super like limited in the sense of look where we got it wrong before, so now let's not do anything. Um, because yeah, the coronavirus restrictions I think went too far, and went too far for too long. But let's say there was let's say this hantavirus thing actually it becomes much more communicable than we seem to think it is, and then it starts to cause massive amounts of infections and massive amounts of deaths. I mean that'd be a real problem. I think that'd be kind of fucking crazy. Like people are really critical as to the U.S. AIDS response back in the '80s, but we didn't know what it was. Like all of a sudden we just have people dying. Like this is terrifying when you don't know what it is. Yeah, looking back, were the people who were like, oh, I don't want to share water fountains, or I don't want to drink from the same cup. I don't want to be around people who have this disease. Were they wrong? Sure, but like I wouldn't behave differently if there's this new disease popping up where I don't know how it's transmitted and it's killing people in a most gruesome manner. Yeah, I think that Title 42 should remain as a legally viable option if we need to use it, if there's particularly dangerous diseases coming or originating in certain areas or kind of spreading across the globe. But, obviously any use of that should be critically examined. The centrist take.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to our friend Hunter.
Hi. So, got a few things to say. I'm going to disagree with, I think, everyone who's spoken so far.
That's one person.
It's two. Prime was also. Sorry, I was talking about Prime and Lactoid. I think Prime put in this intentionality when it came to Biden that essentially the Title 42 expulsions were just a way to hide behind how many people he wanted to deport. I don't think that there's evidence for that at all. It was obviously during the 2020 pandemic. Maybe I'm reading into your statements and you don't believe that. I don't know. We could talk about that once we all get into it. I think the hantavirus is a pretty serious virus, mostly just because it kind of hits the three benchmarks of possible pandemic, which is the infection rate, the incubation rates, and fatality rates. And they're all the ones that you want to be high, don't want to be high, are high, and the ones that you don't want to be low are low. The incubation rates mostly, like if you can spread that before it actually takes hold, it's a pretty serious issue. When it comes to immigration, obviously I think that we can be pragmatic without being racist. And I think I want to be really careful about it. I think one of the big things that I'm going to be looking for in this debate is people who hide their prescriptions under their descriptions, where they'll say something like, well, look, immigrants are coming in and they're bringing in diseases. Okay, that might be true. You might be able to pull up a chart wherein more immigrants are coming in with more diseases. But what is your prescription here? Are you saying that we need to, if there's a Mexican kid in your school, you should probably be avoiding? Like, what specifically are you advocating for here? And I think that very often people can be racist covertly when they're hiding behind what they're saying. I also think that Lactoid might be whitewashing the AIDS outbreak in the 1980s just a little bit. Not a little bit, actually quite a bit. I think that they were pretty aggressively homophobic, even when scientists were saying pretty explicitly that you can't catch this by touching each other. Obviously, I don't necessarily blame them on the original onset, but that continued far longer than it needed to. Excited to be here. I don't know. I think that's about it. I don't know if I'm addressing the question. Maybe I'm just addressing the people behind me. So I'm passing it off to Corey.
All right. So,
or sorry, I shouldn't be choosing who goes next. Prime, is Corey next? I just assumed it was going to go in a line. I apologize for
It was.
taking
No, no.
taking over your reins.
It was presumptuous of you, but
It
like,
was, and I realized it
oh,
only
wow.
afterward. I apologize.
it's because you're high. It's all right.
It is low key.
He's feeling good.
Corey.
I felt that in my soul what he just did. Though. I've definitely done that on panels. Be like, oh, shit.
And Gibbs is high too, probably. But yeah, so in to the prompt in terms of like these protesters in the Canary Islands. So I haven't been able to dig into like while researching this cruise ship. Does anybody happen to know like where this cruise company or ship is like stationed out of? Is it, like from France or
I think it's a
whatnot?
Dutch ship that was in South America.
Oh, okay. Does anybody know? Well, I'm posing the question, but like, yeah, what is the legality of a cruise ship like docking in the Canary Islands? That like, I don't think it has, you know, like I assume they need to get some sort of approval.
Yeah,
they
they
can't
were
just
given
like dock
permission.
anywhere. Oh, okay. But it's like, yeah, assuming you know the cruise ship is docking legally, which it seems like it is. But there's a question of like, well, should they have been given legal approval to do that? I guess, you know, there's a debate around that. But let's say in regards to the protest, does it seem like they have, at least in regards to this outbreak, the most valid of concerns? Doesn't look like it in terms of like the transmissibility and the potential for like this actually, you know, well, I don't want to eat my words or jinx anything, but this seems to have a lower level of inducing a pandemic than previous viruses. But yeah, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I hope I'm not. But all that to say is like, are there valid concerns when it comes to the spreading of viruses? Obviously, do I think that Title 42 should exist? On paper, it seems to have some utility, but like, do I think it has been overused or used for unjustified purposes in the past? It looks like it to me. But yeah, in terms of the spreading of communicable diseases amongst the immigrant population, sure, if you maybe dissect the data a little bit, there might be a signal there when it comes to the spread of tuberculosis. But even then, let's say, as far as I can tell, there is no significant problem of tuberculosis in the United States or like pretty much all of North America. And so I think like the total number of cases, even in one of the articles that Prime sent, it's like about 10,000 per year.
Not if RFK gets his way.
True. Yes, it's a factor to consider.
I think it's
And
the best
so,
seat for that, by the way, but
which RFK may not be in favor of actually. But yeah, all that to say is like that's a very low number by my estimation. And so, and again, it does not seem like at most you can say legal immigration has a mild to moderate effect, okay, on the tuberculosis rate in the United States. I don't think that justifies demonizing them to this extent, and I'll leave it there for now.
All right, let's go to our finale.
In terms of like if there's an outbreak of something, I think it's fine to probably shut down borders if we're worried about having a COVID number 2. We kind of shut down the entire world, and then we shut down our country, and it wasn't bad. And listen, I was in Michigan. I had a great time during the pandemic. Okay, I was getting paid. I traveled. I shouldn't have. I was irresponsible, but there were a lot of people who were, because it wasn't. There are a lot of people who aren't going to take it seriously. So I think if you're going to look at your country, maybe it's good to shut down the borders during times of the pandemic. Sure, racism might come from it. We saw the racism that came from COVID. Asian people experienced a lot of attacks and viciousness, which isn't warranted, right? But that's probably going to happen regardless whether or not we shut down the border. If we can link the virus to a certain like region, we're probably going to demonize people from that region. It's going to be unfortunate, but like, I mean, currently right now, it was like with this boat, I personally, I don't know how they let it dock and how they let the people get off. At a certain point, I don't know how someone didn't just not literally, but like just bomb the boat and get rid of the entire virus once and for all, unless we have another pandemic. It's the new trolley, right? It's the new trolley. Do you dock the boat and possibly spread the virus, or do you just get rid of the boat and no virus? I don't know. I think that's where we're at now. But in terms of like demonizing people, I think travelers in general, when you're going to other countries, this has always been a thing. You're asked to get shots for certain places. You're asked to like take certain precautions when you're going to certain places and come back. I think traveling in general has like a huge stigma, especially when it comes to disease. So I don't understand why migrants wouldn't also have like a stigma.
Okay. Last but not least, our friend Gibbs.
Yeah, so here's a hot take, because we're talking about COVID and whatnot. But
Centrist take.
right, I'm saying some vaccines they work, right? Like smallpox, it's existed for 4,000, 5,000 years, somewhere this range, 3,000 some instance. And guess what? It's gone, except for like weaponized smallpox now because we used vaccines taken out. Now I can admit some vaccines might be a little sus, and maybe I won't be the guinea pig. Personally for some of them, but if I think we need one, we need one. But there's a kind of a concept as a whole. Imagine you're in a country where you don't get any vaccines and you decide you're going to come to America and you're going to come here, right? Well, guess what? It's probably higher or more likely that some of these people are going to carry some diseases that we might have eradicated here. I don't think it's a giant leap of logic to come to that conclusion. I personally want a huge, strong border so we can check everybody out. And then I want to have some reform and have people come here who want to work. But when I'm sitting here seeing like this kind of thing, whether Title 42 should exist, yeah, absolutely. If you believe in the government as a whole needs the power to do some things. And one of those should be to stop an influx of infection across your borders, right? And I feel like, hey, check this out. Oh, some people coming in, that country's having some disease. It might look bad, like on the surface. Oh God, country A has all this disease coming in. Well, maybe country A needs to get their shit together. Maybe it's not necessarily racism. Maybe I just don't want to fucking catch Ebola. I don't know if that's crazy, but maybe it is. Who knows?
Okay. Open to the public or panel.
Could be open to the public too if you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I mean, Gibbs, are you to clarify your position? Are you saying that the immigrant population is contributing to some sort of
yeah, I mean,
massive
you can
disease
look at
outbreak in the United
Texas
States?
as a really good example of this right now. It's actually happening like this year. I think someone mentioned it in the chat, but it's I think it's El Paso, actually. Here, actually, let me pull it up here. They have 175 cases reported of statewide measles. 135 of them are in this one facility in West Texas detention facility in Hudspeth County, right? And so all of them are coming from what they call first of all, it's a detention center, so close proximity is a big problem. But secondly, a lot of these people don't have measles vaccines, right? And so it's spreading, and now it's spread to people here in America who don't have measles vaccines.
But according to
And
some
it's
people in the
leaving.
government, the measles vaccine is not effective, though.
Yeah, the MMR vaccine is like one of the biggest ones that is being on the chopping block.
Well, I mean, once again, regardless of whether or not the vaccines effective.
Regardless, how's that regardless?
Hold on,
Regardless
let
of
me
whether it's
finish.
effective treatment.
I'll tell you why. Is we have, for the most part, got rid of measles in America. Yes or no? Right? We have. And
Yes,
so whenever we
Because of
have
vaccines. Because of vaccines.
and like maybe other medical treatments. I'm not a fucking doctor.
Maybe. Okay. just throwing it
Sure,
in there.
Maybe.
sure, whatever. Regardless, we've eliminated this our country, which is my greater point. And hey, this other country has not eliminated it, and now someone with that brought it to a facility here in America where it's going to spread in a contained environment. And now it's escaped it and all over Texas. I think that's an issue that we can point to, saying, "Hey, immigrants do cause this."
Yeah, but
now, I'm not saying fuck them for it, but
Well, are you
it's not
saying
a
there's
crazy
only
concept.
measles cases in Texas?
I mean, no.
I think the issue that I have-
specifically we're having in and out outbreak in Texas stemming from this one facility.
I think the issue that I have is the aggressive
That's just an
amount
example.
of targeting coming from, I want to say maybe even conservatives writ large. Definitely the RFK strain of the Republican Party has been targeting the MMR vaccine for maybe about, 20 years, ever since Wakefield, but definitely has come up with a very new fervor with RFK. So it feels very strange when we're looking at measles outbreaks and conservatives are like, well, it's because of the immigrants. I think it's very possible that it's because of dumbass homeschool moms who don't vaccinate their kids. I could be wrong, but that certainly has to be part of the equation at the very least.
To that point, Hunter Gibbs, you're saying that it's spreading within these facilities because these people don't have their vaccines, but where did they catch it? Right? It's not like they brought the measles.
Yeah,
with
they brought
them,
the
right?
measles
They
with
can't-
them. Yes, that's what's happened. Is they brought it
Because
with them.
you said there was 170 cases and 130 of them was from the facility, but then
Right.
there's
So
40
I guess
cases.
I guess my point, Ali, is basically let's say 10 people come from, I don't know, let's pick Guatemala. Okay, they come from Guatemala and
That's
and
one of
they
your
get-
favorite countries.
I actually
we
love
use it
Guatemala.
often.
Yeah, I know. Because I like Guatemala. It's fun. And when you go there, and they come here, right? And so 9 of these people don't have measles.
Yeah.
All right. And let's say there's another 10 people from Mexico and another 10 people from Cuba or whatever. And so 30, 40 people in this group. They get here. Only one guy's got measles. right? Now,
Yeah, I get how it spreads.
and so then they're in this closed facility. Now all of those people get measles, right? Okay,
Yeah.
and then a guard gets measles, and now it's out of it, right? And so
Yeah.
because they have not eliminated it in Guatemala, right? Then it's going like it puts everybody at risk, and it's because they're immigrants, and it's like not like a race thing. It's like just like a damn, this sucks for you kind of thing, and I'd rather not suck for me kind of thing. Like we just have to look at facts.
Well, it's not because
These
they're
people-
immigrants; because they don't have a measles vaccine, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm
or
sure
they're
there are
healthcare,
some
they're
people
living
Do
in
they not have
Mexico.
a measles vaccine?
with this hypothetical that he's posing.
Well, they
it's
just
because,
not. They don't
you
have
know,
widespread health.
Now, obviously there are some. Obviously, there
Okay.
are some people in Mexico, right? At least 10 people in Mexico that have a measles vaccine, I'm sure. And so, like, what I'm saying is, like, I agree that is one way that it could spread is that a bunch of people with no vaccines could come over and then it would contract and spread. I'm just saying it doesn't seem to. It wasn't happening before, right? There weren't like groups before, but now, as of lately, there are a bunch of like homeschool moms who aren't
Sure,
vaccinating.
but the
who
point of the
aren't
government is to
Wait,
stop
hold on.
those people from catching
so,
it here.
so like if I agree with you, I can see how it could spread one way. You can understand how it could also spread the other way, where like the same group of people could come without vaccines, right? But then could catch the measles within America, so it's not their fault that they have the measles and the spread. I'm just
I
So,
also want to
hold
say
on.
I pulled up some because I was curious, like where specifically this happened, and you know
I
what?
just
I'm going to
posted
say
a
Gibbs is somewhat right, but in the wrong way. He is right that this happened at a detention facility. One of the huge issues that happened is there was not a strong amount of record keeping about who was in the facilities and what their vaccination systems were, and that ICE wasn't complying with city or state directives about vaccination status.
Well, that's my problem right there. That's my whole point. Is these people don't have the record. We don't have the records. They don't know.
Well, hold on, before
No. It's not that the illegal immigrants didn't have records.
Sure.
It's that-
I mean, the record keeping overall is a problem. Whether it's ICE, whether it's them, I don't give a fuck. Like, why is that a crazy concept?
No.
We need better
Here's-
record keeping.
here's my-
For them or them, like,
I fully agree that we need better record
somewhere it
companies,
doesn't
but like,
deserve to be. is
I
what
think
it
my
is.
issue is that very often ICE detention, or sorry, are you pointing to someone else, Prime? Do you want someone else to go?
No, you finish your point. Then I'm gonna. I gotta.
Sure. I do think that there is this emphasis on dehumanizing people in these facilities while recognizing that like maybe dehumanizing people by just like not allowing them vaccinations or determining like giving them looking into their medical records or allowing them doctors like actually does affect the rest of us. That's all I'll say.
So,
I'll pass it off. To
I
someone.
want to say, hold on. I want to get some other people in.
That's
And
fine.
I'm going to go to Lactoid, but just before I do, I'm just going to say something very quickly. Yeah. So just a single Google search, right? Virtually all countries, nearly 190 of the 194 World Health Organization member states include measles containing vaccines like MCV in their national immunization programs, with the majority utilizing the combined MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine to meet this goal. 2 doses of the vaccines are recommended globally with 96 to 97% effectiveness against measles. And
So
then
at least
it
10
goes on to
people.
say that like by 2023, 190 countries, 98% had introduced a second dose of measles vaccines into their immunization schedules, indicating widespread use of a combined approach similar to MMR. We use in this country, like this is like standard across the board. So even when it comes to measles, the problem is like, and like even Gibbs said so, like during his initial statement, is that like, yeah, when you put them into these detention facilities, right? Then they're stuck, right? And disease spreads, period, right? Like if you take a group of born Americans, right? Take a group of Texans, right? All legal born, natural born Texans, and put them in a facility right together, right? With those conditions, disease is going to spread. That is just inherent into the process. So,
That
like,
part.
instead of like just saying migrants are diseased, right? Or they're bringing in the diseases that they're actually mostly vaccinated against, right? Let's talk about like what we're actually doing to facilitate the spread of disease.
But this is dishonest too. Hold on. All right. So I specifically brought up Guatemala and Mexico for a reason, real quick, and I'm gonna make this quick. They both have massive measles outbreaks, and guess why they have them? You know why they had them? Because they also
They're
had it
poor.
eliminated. No, because they had in Guatemala had several giant international gatherings with countries in Africa specifically that brought measles to them, and then they did not have the ready healthcare systems in Guatemala to re-eradicate measles. And now since it's spread in there and spread in Mexico, like okay, now we have these outbreaks, and so when they're coming here specifically from those two countries, because the current outbreaks, they are going to be the cause of measles coming to America. Now I agree, we have these dumbass soccer moms that don't want to get their kids vaccinated. However, I get told by the liberals and all the lefties all the time, the job of the government is to protect us from ourselves and our most idiotic members of society, right? So this is a case where I'm sorry, it's time to put these people in, like stop them from coming in, and let's get them back out as quick as possible whenever they have a chance of bringing measles. And also, shame on ICE for not having your paperwork done right, and shame on them for not having paperwork done right either. It's bad all around.
True centrist.
I am
Let's go
curious.
let's go to Lactoid.
Yeah, that's fine. Sorry.
Yeah, a couple things. So I've been looking through the CDC website. The CDC is identifying that most of measles is there to a lesser degree comes from immigrants, but the biggest vector for measles is unvaccinated international travelers who then go out into areas with measles and then come back into the U.S. That's the number one vector. But I think it's interesting how we're talking about how bad measles is, and this is a topic that comes up frequently when we're talking about RFK. But when you look at the total numbers, yeah, there's a big jump. In 2024, there was like just under 300 cases, and then in 2025, we have 2,000 cases. 2026, 1,800 cases. So there was, it's up, which is bad. But the other thing that's up is tuberculosis, which has far more cases than measles, like significantly more cases than measles. 2023, 9,615 tuberculosis cases in 2023. That's a 16% increase over 2022, which was 8,320, which is itself a 22% increase over 2021, which is 7,874 cases.
Is there a tuberculosis vaccine or treatment?
No.
Actually, I'm not sure.
There's
Okay.
really
There
not.
is.
There is a tuberculosis vaccine that's useful for children, but it tends to lose efficaciousness
True.
for adults. So adults really can't protect themselves from tuberculosis in the way that you could for measles. I agree that
there are effective treatments, though. It's not
there are
totally
treatments,
untreatable.
There are treatments that you can, but it's not curable.
There are many things that are not. Herpes is not curable. That doesn't mean herpes is like a big deal.
Well, I think herpes is a big deal.
But in what way?
If there
Depending on
was
which one,
massive
HSV1 or HSV2.
Like
I know what herpes is.
outside of
I'm
social
not-
Like
stigma
70% of
is-
like the United States population has HSV1.
right
outside of social stigma.
Yeah.
What's the?
Well, I think it
what's-
depends on
what's
what
the
kind of
actual,
herpes.
No, so
We're
hold
just
on.
talking about the mouth
Oh,
ulcers.
oh,
We're
hold
talking
on.
about nothing.
Yeah. I think that it is a big deal. I think that if we were in a country where like over 70% of all the HSV cases were coming from foreign-born individuals, this would be a matter of concern. Given the effects of the virus, I agree that it's sort of ubiquitous.
for
what
social
effect?
reasons. That's
What
what I'm
effect?
saying. It's
Well,
there's a
it's
social
not just-
stigma
it's not
around the
just for
spores
social
and so on and
reasons.
so forth.
It's
Okay.
So I don't have it, just to be clear, but it is incredibly uncomfortable.
Well, actually,
to
you don't
have.
know for sure that you don't have it. Actually,
I guess I don't know for sure, but it's incredibly uncomfortable to have. It can be a vector for many other diseases. HIV, which we're going to go back to in a second, has a very strong co-vector with HSV. Because it creates open sores that can lead you to be susceptible to other diseases. It can,
Sure.
especially later on, when you become immunocompromised for any other reason, it can cause a whole bunch of issues. But here's the thing: HSV, I agree, is more ubiquitous, but that's less of a big deal than tuberculosis. Tuberculosis can be fatal.
Wait,
Like,
I don't know what
It's got a
point is.
relatively high fatality rate.
Are you saying we're not focused? Why are we focusing on measles?
No,
When we are,
what I'm saying is that when it comes time to talk about illnesses, which is fine, I think it's fair to look at measles and say, look, you have an increase in measles. But I also think it's fair because when I brought up tuberculosis before, someone said, well, is that really that big of a deal? It's only like 10,000 cases in the U.S. a year, which is true, but it's increasing. Okay, and 10,000 is much larger than the 2,000 measles cases, and tuberculosis is a worse disease to get.
Yeah,
Well,
but the
you're not,
issue is that it's
you are not factoring also transmissibility. Which one is way more transmissible?
Measles, for
What's
sure.
what's the R naught of measles versus tuberculosis? Even though tuberculosis is considered highly infectious, but nowhere even in the ballpark. Okay, to
Yeah,
measles.
I
also the
agree.
curability. I think is something.
I
It's the
agree,
reason why we're
measles-
talking
and
about it.
and
As
how
a-
many-
But measles
deaths-
also is much less fatal, like per case, right?
I understand, but it's so. I
You
mean,
also
we have a
cure it, you
measles
get over
vaccine
it.
that is being.
It just spreads so
Yeah,
rapidly.
I'm
I
not.
think
I'm not.
the
I'm not
reason why
opposed to.
we're
I'm not
wait-
opposed to the measles vaccine. I think it's fine.
I know,
No,
but
I know,
like
but I'm
I
just
know,
saying
but
there's a reason we're talking about this in a political panel and not tuberculosis, and that's because measles is a political issue and tuberculosis might be less so because it seems like there's political motivations that prevent people from taking vaccines
yeah, yeah.
and spreading the disease.
It
That's all.
yeah, it might be less so, but it is, and it's more relevant to this conversation about talking about the spread of disease from migrants. Because with measles, it's
Okay.
mostly U.S. citizens that are going out and getting sick from countries with measles and then coming back. That's most of the cases. I agree. There is a second group is immigrants. They're coming in, but when it comes to tuberculosis, 3 out of 4 of them are foreign-born. The vast majority of people coming into this country with tuberculosis are people who are foreign-born. And we were
is
talking about
tuberculosis
much
like
more
an
cases.
unknown disease?
No, it wiped.
Like
it
you don't
was
know someone has tuberculosis when someone comes.
it's
when
one of those
it's in its latent
alive.
phase. When it's in its latent phase,
I'm thinking
it-
coughing.
right.
what I'm
When it's in its
thinking,
latent
yeah.
phase, there's not any like very visible symptoms. But my understanding is it still can spread. It's just much harder to spread than if it's during its active phase. And people will phase in and out of latent and active phases throughout the rest of their life. You can treat it during the active phase with a like very expensive and long durations of antibiotics. You can treat it and push it into a remission, into a latent phase, but you're dealing with that for the rest of your life. And if you don't deal with it, if you don't get treatment, it has an incredibly high fatality rate. You cough up blood until you die. This was one of the major killers in
True.
Europe in the Middle Ages.
Yeah,
I
consumption.
guess, yeah, and by the way, I use tuberculosis. I'm harping on it now because I think it is an important example. But that was one, like I just use that as one example. Illegal immigration is just a vector from disease across the board. There has been research on the last pandemic where there was a correlation. I agree. I can't prove causation, but there was a correlation between illegal immigration rates and pandemic new contacts, new cases. I can post that in a second too. I mean,
you actually made me switch sides now. Actually, Lactoid, with your.
I think it's fair
By the way, I feel like we should do now. We should let all the immigrants in. We should all get sick as fuck, and then the survivors survive, and that's the best. I think
this is why you're a centrist. Like I make a
that's
compelling
that's
point,
why
and
the
then you
Spanish
gotta.
were able to.
Listen, Gibbs is just
gotta
a built
push
from
back.
I'm just
That's all it
saying.
is.
I think maybe I was looking at this wrong. We should
fair enough.
do that. We should just let them all in.
Fair enough. Well, one last point, because I want to respond to the HIV comment that was made in response to my opening. The HIV, a couple things. The first thing is HIV is overwhelmingly within the gay community because you're right. The vast majority of spread is through sexual contact. The vast majority of that sexual contact being receptive anal intercourse or insertive anal, much more so than insertive. But if we're talking about between 1980, 2 or 3, when shit really started going down, and the thousands and thousands of deaths started coming in, and I think it was 1988 when you see them confirm like salivas actually has like compounds in it that make it very difficult for the virus to spread. I can absolutely understand during this time period people being terrified of gay people. To me, it makes perfect sense. You have a virus here that is overwhelmingly concentrated within the gay community. We don't know for sure how it spreads. They're saying, hey, it seems to be very concentrated based on these particular activities. But, I don't know that for sure. You do have like rare cases of it being spread through, like if one person's bleeding at their mouth, other person's bleeding in their mouth. Yeah, like you have rare cases like that that are going to like become myth and be talked about and kind of spread amongst people like that. I don't know. I don't. When we're talking the first couple years, or really the first like 5 years, I don't blame people for a lot of the reaction they had to the HIV pandemic. I mean, that was. Go ahead.
Loki, I agree with you. Like, I agree. Well, it kind of depends on what specifically you're advocating for when it comes to being scared of gay
homophobia.
people.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You're on OxyContin. I didn't want to be too.
Yeah. Okay.
I
I hear you on the early 1980s. I do think that the homophobia persisted for quite some time and also was exacerbated through political officials who were homophobic and used this as a convenient excuse. And we can hold both those things in our hands at the same time.
You can, but I still think this is going to
Hold
open
on,
up a whole new can of worms, so we don't have to go here. But I think
We've-
that the HIV is currently there's a current criticism you can levy against the gay community because of this virus, and the fact that it's persisted for so long and it's so heavily concentrated based on certain behaviors that this group consistently does when it comes to sexual
Fine.
intercourse and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
mass
but
amount of sexual
this
partners
is
they have.
this is another example of like hiding behind your descriptions. I don't know what you're advocating for here. If you want to say gay people should probably learn safer sex,
Yes,
duh.
flood
Sh-
condom, make it
fucking
rain
duh.
condoms. Yes,
I'm with you, of course. Yeah, that's your whole prescription. Then yeah, duh. But if the whole prescription is, those fucking, I'm gonna stop myself before I
say it.
DOS myself. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It
so,
really depends on what we're talking
here's-
about here.
And
Sorry,
here's
go ahead.
where I disagree, right? Like, so it makes sense that if you're talking about from like a purely animalistic perspective, then yeah, you should be afraid of the unknown. Okay, great, whatever, right? It's not useful for a society building though. So in society building, how should officials actually react to this? How should they address these situations? They should, one, like, don't do what Reagan did, right? Pretend it's not happening, right? And then just like let the vacuum be filled with all kinds of nonsense, right? Even when there were more medical discoveries being made about the situation, right? Like, don't do that. But also, like, understand that, hey, like, marginalizing communities will only create violence and fear and panic, right? That's like literally unwarranted. We can say, hey, like, and deliver a message to the community. We are seeing this brand new virus, right? I'm in the 80s now. We're seeing this brand new virus. We don't exactly know how it's being spread. It seems like it's something of concern. It's happening within these communities. What we're going to do is we're going to unleash our medical community, right? We're going to unleash the American innovation, right? We're going to do the thing that we do best, and to figure out what's going on, right? And we will be in constant contact with you to understand that. Until that happens, everyone, please be safe, right? Like, here's like whatever, I don't know what the good
Protocols.
practices they were spreading, at the time, right? Like in terms of like dealing with AIDS, right? There, I don't, or if this like social distancing was a thing. I don't know what there was, but let's just pretend, like, like, hey, wash your hands, like thoroughly, or what the fuck they were saying, right? Like, follow these procedures, and there's no reason to be afraid of your fellow friends, but we should all be cautious, right? We'll get through this together as Americans. That's a choice you could make, right? But we didn't make that choice. Instead, we spread crazy rumors about that was never actually corrected for so many people, right? Like I think Corey said, people still believe all kinds of crazy nonsense about the gay community, about AIDS, even to this day, because of that that confusion, that lack of information. So actually, it matters. Like our friend
like what
Hunter was saying, right? This is a political.
Hold on.
Matter, like how we deal with it. Diseases are just a thing that happens.
Demonizing
right? How
the
do we-
group
But
Yeah.
that's
doesn't
the problem.
help. So like when
No.
COVID was around, so like imagine AIDS comes about while we had Trump as president, right? And we have the AIDS, and then he goes, and the gay virus is taking over America. And it's like, listen, you can't just call it the gay
True.
virus, right? Because now we're just gonna sit here and look at gay people as diseased, right? And it's not gay people as a whole.
Well, actually, it
There's a
already
disease
does.
that's-
So
I get it.
No,
right?
and it seems like Trump did it with like glee almost. Like he was
Well,
like,
right,
and
yeah,
we can
so-
call it the co-
Chinese,
or,
the
Wuhan
Chinese virus, the Wuhan virus. Well, came from
China
China.
virus.
I'm pretty
it's
sure
like-
that was because he was blaming China for it.
I
which
understand he's
there is a
blaming China,
fair
Yeah,
for it, but when the
case
president,
to blame China
president
for
of
it.
the
You can
United,
blame
when the
China,
president
but,
of the
like, come
United
on.
States
The
says
Kung
shit
flu.
like that, the citizens are gonna react in a certain way, right? And since if the president's calling it that, I don't fucking look at the Chinese people. They brought this fucking
NPCs,
virus.
yeah.
Like, it's just how it works.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah,
No.
so I mean, I think this is a problem though with what y'all are doing. Yeah, although I agree, right, coming out here and calling something like the gay virus, that would maybe be demonized, it would be bad. I think maybe it's a little different when I say China, because I specifically see it like as a good sometimes. If like say China fucked up with their shit and then it came over here, you'd assign blame to something, maybe that's xenophobic, whatever. But I think that we need to call a spade a spade. And here's the problem, right? So at the same hand, what we've seen right here is kind of like a double like talking out of both sides of the mouth, and I don't even think it's purposeful. But like, let's just say, what if Reagan had done this and said that and gone, "Hey, I'm actually going to give the gay community all this stuff. I'm going to help them. We're going to identify that it's this is the problem that's having with AIDS, right?" Or let's just say, like, "Oh, okay, I'm personally identifying Guatemala and Mexico right now having outbreaks due to their own issues with immigration, right?" And so now maybe let's identify these countries. Say, okay, we're going to have specialized policy regarding those two countries. Now, what people are going to say is, "Oh, you're being racist or xenophobic towards those countries," when really I'm just going, look, I don't want this to be permanent. Let's just figure out what's going on, stop it from coming here until it's fixed, and then move on. Versus same thing with the gay stuff. If they had gone back in the day and been like, all right, we're going to help them out, people on the left or people that would have been opposing that would have been like, oh no, you're just singling out the gays for this special treatment because you need to hate. Like, no matter what you do, if you single out the issue, you're going to get called racist. If you like say a broad take and say, okay, well, all of y'all, all groups from Latin America aren't getting in because we don't want to seem like we're picking on somebody. Oh, that's right. So it's like there's no winning whenever you're in a situation like this. So all Trump has done is gone, I'm just going to embrace being my side's guy, and you're like unfairly blaming him in this kind of case.
Yeah, I know. I agree with Gibbs.
Blaming him.
I think
It's not blaming him.
Let me just see the super chat. I'll go straight to you, Lactoid.
Okay.
I'm just want to get the super chat straight to you, friend. Don't worry, Gibbs. My listening library, YouTube says for $5. My religious family and their churches are working to make it illegal for vaccines to be standard, so we can all get sick. Shout out to your family doing God's work, of course. But thank you for my listening library for being so kind for $5 super chat. Consider super chatting. We'll discuss your account as well. Go ahead, Lactoid. Sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah, I think that I actually agree with Gibbs. I think that calling it the China virus was accurate. This virus came from China. In large part, its spread was due to the incompetence and authoritarian nature of the government of the People's Republic of China, where they hid information early on. And that gave the virus an opportunity to proliferate around the world, to something that to this day, the Chinese government heavily censors and denies, and they make up shit about how the virus came from other countries and how it's their fault, not ours. No, it is like China's fault. The government, it is the China virus. I think that's fair. I think that, and yeah, I mean, for like, do I think it's productive, or would I call it the gay virus? Probably not. But at the same time, like, if somebody were to make the very valid point of, hey, HIV is overwhelmingly, not like just marginally, overwhelmingly present within men who have sex with men, specifically in this way. It is overwhelmingly due to this behavior. And also, we notice these massive vectors of disease in these gay bathhouses that are all over San Francisco and other places in America. And one of the things that's denounced as homophobic is shutting down the health department, coming in and shutting down these bathhouses, which are vectors of HIV, and that's being called a homophobic response. Yeah, look, maybe the homophobia was bad if we're talking about not the correct amount of resources going into searching for research on HIV and its cure or whatever. But shutting down gay bathhouses was the correct move. Like, absolutely. Shut down the places where these men are coming together and having a bunch of unprotected sex, despite the fact they're being told that this spreads this disease that will kill you. And there's a pandemic across America, and this is happening across America, killing thousands upon thousands of people. Yeah, of course. Shut down
but then there's all the like propaganda and the rumors that come around it, and then the way that you're addressing it, right? When you have your authority figures addressing pandemics in certain manners that demonize the groups of people rather than demonizing the disease, right? Rather than targeting it in a responsible manner, right? You're gonna have you have the authority figure irresponsibly handling this. How do you think the citizens are going to react? In the same way that, like, if you have like a school, right? We're all free speech and yada yada yada, but there's like a reason why you don't want teachers just going around dropping hard R's and F-bombs all over the school, because then the students are going to have to they need a character to look up to, right? They need a person to be like, well, this is if my authority figure isn't using this, man, I shouldn't use this language in this manner. When you have the president, or when you have like the government kind of attacking groups of people by demonizing the people rather than demonizing the disease and attacking and uniting
But
people,
Ollie, let
you're
me give
going
you-
to
let me
end up
give you an
having
example.
hold on,
this
hold on. You
eradication.
can
It's just
demonize the
going to happen.
disease while also criticizing the vectors and source of that disease. You can say,
But
like, yes, this
criticizing
disease
the
is
vectors
awful.
and the source of disease does nothing.
No.
I
want
know.
to
It does nothing.
I
It does
disagree.
nothing.
I disagree
It does
because it gives
nothing.
I disagree because it gives political will and political mandate to accomplish certain things that would be otherwise impossible. If
You just want to
demon-
shame people
No,
politically.
You know,
That's
no,
what-
Ollie,
that's
let
what
me-
it
let
is.
me-
hold on, Gibbs, please.
That's
let me
what,
just finish
and
this
that's
thought.
what it is.
Yeah. If you point out HIV is spread almost entirely through gay sex, and here we are in the 80s, and there is these gay bathhouses in San Francisco that are being traced as vectors of disease because these men are getting together and having gay sex within these bathhouses. Where's the political will in San Francisco, by the way? Where's the political will to shut these down if you're not going to criticize the behavior? If you're not going to say this behavior is a problem, the fact that people are going and doing this shit is a problem, we have to stop this. I think it's also fair to criticize China when we're talking about the origin of COVID-19. And by the way, a lot of people were doing this when it came to blaming the unvaccinated for measles, for example.
Yeah, so
You're
I'm not-
perfectly
I'm not-
comfortable
I'm not
blaming
100%.
you're perfectly comfortable demonizing people who are not getting the vaccine for the spread of measles. Why can't I demonize people having
Well-
unprotected gay sex when it comes to the spread of HIV?
Because one is because it doesn't affect you, right? Because you're not going to get HIV since you're not having the unprotected gay sex. So demonizing the people does nothing to the spread of it outside
what
of
I
the
do.
group of the people that it affects. Well, outside of the group of people it affects, right?
You know some
you
weird
use
shit.
condoms.
That we know.
You're probably on plus.
Yeah,
what
but
I'm saying
he's pretty
is-
anti-sex.
Yeah.
Unless
But
he's
regardless-
pro-gay sex. Actually, it doesn't
I
sound
mean,
like
you
so.
can be an asexual and gay, right? You can have the attraction, but not the
It's
sexual.
possible, yeah.
But Ollie, let me give a better.
propensity.
But hold on.
No, there's a difference between attacking the group of people, which
Yeah,
does
but I'm
nothing to
but I'm
anything,
vaccinated for measles.
rather than
I'm also not going to get
it-
measles.
But hold on. This is the
Well,
problem
okay,
with what
so
you're saying,
actually,
Ollie.
I'm
This is the
I
bigger
don't
problem with
think
what you're
anyone
saying.
was
Hold on. I just want to give you this example. This is the problem because
Yeah.
no matter the solution, you get fucked, right? All right, I'm gonna use Guatemala again. Let's say measles mutates, right? It becomes like suddenly 20 times more effective and way more deadly, and the mutation times way lower, right? So all they got is they're having a giant fucking outbreak, millions are dying. Okay, now we're going, okay, it's something in their culture or something in their government, whatever. Let's say their government fails, right? Because it's millions of people died, and now they have pockets of civil war or something. And now, so okay, we're seeing they're clearly in distress as a country. And I go, all right, we need to stop immigration from Guatemala, targeted right now specifically. And as an American that cares about what's happening on my continent, I think we should go in there and conquer them because their government's failed and they're spreading all these refugees. Hold on, hear me out. I'm going to bring them down and give them health care and stop this problems that are helping because it's become so bad that it's affecting us here and everywhere in the world that could fall because this new measles, right? And I say this, and now what's going to happen is you're going to go, either going to go, warmonger first. Okay, that's fine. But let's just say this pure hypothetical. That's not the only way you can do it. But then you're going to go, this is racist. Why would you go in there? Are you saying they can't run their government? Well, clearly they didn't. It failed. Or this now I know it actually hasn't, but this hypothetical. And I go, their government failed. We should go in there and fix it. Well, it's failed. You're racist. Okay, well for doing that. Okay, well something's stopping it and spreading. How dare you say someone from Guatemala might have measles? That's like racist of you to assume. No, bro, they have millions dying right in this scenario. And I'm like, okay, so no matter what situation I give you, where it's like we're doing this to help them overall. Right? It'd be, it's racist. We're doing this to stop. It's racist. There's no winning.
So the issue is if there's a new strain of measles coming out of Guatemala, we can go ahead and be like, all right, no immigration, no immigration from Guatemala, sure, but then there's going to be Guatemalans that go to other countries and other people that come to us. Like this doesn't really stop the spread of measles. This doesn't address the concern, right? Which is kind of like what Prime's point is. It's like, yeah, we can look at like Wuhan and be like, well, call it the China virus, but we're not going to block people specifically that come from China or stop people. Listen, I'm just saying, blocking people that come from Guatemala doesn't really address the issue, right? Because it can spread from Guatemala out and then still in from other countries, from other people, from tourists that are coming in, from Americans that are going to Mexico, from so on is like whatever it is. So yeah, we can say no people from Guatemala.
Say we stop.
The issue doesn't stop there, which is Corey's point. Which is Corey's point is like, yeah, you're like, what's the prescription here other than like stopping immigration as a whole?
Well,
that's really what the end game is like you can't really single out these certain countries.
No, this is an argument against
everywhere.
This is an argument against immigration from a range of countries because you're right, disease spreads everywhere, but it spreads more in certain places than other places. You're going to have more people be more vulnerable to diseases in a third world country, and if they come over here, they're more likely to be a vector. And the idea of disease mitigation is to minimize the amount of vectors you have in your country. So yeah, is it possible that somebody from Denmark is going to come into America with tuberculosis and spread it? It's possible, but how likely is it compared to someone from Ghana?
Well, I don't know. Dutch ship going to South America for what's called, dude.
And the disease spread from Chile.
Person from where? So it's from Chile. Okay.
Yeah, because apparently the hantavirus has like it's in Asia it only spreads through rat feces, but in America there's the general one only spreads through rat feces, but apparently there's a variant, especially in South America, that can spread person to person.
Yeah, the
and
Andes.
That's what we're
The Andes.
So the Americas are the problem.
yeah, South America specifically.
Yeah. So Lactoid identifies that like, hey, like we should blame China because a infectious disease spread from there, and they didn't take proper actions, and then they lied about it. Well, that's happened before, right? That would be the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu didn't come from Spain, came from Kansas, right? The Spanish flu appeared near the end of World War One, and like it spread, like it started. It appears in Kansas. It spread around the world, and soon it landed in Spain. But because World War One was happening, like the different countries, like the countries that were actually involved in the fighting, they suppressed the news. They actively suppressed the news. Spain was a neutral country, right? Spain was like it was just like reporting everything as usual, right? And everyone else was looking into Spain, and they're watching the reports coming out. They're like talking about the many people being affected and died. It was awful, right? And it's like, oh, I guess that's the Spanish flu, even though their countries were doing the exact same thing, right? The U.S. did that. The U.S. did that, right? So we've seen this before. It's not helpful to call the Spanish flu. It's not helpful to say that at all, right? Like we live in a world. Yes, you can say, well, it's descriptive. It's really descriptive. Okay, great. But like, does it like increase like violence against these individuals, right? Like, is that what that does? Like, does this help us respond to the situation, right? Like, no. Like what it does is it increases, like you call it the China flu, right? They're going to be targeting Chinese individuals. That's what they're going to do, right? And systemically so. And we have, and because we have a history, right? And Lactoid doesn't like subscribe to this history because it involves racism and white people doing bad things, and then he excises that from his brain. But for everyone else, right? For everyone else, understand there's a history of fucking racism in his country, right? Specifically against our Chinese brothers and sisters. A long one here. Right? How will this actually play out? We can use our thinking caps here, those of us who pay attention to history, racial history, and then we can predict that if we call it the Chinese flu, hey, maybe we'll have an increase in violence against our Chinese brothers and sisters, even though they have done nothing. They have done nothing. They are not more likely to have had it at that point in time. You know, once it become when the pandemic is spreading anyway, right? Like. So maybe we make different choices. I don't know. Let's think of what public health might actually look like. Go ahead, sure.
Okay, so a couple things. If we're going to bring up race, the vast majority of the attacks on Asian people that occurred were by black individuals, not by white individuals during the whole Stop Asian
Not
hate.
that it matters. I didn't say anything about that.
You brought up anyway. No, you brought up the white people and their hatred of their history. You brought that up.
I
just want to point out historically.
Ignoring that.
No, hold up.
Please, you didn't know. Lactoid. You were so up your own ass. You didn't want to listen.
You can respond.
Your habit. No. I'm brought up was your habit of like ignoring racism when it comes to when it comes in general, right? Like you ignore that. No one is saying that black people weren't attacking.
You specifically mentioned white.
Yes, I brought white people. Yes, in terms of you.
Okay, so I can't bring up the fact that overwhelmingly it was black people that were attacking Asians.
You couldn't bring up, but
I just did, and then you cut me off.
Trying to hide something. I didn't hide that.
Okay, I brought it up, and you cut me off.
No.
This was the case. It was overwhelmingly black people that were attacking Asians during the whole Stop Asian Hate thing that was happening. Just as long as we're making that the racial thing clear. The second thing is if the Spaniards within Spain, if there were cultural practices within Spain, let's assume the virus actually originated within Spain for a second. If the virus originated within Spain due to certain cultural practices practiced by Spaniards within Spain, and then the Spanish government, due to authoritarian tendencies, bungled the response and then lied to the international community as the Spanish flu spread, I think then the name Spanish flu would be much more apt as a criticism of Spain. That makes perfect sense to me. The reason why it's called the China virus is because the virus either was created in a lab, that's the minority theory, or was spread amongst the wet markets that were present within China, within Wuhan at the time, which is a cultural practice within China, which is a major vector of disease, and then spread across the world in part because the Chinese government bungled the initial response because they were they were more interested in censoring news about it to protect their own legitimacy, and then to this day deny the fact that they are the country that's responsible.
You don't think that because the government
the Kung flu.
One second, hold on. A punishment for Spain? Like, what is this bullshit? Like, when you say stupid shit,
Identifying
like that,
them as a state actor.
That's not a public health response, right? Like, we don't use this to as a geopolitical weapon to punish people. That's your first thought. Hey,
yes, you pressure them to change their practices. Ban wet markets.
And it didn't do anything for the Chinese.
They banned the wet markets.
They're still doing the same thing, right? They're still doing the same thing. So, anyway,
hopefully to a lesser degree.
It
should
had
pressure them more.
To do with calling it the fucking China virus, right? That had nothing to do with any of that, right? That was a massive global response, global health response, and a massive response that happened within China because it's not like China didn't do anything about it. I don't want to fucking defend the Chinese, right? In fact, China had
you're a communist hand washer.
Crackdowns. They had the most severe crackdowns on COVID. We know this.
Yeah,
right?
Eventually.
Okay. So once again, like. They were bolting people inside.
Yes, eventually. I don't disagree. Once they fucked it up,
the China virus
once they stop. Once they fucked it up and spread it throughout the whole fucking world, yes, they did go into massive authoritarian mode and start bolting people into their houses. They did do that. Correct. That's not. There's criticism there for that. But I think it's perfectly fine to blame them as a geopolitical actor for their actions, and I also think it's fine to pressure them as a geopolitical actor to crack down on the practices that spread diseases like COVID-19.
But you can blame them. Hold on, you can do both of these things, right? You can blame them if indeed it came from them, and it probably did, right? I'm more Wuhan of
it came from China
myself. No, yeah, but the point is,
they don't say it does, but it did.
Agreed. So you can blame them for that. Fair enough, right? But also have an accurate public health response, right? And so, like, doing that would take into account, hey, how do people actually react, right? Are they going to be thinking on a geopolitical level? Oh, yes, what we're doing here is we're putting pressure on China. Or are they going to attack Chinese people? Which one is more likely, huh? Explain that to me. Which one of those is more likely?
How likely was it that Chinese people were getting attacked in the streets in America due to this? How many people?
There was an increase in attacks against
from
China,
what to what?
Individuals.
From 1 to 2, what difference does it make?
1 to 2.
From 1 to 2, I think insulting the Chinese government, but for the president calling it the China virus is more than fine.
How many Chinese people is acceptable to attack? Right, like
there's some number,
here, right?
There's some
acceptable.
What's the number?
Right? Rather than just calling it a different name.
12, 15, 20, 100.
Chinese people got it fucked up, maybe even die, right? And then it's like, oh, it's too much, right?
Well, no, I don't think anybody died. Did anybody? I don't think anybody died.
I don't know. I'm saying like the people getting attacked and fucked up.
How many Chinese stores need to be attacked? How many Chinese stores need to be attacked?
If we saw like mass rioting or whatever causing millions of dollars. Hold on. If we saw like millions of dollars of like riots and destruction, then I would put more pressure on the president to tone back, like calling it the China virus.
How many attacks on people?
Hold on.
You were quick with the answer on the buildings.
Hold on. I'm finishing my answer. I'm not done yet. Because obviously then Americans are too fucking stupid to see what's happening there, and I would agree, like, okay, yeah, like the rate here is unacceptably high. What was your next question?
Well, what
Half
about
of
the
the
numbers of
damage is
people? Like, how
done.
many people being attacked does the number have to be for you to be like, oh, this was bad?
I mean, we're talking in the thousands. They have to be in the
Oh,
thousands.
thousands.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
what
but
what
There's
about
only
what
hundreds
about
of dead
wait,
Chinese
wait, wait,
or
wait, wait.
attacked
You'd have to
Chinese.
see
The
What
massacres
if-
China-
in
what
the
if-
street.
let me clarify.
No,
let me-
can I point out one thing? Would
Sure.
you agree that any criticism of China from a U.S. president could lead to increased attacks on Asian people?
No, I agree that how you do the
Hold on.
criticism matters more than any criticism.
If you let's say you have China, let's say you have Trump going up there and ranting against China. China's a bad geopolitical actor. They're bad. They do all this bad stuff. They're genociding people. They're doing horrible shit. Do you think this might lead to increased attacks on Asian people?
Yes.
Do you think that you
Um,
calling the Gazan thing a genocide has led to increased attacks on Jewish people in America?
Me specifically?
Not
No,
you
no, no, but-
specifically.
I'll
engage.
engage.
The
Yeah.
overall
Yes.
rhetoric.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
So I guess the president shouldn't go out and say there's a genocide happening in Gaza, because we can't pressure geopolitical actors if it comes at the expense of people attacking people in our country.
Come on.
I mean, that's your limit.
So, like, a disease spread is different from like an active attack,
aggression,
right?
yeah.
An active like war. They're active belligerents, right?
more
like,
people died in
Chinese
the
people
pandemic,
aren't
but-
belligerents. Carrying a weapon into our country. We can understand that. We can understand that a public health response, right, might be different.
No, you're missing the point.
From war. No, there is a point here.
No,
because
you're
actually
missing
these
it.
two things
You're
are
missing
different.
my point.
When we're
You're missing
we're
my-
talking about.
It's the same, because I'm talking about a criticism of I'm talking about a
Yes, I get
criticism of a
you.
geopolitical actor for whatever reason. You're criticizing a geopolitical actor, and you're pointing out, hey, this geopolitical actor is bad. They did a bad thing, and then we're seeing a corresponding increase in the amount of hate crimes. We have seen an increase
No.
in the amount of attacks on Jewish people in America as a response to the rhetoric that's being talked about during the
Lacto,
Gazan war,
we
right?
both agreed.
Yeah, so
Hold on,
the
we
president
both
should have better
agreed.
rhetoric,
I said
right?
at the start, right? Hey, I agree. You can pressure geopolitical actors. That's not a bad thing in of itself. Correct? I already said that. Okay, great. So we can move past that
I
part.
didn't think you said that, but okay.
Well, hold on. Maybe you didn't hear me.
Maybe I didn't hear you.
Maybe you didn't
Maybe
hear
I
me.
didn't hear you. Maybe I didn't hear you.
Yes, but I did say at the start. I said
Because you said I was
you
using
can
it as a
do both.
geopolitical weapon, and you criticized that.
Yeah. So I said, but you can do both, right? I said like you can use it. You can pressure the other countries because you should have pressured China and have an accurate public health response. I did say that.
Sure.
But maybe you didn't hear it. That's
Yes,
fine.
we should have an accurate public health response and also call it the China virus
Oh,
as
that
a
w-
dig to the Chinese
That's
government
That's not,
and
that's
what
a
they
bad-
did.
That's not the. But that's not.
Wait,
the,
so-
okay.
So does the rhetoric matter or not, Lactoid? Because you use the rhetoric as a point of like, oh, so the president shouldn't call it a genocide. So you do
No.
agree that the rhetoric of the president
No, his
does
point-
matter, right? So maybe he shouldn't go on and say Israel's committing a genocide full-fledged, but to address something
Here,
with,
no,
with
here's what
better
I'll say.
rhetoric and to criticize in a proper manner is probably the way a president should handle it, right? Or wrong?
Hold on. Let's assume for a second, because I don't. We've argued this. We debated this. I don't think
Mhm.
this is the case. But let's assume for a second that I believed that what was happening in Gaza was a genocide. Let's assume for a second that I believe this. Then I would have the same prescription. If I would say we should say it, but there is a number of Jewish people attacked in America that during with like hate crimes and shit, where I would say, oh shit, maybe we should stop that rhetoric. Like people just aren't taking it the right way. They're blaming all Jews for it. Obviously, Americans aren't smart
Okay.
enough to handle this kind of rhetoric. I think the same thing when it comes to the China virus shit. I'm just not convinced that there was like a sufficient number of attacks that we have to like censor what I think is a very valid point, which is fuck the Chinese government.
I don't think that point was made when he said the Chinese virus. I don't think that
He's
was
acting
the
like
point
it
that
some
was
sort of
drawn.
secret that like it came from China, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, people didn't know until
The
the
secret to the
president called it
Chinese?
the China virus. It was, yeah, sure. It was never a secret to the world. We all knew, right? It was all traced. All of that was like well known, right? And then the rest of us were just calling it COVID-19 or like, it went through a few names. Well, actually, maybe whatever. But like,
It was the
the point is like,
coronavirus for a bit.
yeah,
COVID.
yeah, right. We called it. We assigned it a name, and we went on with that, right? Like we had it from the start. It's not like we were like trying to think of this, right? Like, oh, what could it be? At
Yeah, it was
first,
wet markets
newspapers
from the
were saying,
beginning.
hey, this is a coronavirus, right? The 2019 coronavirus, and then we went from there. He then changes the name. He like assigns it afterwards, right? And starts calling it the China virus, right? So he specifically does this
For
rather
geopolitical
than just
reasons.
having the hold on. But maybe we shouldn't apply that to public health. That's what I'm saying. You can do both. You can do both, right? It's
Yeah,
not
you
like,
can do
we had-
both.
so we had no other vectors to pressure China, right? It was only call it the China virus, right? Or nothing. I guess the Chinese were just going to do willy-nilly shit, and there's
Oh,
no
this is-
say that the world community had.
No,
in that.
this is
What are you talking about?
ridiculous. We do this all the time when it comes to any kind of fuck up of a country that we have a negative opinion of. We call it the China virus. You guys call it Israel genocide. A lot of people in America call it the Russian war of aggression. Right?
Wait,
Like
so-
obviously you're going to use politically charged
So if
language
they called it
in
the
order to
American
attack
flu,
your geopolitical. Yeah, if we
so
had
if
a
they called it
flu
the
that
American
originated in
flu,
America, then yeah,
well,
our
according to
enemies are
Prime,
going to
Spanish
call it the
flu-
American.
According to Prime, the flu that came from originated in Kansas and then spread out to the But
Wait,
then you
what?
said, well, the way they were, according to Prime, Spanish flu was originated in Kansas. I don't know.
No,
That's
I don't know.
if
I don't think we
if
know-
I
I don't think
misheard
we- no,
that.
I don't
Did you
think
say
we
that
know.
originated
Yeah,
in
we did.
Kansas or something?
I don't know. I don't think we
I'm
know where
sorry?
it came from. I don't think it came from Kansas.
In 1918, epidemic influenza, also known as the grip, appeared in Kansas, United States, during the spring, and then early reports from Spain appeared in 21st May. Reports from both places called it the 3-day fever.
Yeah, this is
Um,
is
it-
one report. There's another report in the UK that in 1916 that it was hit by something that they thought was the Spanish flu. Like, and
Yeah,
you
there
scroll
was a lot
down,
of
and then there's
confusion
there's
at
an
the-
idea from China. Like, we don't know exactly where it come from. I agree, the Spaniards got the blame, probably unfairly.
Yeah, hon, but we're talking
Wait,
about, we're talking about the outbreak, right? And that outbreak that started those reports like if it started in 1916, but the main if sorry, hold on, this is 19
Yeah, there was a
Um,
1916 outbreak in camp in a UK troop staging camp in France in Atoplis. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing the fuck out of that. I can't speak French. And so that and it was all over all the troops because war is a breeding ground for disease. Obviously, it was all over the place in Europe. And yeah,
in 1918 this is the 1918-1920 flu epidemic, right? So also known as the Great Influenza Epidemic, or by the misleading name Spanish flu, was an exceptionally deadly global influenza pandemic caused by the H1N1 subtype of the influenza A virus. The earliest probable cases were documented in March 1918 in Haskell County, Kansas, United States, with further cases recorded in France, Germany, and the United Kingdom in April.
yeah, I'm reading right here. Maybe we're reading different things, but I'm reading right here that there were cases in 1916. And of
But
course,
that's not the so they're talking about that. I know, but it's not like
they're calling it outbreaks of the Spanish flu.
Yeah, not in 19 because that came out later.
No, in 1916.
like-
Because remember, we're talking. So there were some reports of outbreaks that were happening, but when a country's at war, you're going to have more wartime censorship of the front than you're going to have potentially in a peacetime country. This is why there was a major outbreak in Spain, and they were so critical of it in Spain, right? But it was happening before then, or there was, again, it's contested exactly where it came from, but there were reports of it happening in 1916 in Europe.
But then when we're talking about the Spanish flu, we're talking about a period, an outbreak, right? So it was 1918 to 1920. That's the flu epidemic that we're referring to. Spanish flu, right? Isn't like they're talking about this particular epidemic, right? Like it's not like you get the
strain of
Spanish flu
influenza.
now, right? You can get the same virus. We don't call it the Spanish flu. You get influenza. But we're talking about the Spanish flu. This was what they were talking about, the great influenza.
The strain.
No, the Spanish flu is not just influenza. It's a specific kind of influenza. It is a different disease. It's not just your regular flu. So like it is a different kind of disease, and there's
strain.
reports of it hitting. It's closer to H1N1. I'm pretty sure it is like a cousin of H1N1.
I said H1N1. I said
Yeah.
I said
Wait, right, which is not the flu.
subtype influenza A virus.
Right, but it's not the flu. It's like different. It is a different thing than
It's
the flu.
influenza. It's the influenza.
Okay, but H1N1 is not the same thing as influenza.
Pandemic.
Yes, I understand. It's an
H1N1 subtype of the influenza A virus. H1N1 is a subtype. I'm looking at the
and
Wikipedia
subtypes
right
matter
now.
a lot.
But hon, you're saying it's not the flu, though. You're saying it's not influenza.
I'm saying it's not
influenza.
just like an influenza. I'm saying it's an H1N1 subtype, which is incredibly important because COVID is also like, I'm pretty sure, a subvariant of some other disease as well, the coronavirus subtypes. And it is H1N1 is a specific subtype that is different. There's a reason like it was so devastating. And yes, there's reports of it being in Europe at the front in 1916. again, if you can prove to me, which the evidence appears to be that we don't exactly know where it came from, but if it was like in America, some Americans in Kansas had like very bad, like unhealthy cultural practices that like led to the cause and proliferation of the what we call the Spanish flu, the H1N1 outbreak, and then it spread around the whole world. And some people were like, and then the American government was being shitty about it and like denying it and like was bad about it at the beginning. I think people calling it the American flu wouldn't be too unheard of. That would make sense. I think the Spaniards probably got unfairly categorized with it because I'm not seeing any evidence that it originated there or was due to any kind of unhealthy practices from the Spaniards. But in China, it originated in the wet markets where they're eating bats.
Sure. Okay. So we agree that it didn't appear in Spain, right? Sorry, first, right?
I agree with that. Yeah.
Whether it's Kansas or whatever, right?
Spanish flu is probably inaccurate. Yeah.
Okay. Great. So, like, do you think that? Okay. Let me ask you this. The last question, and then
Sure.
like I want other people to jump in. Hunter's seeing colors right now. We gotta like pull him in. So.
He's feeling good.
He's feeling good.
He's
like,
I'm
whoa,
a
these
little
guys
bit
are
numb
debating.
all over.
So
What's
last
that like?
question. Last question for me. Do you think that public health, like a public health response, as a distinct set of practices, right? That deserves their own consideration, separate from political considerations, or do you think those two things are? Or sorry, because I don't even believe that necessarily, right? Because
Right.
I think everything's political myself.
Yes.
Do you think that? Okay, let's try it this way: that public health directives should like have a priority that influences the political, right? We're having a public health emergency, right?
Mm-hmm.
Political things are happening. There's a political response to these things, but we should consider, right, what is good for the public through a public health response. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. If not, I can try again.
I mean, I sort of. If your question is like, should we, with there's an emergency, should we like focus like our main priority be like addressing the medical emergency, and then political things come separately? I guess my prescription there would be like we can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. I don't think Trump calling it the China virus did anything to reduce our ability to deal with it. I'm not aware of any funding getting cut or any kind of like policies being changed in America because what we called it the China virus, because Trump called it the China virus. My understanding is that it probably led to some political alignment against the country of China most of all. I think a lot of Americans blame China for that. I certainly did at the time.
Let's bring in other people. Okay, I'll just leave it there for now. Let's bring in other people. Hunter and Gibbs. So Hunter, I'll start with you, friend. Okay. Well, first of all, do you have any thoughts on what was said? If not, then I'll ask you a question.
Not necessarily. I honestly think that you guys agree on the foundations a lot more than it sounded like. But also, yeah,
That's what I heard between the
I am
shouting.
numb
I
all
heard
over.
agreement of the foundation.
I'm listening.
Yeah, I don't know how exactly, but
I apologize. Let's listen to Gibbs for a sec. I'm gonna chime in. I'm locked in.
We need a
it's
centrist
fine.
take.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, well, but y'all both okay. I agree that maybe Americans had some racism in the past. Maybe a lot of countries had some racism here and there at points in the history, right? And I'm gonna say something might be crazy, but sometimes it's good to have a foe, right? And that one thing we can all do as Americans, as countrymen, and as world people, humans in general. There's one thing that combines everybody, and that's hate. And so like if I bring all together and we all instead of the black people and the white people hate each other and the browns hate, we all just hate China. All of a sudden America's unified, and that's a good thing. And I guess is what Trump is trying to do. He's trying to unify us against like a foreign foe because that works in history over and over and over.
Canada makes deals with China and EVs.
As
other Southeast Asian countries like unify with China.
Well, hold on. Canada's got all this. I'm not saying this was the right thing to do, the right call, but I can understand any politician left or right picking an external foe and trying to use them for something, especially when it is China, because fuck China, they are our foe, and we need to fucking stand up to them in general. So everything bad China is good for America, right? I now, whether or not the policies Corey's talking about, anything, now I understand why Trump is doing that. However, I have an issue though, because what I'm proposing, let's just say Grant Prime the premise that okay, that was racist and he did it just to be racist. Okay, I don't give a shit. I'm not saying that Prime's saying that, but let's just say that's what they did. That's what the Spanish would do. I don't care. Okay, I'm saying if most people, and if I put forth a program saying let's pick any country, Ghana, or it could be Rwanda, it could be whatever country is having some sort of outbreak, and I say, I want to put some kind of limitations on travel to that country, whether it's tourism, whether I want to make sure that everybody that comes from, I don't know, the new Rwanda, since we're new Rwanda privates out there, maybe we fucking, and make sure everybody that comes here has to do a blood test. I don't really give a shit what those things are. I don't think it should be immediate racist or immediate everybody go, oh, if you implement this policy, but it doesn't matter what I implement this policy, because every time to implement a policy that deals with directly a situation on the ground in this kind of situation, people are going, hey, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you're racist. So if you don't do anything, racist, evil white man. If you do something, racist, evil white man. And that's really the problem. So why, what are we supposed to do here? And what is the solution? Because even when you try to do the right thing, you're still fucking used as a scapegoat because, by the people that are in opposition to it right now, on the left, specifically, mainly on the left here, because it doesn't matter because this is a situation where people are coming from the outside and bringing stuff in. So I think that it's time for the left to take accountability about them doing this so we can actually have a real convo about how to handle this, because if every solution is racist, I guess we're all racist then. You got me. Oh no.
Yeah. What a great take, right? It turns out everything's racist.
Lactoid, I assume you don't agree.
I might as well just be racist. Sure. So what am I wrong? What are you saying? No, everything isn't racist, right? Okay. A lot of the things you support might be racist, but that's up to you, right? But not everything is racist.
I'm an anti-racist.
Racist people say. People say I guess everything I do is racist. So
that's what it comes off as when it comes to immigration policy. If I want to say we go here and say this country's having a virus outbreak and I want to slow immigration or I want to fucking do tests, the immediate response is that's racist. No, it's not.
Well, because usually how it's justified, it appears. I'm not saying that actually is, but there's sometimes there's the optics of racism. We saw this play out with the H-1B visas. Elon Musk, went against the right. He was because a lot of the right seem to be using racist arguments to not be in favor of H-1B visas. Because it seems pretty much for a significant proportion of the American population, they are anti-immigration for to preserve their white ethnicity.
That's a crazy thing. This is the problem with that, right? I would say most people are not anti-immigration because of that. That is a talking point that people use.
Elon Musk, the H-1B visa was not a thing.
No, that happened. That happened. But what I'm saying is y'all, what they're doing, you're doing is kind of
I think even Vivek Ramaswamy is now disavowed because he was also advocating.
He still has a massive following, and he's still got a ton of people within the Republican. No, the issue is there's a lot of issues with H-1Bs.
Corey, you're right.
I'm saying that y'all are pointing to people that have said something, and they go, yeah, because they have a political movement. Okay, that's cool. They're everybody, right? We're gonna say that magnifies everybody when it's much closer to most people go, let's just have a common sense policy. But anytime there's one person that says, oh, that common sense policy in a racist way, they're it's gotta go completely because Lord and John the racist said it in one way that sounds bad. Come on, bro.
Is this really convincing to your audience? It is it is crazy how little you.
I don't know if it's crazy to my audience. I'll tell you what's crazy to my audience that y'all are sitting here just trying to say that this doesn't happen, and they're just blatantly trying to go, oh well, because
no, Gibbs. I'll extend an olive branch. I will admit that does happen. That happens on the left. Would you agree then there are a significant portion of people on the right that are actually racist and they do want to pretty much preserve their...
I'm sure there's a portion.
Wait, when you say significant portion, I don't know. When you say significant portion, what are you talking about?
I'm sure there's millions of Americans.
Probably, if I'm ballparking,
that are probably racist. Yeah, sure. I'll say that.
Hold on. I want to hear the ballpark.
So if we're taking, let's say, the MAGA population, maybe about a third to 40% of that.
You think 40% of the MAGA people are
40%, bro.
I don't think
Around-
so.
I think 40% of
Mm.
Republicans in general
Okay.
are racist. What we just
yeah.
MAGA?
No, I'm like parsing.
40 is
I
me
think,
being
pretty
nice.
carefully. I'm like MAGA.
guys-
I'm specifically specifying
Well,
MAGA
bigoted,
Republicans
bigoted,
and like
bigoted,
a third
not
of MAGA
racist.
Republicans.
Guys, there's no way we're going to be able to figure out like that percentage, right? If we're just going to start throwing around numbers, Lactroid's going to get offended for the honor of the
Well,
white
'cause he's a
people,
MAGA
right?
Republican.
I'm very
we'll have
offended.
to go back and say,
Okay,
like,
okay, can I say
Look how
one thing?
straight-faced he is.
No,
Okay, wait. Can I say something in response to Corey?
Sure.
So-
Then I have
so-
a super chat.
Fair enough, Corey. I mean, part of the problem is, and I think maybe what Gibbs is trying to hint at is, it could be that under your definition of racist, that 40% of the MAGA base is racist. But who is or what is racism or who is racist? It is
New Matt
fundamentally
Walsh
gonna be-
documentary. What is a racist?
It's fundamentally going to be like a subjective, I guess, like, oh, you meet this threshold of internal internal preference or whatever the fuck. But I'll say this: if we measure racism by preference for one's own race, white people are the least racist race in America by far.
Yeah,
Not
that
even
is not what I'm
close.
saying at all. Okay, what I'm saying is that
That's
it's
what
very
I'm saying.
simple. I understand that, but what you were like trying to translate for me. Let me just try a different crack at this because I feel like Hunter over here is acting like I'm not saying anything, which is really scary to me. I'm saying here it's very simple. If there's a policy, okay, let's just direct Corey. Let's say 40% of all Americans, not.
I didn't say all Americans.
Oh, okay. Well, they did. Okay. Well, I was trying to give you more for the sake of the
Okay,
argument.
I would not want to go that far.
Let's just say 40% of all Americans are racist. All right, and so
Just say it.
60%.
Corey, say it.
Whatever number you want of people are racist. All right, like that's just that percentage. Okay, and as long as it's not a majority. So I'm sitting here going, okay, now let's just say a policy is presented that handles the situation, whatever country it may be, whatever the situation, but it's country specific, and that's going to help solve the problem. Well, the minute that solution's offered up, at least a couple of people that agree with this are going to go, well, also, since we're racist in their heads, and we're going to figure, and we like this because we're racist, and it affects a group that we are racist towards, we're going to try to sell it to our people as racist. And they're going to say it, and all of a sudden, now because they've sold their little racist version of the policy that's actually neutral, the people that are against this go, see, because it serves their agenda in some capacity. That must mean that it's got no merit. It's completely racist. And the person that came up with it is also racist, even though it might be a completely objective fucking creation. And that's the issue. Because anytime Republicans do anything, they're, here we go, boys. Y'all all them racists over there. They all can't think of nothing without hating insert X race here. And
Can you
it's
give
outrageous.
examples? Because I feel like the examples you're going to give are pretty racist.
Immigration.
Immigration, yeah. Like, right
Well,
there.
It's the big
hold on. What are we talking about when it comes to immigration? Are we talking about
illegal
ICE just
immigrants.
fucking-
Trump saying, "Hey, let's stop illegal immigration." People called him a racist for that.
Yeah, see,
If
and
I say illegal
I
immigrants,
think that you
Not
guys
here
are sort
for
of whitewashing what he said. There's a lot, like, for example, when he said that the Mexican judge with Mexican heritage can't rule on the border, I think a lot of people are like, that seems pretty damn racist. And the Trump supporters are like,
There's more
Yeah,
to
but
that
he's
story.
you're saying the Mexican judge
So-
with a Mexican heritage might have some kind of interest with
the American judge
Hold up.
with
And
Mexican
Trump
heritage.
and Trump pointed out in the same sentence, he's very proud of his Mexican heritage,
Oh,
pointing out,
no!
hold on,
Oh,
pointing out the
yeah.
fact that he was a member of
Fuck this.
an organization called La Raza, which is a Mexican
La Raza. That's
interest.
kind of the big one right there.
It's a Mexican interest organization.
Viva La Raza. Might have heard that term.
Of
I
course,
want-
this person was politically biased. So they're part of this kind of organization.
Okay, but
hold on, wait a second.
isn't every
Let's-
judge going to be politically biased, and we have to put some faith?
Yeah,
in
they
that?
could
Yes,
be part
and
of
he's
the
going to
Heritage
attack
Foundation.
somebody who he
Hold
sees
on.
as biased,
Hold on.
ruling against
hold
him.
on. What
Hold
Hunter
on,
said is
I-
interesting.
I
You
just-
said
I wanna
if
get this
everyone is
put that out.
biased, and
No,
then
no, no,
okay,
no, but he
but
didn't.
calling them
not-
out on their
not
bias.
racist.
Is it racist? It's not racist to say
Yeah.
this guy is biased because X, Y, Z. That's not racist. If I said,
So-
"Hey, I like Mexicans because I'm Mexican," is that racist?
Here,
Yeah,
if I was
yeah,
part of a white interest
like-
organization, like I don't know, the Klan or something,
Yeah.
and I was a judge and I ruled
A white
like
interest
unfavorably to a black
organization.
person, would we be like, "Oh, this black person has no
La
standing"?
Raza is La Raza
No,
is
but I
like
think
the
you could
Klan.
point-
The Klan is a
fucking,
hardcore example. I
terrorist
agree,
group.
or
terrorist
some
group,
different
yeah.
white interest organization.
Not
I don't
not
know.
a terrorist group.
He
You
said
you
he
weren't
is.
trying to paint a picture of the
You had
group
an
with
Antifa,
my
you had an
my
Antifa
comparing
I
it
think
to the
racial
white
interest
Klan
organizations are
Right.
not too far off. From
Everybody does that.
Oh, okay.
Let me.
I think that you are
this.
mis
The clan just gets a
I
bad
wanna
rap
get
because
this-
of what they did back
Let
in
me
the
get
day.
this. Let me get this.
Bad
Uh,
shit. I agree, but
Yeah. He's trying to bait me. Let's. I'm gonna.
a little
I'm
bit.
gonna get Corey and I'm gonna get Hunter. Right. I'm gonna get the super chat out. It says $20. Thank you so
Oh.
much for pondering politics.
Oh,
Ask
no.
Hunter and
Oh my
Gibbs
fuck!
if they
Josiah, get out of
believe
here.
The
Rise of Skywalker is ass.
Skywalker is the best Star Wars sequel, and also Lactoid, the glow up is real. Well done.
I didn't even have to
Um,
look at
It's
the
not even a
fucking-
glow
I
up.
didn't-
I'm just wearing a
It's
V-neck.
bad, but it's not the worst sequel. I'll tell you which one is. Is fucking it's whatever Brian
It's
Johnson.
fucking,
Last Jedi.
So no, that was the
Last
best
Jedi.
one.
That is by hands down
Episode
the
8 was
worst
the
movie
best one
of all time.
Was the of the neutral of the
It's hands
new
down
three,
the
right?
worst movie of all time.
That was the best one. Episode 8. Episode 9 was dog shit.
It's
That's
hands
Last
down
Jedi?
the
right?
worst movie of all time.
Um,
Yeah, Last
The
Jedi.
Last
yeah.
Jedi was one of the
It
worst
goes
movies
The
I think.
Last Jedi. Then the was it what was episode 7 called? I forget.
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens, thank you. Yeah, The Last Jedi, Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker, right? Rise of Skywalker being at the bottom. Yes, Ryan Johnson's like a masterpiece. Well, not masterpiece, wasn't a masterpiece,
No,
but
yes,
it was the best out of a shitty bunch.
Yeah, it
Nope,
was
it was.
I agree.
It's a top 3 Star Wars movie of all time.
the Rise of the Last
No,
Jedi.
Last Jedi. Yeah.
Last
Yeah,
Jedi.
it's
I
by
will stand behind it till the day I
awful.
die. I love
Yeah?
that movie.
I'm
it's such a
dying
bad
myself.
movie.
Regardless,
Die on myself.
I would rather put my
Genuinely,
dick in a beat
I
grinder
do
than
think this
Rise of
Rise of Skywalker is the worst movie I've ever been to the theater.
Rise of Skywalker is bad though.
It was
Pretty bad.
like I could not believe, and Josiah loves it so much, and he
At least
yaps about
we'll
it
say this
every
way, at
day.
least it feels like Star Wars.
It doesn't.
And hold on, I'll say
doesn't.
hold on, Josiah. Let me. Get,
I walked
Josiah
away and I went,
deserves
oh, I
it.
guess I hate Star Wars. Actually,
I can see why Josiah might like it because if you like the EU, it combines two really good storylines.
No, he
poorly.
doesn't. He just likes Palpatine. He
Oh,
just
well,
goes,
I
that's the
do
greatest villain of all time, and I'm so glad that he
Palpatine's
brought
the
it
greatest
back.
villain of all time. But
You
I
see how
would-
much you derail the conversation every
But
time
I'm
you
just
open
saying-
your fucking mouth.
I'm just
Josiah,
saying-
get the fuck out of here.
I'm just saying it does try to combine Dark Empire and the.
Josiah's one of my
Oxy-
best friends, by the
Oxycontin
way. I love
talking.
it.
I'll
There you
defend
go.
Josiah.
I love
I
it.
like-
yeah.
I like
Justice
it more
for
than I like
Josiah.
Last Jedi. I'll tell you that by a long
Josiah and his racist take about Skywalker.
Well,
right,
you know,
Gibbs? That was your point,
Borges-
Gibbs, right?
John Borges said, I mean, hey, it's perfect scenario. John Borges says that the Rise of Skywalker is racist because they cut his
John
stuff that
who?
he- yeah, the guy that plays fucking
John Boyega.
Yeah,
The-
Boyega. There you go. His name. Like, what's his name?
Oh, hold on. There actually is like racist allegations against.
Yeah, they
Oh,
called
oh,
because they said that when he came back, Ryan Johnson gave him good,
Oh, I didn't know that.
good lines in The Last Jedi, but in Rise of Skywalker, he yelled some shit like, "Oh, they fly now," and it was because he was a black man. Yeah, and shit like that. Yeah, that was this is actually a true thing.
Boyega said that.
Yeah, Boyega says a bunch of shit.
I stopped watching when Leia flew. I thought the franchise was over.
Loki wasn't that bad.
That was the Rise.
was pretty
That
bad.
was the Last Jedi, by the way.
I know it was
Awful.
that part I don't stand by. I stand by Octu. I stand by everything that Luke does on Octu, and I stand by everything that Rey and Kylo go through with the Praetorian Guards. I think that shit is cinematic masterpiece.
With those
Yeah.
like fucking weapons dropping through people and shit. Yeah, okay.
Hold on, weapons dropping through people. What are you even talking about?
There's one of the most quoted scenes of all time for like how not to do a fight scene because they literally have weapons disappear mid
You're
fight.
such a loser. You're such
Yeah,
a. Oh
it's
well,
awful.
technically, if you freeze frame at this very moment, you could
Not
tell that the
freezing,
weapon.
it was
I didn't
obvious
fucking
when I
notice. I was
watched
like,
it.
this shit's
I
dope.
was like, where did that guy's sword go?
Oh,
how did he get
you did
stabbed?
not. No,
I
you
did.
saw an analysis
It
after the
was
fact.
really
that you
one of
went,
hands down one of the worst fights.
I
I've ever
knew
seen.
that I hated it.
It's one of the only Star Wars.
I
that,
knew
like,
after
like,
I
no
saw the
lightsaber
woman with
battles.
green hair.
It was
Woman
bad.
was
Oh,
pretty good, Loki.
I actually liked her as an actor, but she had such a terrible plot writing for her. Like, I mean, like, why would you put? That's a good example. She's the one bright spot in the movie as a good character, and how terrible the movie is. She like made a bad script with bad writing actually seem believable. Like, terrible. Thanks for proving your own point earlier wrong, by the way.
How is that my point?
Yeah, from about the good actors and shit roles. All the way back, Privacy, we circled back, and it's China's fault because they like that movie.
Thank you, Josiah, for derailing every single time I'm on a panel. He comes in and he just goes, "Let's talk about."
Is it
My
racist
favorite
if I don't
movie.
like the racial composition of the Rings of Power?
The Rings of Power.
Oh yeah, that's another one because it's not true Tolkien's work. How about the new Helena Troy and Elliot
don't know,
Page?
Luke.
Oh,
as
I've heard the Helen of Troy and
Yeah,
Achilles.
I
See, and this is another reason why Fast and the Furious is the best franchise. No racism.
Oh.
No racism. All
Well,
family.
it's all
cars,
vibes.
Action,
So
great
Prime-
war, best
looks like-
war ever.
Prime is, I think, glitched out. By the way, he's not moving.
Yeah.
Oh, he's very
No wonder I'm
focused.
like, dude, I feel like he wants us to get back on.
Yeah, I was like,
Uh,
yeah,
he's-
I think he might still be here. Audio-wise.
I'm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, you're still here.
Hey,
Never mind.
do you
I
guys
know
hear
how
me?
his camera works.
I can
No,
hear you, but
you're,
your camera is
Am I,
fucked.
frozen.
am I glitching?
Your
Yeah.
camera
Yeah,
is
yeah,
frozen.
my-
We can hear you
my-
though.
I was definitely like, oh, he hates us. And
Yeah,
you
then
just
they
cut out
deleted
though.
it.
It's kind
Cut
of
out a
fucked
little
right now. But if you can
Yeah,
still
that's
hear
why
me,
Fast and the Furious is
Am I
the best franchise.
my audio from you is being fucked up right now.
Oh, no.
But
Oh,
episode
What do you
8
wanna
is
do?
the best
Maybe now he's
one. There really is no question about that of the new trilogy.
I agree.
Okay.
And
Okay,
it's
just
probably
keep
it's
going.
better than
Keep
4 for
going.
sure. We all
I'll-
agree.
I'll try to refocus. So
Genuine
Blackfoot.
opinion that I have is 8 is better than 4.
Nah, I would rather watch 4 a lot more.
That's
That's
a
right,
genuine
Corey.
opinion, and I love it.
I hate The Last Jedi so much. I like honestly.
Corey,
like,
for the love of God,
really
recenter
almost
this
ruined
conversation. I'm
one of my
dying.
favorite things in the world for me because it was so
I
bad.
try.
Like, bro, the hype was
What do we
so
think about
low.
trans Achilles?
So bad.
Go,
I have
Corey,
no
go.
problems with it.
Elliot Page,
Your
I got it.
opportunity
Oh,
now.
dude.
I have problems with it. Go.
Do you really not have
Okay.
any problems?
Now
with
my
that?
camera's messed up.
No, not
Huh?
really. Like,
What if Achilles was in a wheelchair? Would that be not like no
No,
problem?
that would
with
be a problem, but I don't know. I don't know if
Why?
it breaks.
I would.
immersion
Wait,
because
wait,
Elliot
wait.
Page
No,
looks
no.
like a
My
man.
answer would be I would trust Christopher Nolan to pull it off. Properly.
You would trust Christopher Nolan to pull off Achilles in a wheelchair. Okay,
Probably.
Hold on, hold on. Elliot
I'd-
Page doesn't necessarily look like a trans person. She or he
It's
looks
Elliot
like a man.
Page. That they're just ugly. If we're gonna be for real,
I also know Ellen
Rude.
Page is a woman, so it's
Why is
like,
it
I don't
rude?
think it's that.
you're
Well,
attacking
wait,
their
what'd you-
trans.
what'd you
I'm just
say,
attacking
Hunter?
the fact that I don't think they're
What-
attractive.
what'd you
I
say?
accidentally just
You're
Oh,
attacking
Hunter,
their
what'd you say?
transness.
What'd you
hold
say?
on, hold on, hold
I'm
on.
using that tomorrow. I'm using it tomorrow. I'm gonna use it.
Nice.
You can't stop me.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna.
Do it.
It's in my back pocket now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Conceded already. We haven't even
Alright.
started.
No, but if I look at a picture of current day Elliot Page, I go, that's a man for sure.
Okay, so hold on. But while we have a
See
lull,
Achilles.
let me
Yeah, definitely not
do
Achilles.
this. While we have a lull, then we're gonna focus onto the conversation, right? Like now that we've agreed, episode 8, best of the new trilogy. Let's let me get this plug out. I'm doing a plug, guys. I'm doing a plug. Okay, doing a plug.
Let's hear it.
All right, accept the
Do
plug.
it.
So for everyone, I'm just gonna like
Josiah's still texting
gonna-
me about
I'm just
Star
gonna
Wars,
read.
by the way.
I'm just gonna
dorks.
Shut the
Um,
fuck up. I respond.
Hey everybody. Voting is happening and it's happening quite soon in a town near you, right? In case you it may have already happened, but I don't know. In case it hasn't happened in a town near you, it's going to happen soon, right? So consider checking your voter registration, right? Voter rules are changing right now. I'm just going to read from the copy here. I'm just going to read it, right? So voter rules are changing right now. People
Copy
are
from who?
are being removed without realizing it. If you haven't checked your registration recently, don't assume you're still good to vote. It takes less than a minute to double check your status. I use the tool. I'm going to send you a link. I use this tool to make sure you're registered and ready before it's too late. Don't get caught off guard on election day. Check your registration today, then take 2 minutes to check for your friends and family. If someone you know isn't registered, give them a heads up. And you give the reason why they're able to vote, right? And so I'm going to
doing.
Don't be a pussy. Go register is way more effective. Prime.
Shout out to Ollie and Prime for not being the loser communists who
Don't
who are
vote.
anti-electoral.
It's not
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
You're just
So
gonna waste your day.
I'll put the link in.
Unless you're in Gibbs
So
chat.
this should be in our combined chat, right? So like it show up in Gibbs's chat and Lactoid's chat as well. Lactoid joined it wasn't a loser and joined the stream together thing. I'm not sure.
Rally. Oh, this is gonna harvest your data. I bet you shouldn't click on that.
Okay.
That's pretty
Well,
funny.
look, actually, well, you don't. One way out, you don't even have to, right? Like you can use the tool if you want. If you don't, that doesn't matter. Like the point is, like
the point is vote.
Yeah,
Point
the
is
point is to vote.
register and
Like
vote.
yeah, like you don't have.
I'm
to,
definitely voting as a
um,
Canadian.
You don't have to.
Yeah, in
like,
your
throw
elections,
things
you
And I
at-
bet
I'm
you're
voting
voting
10
for the
times,
Democrats.
actually.
I bet you're voting for the
Absolutely.
Democrats.
Of
True,
course it
yes.
is.
Wait,
I got
you
my
don't-
money. I got my check. So
Are we changing the topic to voting now?
We're not changing the topic.
Oh, we're staying on Star Wars.
no,
Yeah,
staying on
yeah.
racism and how Lactoid's a racist.
So I've sent you this part of was it at Dawn campaigns. It is a sponsored post, sponsored to tell you to go vote, right? So it's sponsored hashtag. You should go vote, okay? But that's all it is, right? So
Good
you can vote,
cause, though.
there. But again,
Sponsored
if you
by
don't
who?
want to, that's fine. At Dawn
RT.
campaigns. So if you want to, like check your voter registration anywhere else, like go to your state website, that's fine, right? In case you're not in our chats, right, our combined chats, if you want to go to your state or your local, I don't know where, actually I've never had to do this before, I think it's the state, right? Go to their website, check to make sure that you're still able to vote, right? Some people have been expunged from voter registrations. That's the thing that happens sometimes for whatever reason. Just make sure that doesn't happen to you, right? Make sure you're ready to go. Take the time. It doesn't take very long, right? Just like Google wherever state you're in, and your voter registration status. You can do it that way, right? Or you just click the link. There's a tool right there. Whatever you want to do. All right, we're done. Let's
Everyone rank their
started.
favorite Star Warses. How do you guys feel about Rogue One?
I haven't
good.
watched any Star Wars, so
It's pretty damn good.
Rogue
huh?
One was
Pretty damn good.
they're all
I
the
didn't
same
like
to
it
me.
so much at first. but I
Oh, what a fucking
liked it
loser!
much later.
I've never
After-
watched them. I don't know.
after
So it's
watching
not
it,
all
I
the
liked it
same
much
to you.
better.
You haven't watched them.
I think the
Because-
prequel
they're all the
trilogy
same to me.
trilogy is underrated.
The Mall show
100%.
is outstanding, by the way.
Low-key.
Highly recommend.
Episode
I've
one
been
is-
watching some of that. I haven't finished
Oh,
it, but like
fuck.
it's,
I'm not gonna give you no
it's-
spoilers. Fantastic ending, Pete Joe. Might be the best content since Andrew. Like,
I'd love to talk to you about it afterwards. Actually, yeah. Okay, so let's get back on track. All right. So we were talking, and again, thank you. Was it the Pondering Politics, Josiah? Right, or
Josiah.
real one?
Josiah's
a hot
a
20?
longtime friend.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hunter,
Josiah is the
okay.
nicest person that I know that has the worst politics. He's like, there's the greatest divergence between who he is as a person and just the crazy shit he believes. There's like
Is-
the mass.
is he a
You know what?
liberal?
I think
So wait,
me and
super
Josiah are
nice
one
but
to
evil
one on
politics in your
and I
mind.
think
That's how
know
you
me
classify
better.
him.
So
He
why
also
wouldn't I
knows-
fit that?
You
You're not
accepted
one-to-one
money from a
politics,
hand
Josiah.
washer, Prime?
Well, hold on,
No.
Lactoid. He does. Hold on.
You're
he's-
more
he's-
centrist.
He's very
No,
much
I'm
on
not.
brand, though. He's
That's
on
an
very much
insult
on
for
brand.
sure.
He believed that Palpatine did nothing wrong because he was preparing for a threat and like needed to enforce his will upon the people,
True.
just whether or not they believe it. That's also what the Democrats.
The Rebel
believe.
Alliance
So-
was going to steal the election with redistricting, so
Hey, okay.
AKA
So,
blowing up the Death Star.
Good God. But is Josiah a liberal? Is it,
Yeah.
Well, we
You
don't know
know-
what
you
these
know
words mean
Josiah.
anymore.
You don't know
You have-
Josiah?
You haven't
He's
seen
been on your
Pondering
panel
Politics?
before.
Yeah, pondering politics. Josiah is a
Yeah.
flaming liberal who openly, I think, has openly said that he's like, yeah, I'm partisan. I'm just going to support the Democrats.
He loves Joe Biden.
He loves
Well, is that
Joe
a
Biden.
liberal?
That's
Is he a moderate or a centrist, or what does
Well,
that
here.
word mean? If you haven't,
Big-
seen the
big Joe
conversations
Biden
lately,
fan. Big Joe Biden fan.
well, is Joe
So-
Biden a centrist or a progressive?
He likes all the
He's a
progressive things
moderate.
about Joe Biden and then just
What's-
ignores all the
is
centrist
are
stuff.
moderate and centrist the same thing?
No. Moderate means that
What's the
you're,
difference?
You're severely.
This is a
partisan.
big conversation happening right
It
now.
is a big
especially-
conversation right now, yeah, it's-
especially coming from Josiah, the live and
Centrist
learn
means that you're
space. He's
nonpartisan,
going
but
Hutcher at
moderate
war
means that you're-
over moderate versus centrist. Right? This is the big conversation right now. Is like,
Well,
what's
you
a
know what
moderate,
I
what's a
want.
centrist? What does it matter?
I think a centrist Democrat is more right wing than a moderate Democrat.
No, centrist, not centrist Democrat, right? Like, what's
Yeah,
a
but-
centrist?
Right,
so-
hold
so
on.
this-
A pure centrist is, I think, somebody who's like right in the middle. I don't think
like
But a
anybody's
moderate is a
Well, this
moderate
is-
of their
this is
party.
combo-
Yes, exactly.
This
But-
is a combo that's happening a lot lately. It's like because it's not just left right anymore, and I think this is kind of what you're getting at, Ollie, is that it's also like north south, right? Which is where it's like, okay, you have this populist aspect that's happening right now because sometimes America goes through these
fuck those
populist phases,
bitches.
and so like you're seeing this like classist upheaval, which is against like what they think is the status quo, and so the moderates would be your traditional like middle of the road leftist elites, the liberals kind of thing, right? And a centrist would be like
Like,
Like,
more institutional.
yeah. Wait, what? Yeah, moderate would be that. And then the centrist would be
Yeah,
like,
moderates and institutionalists.
yeah, and the centrist would be like, oh, like the population they have the middle of the road takes, but they're like the populace. Like
They'll
they're
watch
a-
like Tucker Carlson and Brianna Joy Gray, and they're like, hell yes.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
They're
I'm sorry.
like-
I just I don't want to be
them
distracted by
Jews.
this, but the problem is the term centrist is useless, right? Like what the definition that Lactoid gave, awful, right? Think about it. They're
Yeah,
right in the
idiot.
center. Center of exactly. Center of what? Right, like
The
like
Overton window.
The Overton window is a
That
constantly
shifts
shifting
left or
thing.
right.
Yeah, correct. Welcome to the way that
always
anyone
moving.
uses
But I
labels.
think
or
it does
categories.
apply to
They're
what we're
in the
talking
middle.
about, though.
How could that possibly be?
Well,
I think
hold on,
that's-
wait, hold
There's
on.
It's the
ideology
label.
that
Centrist shift as well.
Yeah,
with the
yes,
Overton window
exactly. No, Hunter's 100% right. Like when we're
Like,
talking
what
about the
the fuck
Overton
are we
window,
talking about?
when we're talking about the Overton window,
Yes,
we're
they
talking.
do.
Yes, when we're talking about the Overton window, we're talking about whatever political medium we are in whatever given area. The Overton window is different in like Spain, and a centrist in Spain is probably gonna like would be a
Hey,
What's
left
so
don't,
wing
funny
no,
about
hey,
this? Wait,
hey,
hold on,
hey,
hold on. Can I
don't
go
tell
on?
counterpoints that because they'll
I'm
call you an
saying
idiot if you don't give them the
within
definition of conservative.
a political
What about
context,
counterpoint?
right?
Because I said that a conservative in Spain is going to be different than a conservative in America.
What's
He's
so-
like, no, give me a definition of a conservative.
Within-
Define
Oh
conservative.
yeah, I don't agree with
Say
Connor.
that, yeah.
Connor's got weird
political
takes on that.
context,
I was a
right?
joke.
Within the American political context or the political context of maybe even your state or whatever, right? Within a political context, there is going to be an Overton window, right? Like
We're talking about
which,
the American
entails
current
which
context.
entails the. Okay, so we can choose America. So that
Yeah.
means the collective political stances
Mhm.
of the of
America.
that group, right?
Yeah.
Of that group, and what is considered acceptable to like the mainstream, right?
Obviously,
that's
yeah.
the Overton window. But
Yeah.
that shifts constantly. That's
Yes.
in constant flux. So there
Correct.
is no center for a person to sit at.
No, you're saying that because there's a spectrum that you can't still look at it. Like you can't still.
It's an
pick a
ever-changing
median between
spectrum.
them.
I didn't say that. I didn't say you can't look at the spectrum.
Well, okay, I
I
can
don't-
find a center of that spectrum in the same way that I can look at the color spectrum and say there is a center to. I don't know what the center.
The color
is. I
spectrum
don't know.
doesn't change.
It's a,
The
yeah,
color
it's a bad,
spectrum
it's a
doesn't
bad
change.
example. I knew he was going to.
Oh no. Sure.
He was gonna say, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. But the Overton window is constantly shifting, but there's still going to be a center of it in the same way that the boundaries are also shifting.
Yes, but like I'm saying that in the individual who like perfectly
Yes.
sits in the center will require them to shift with.
I
that
agree with
Overton
you.
window.
I agree with you. That if
they're
they are
perpetually a
consistent about being
And they
centrist, if
can't
the
be.
centrist of today and the centrist of '90s have to have shifted their views, yes,
Yes. And by the way,
Obviously.
you can have
No,
there's
no, no,
plenty
no,
of
no.
people who were centrist like 10 years ago and are now left wing, even if they didn't change their politics at all.
I'm saying it's not useful.
Then what would you suggest? Because wait, hold on. Wait, I want to do this. The issue that I have with having an objective standard for any sort of category or label is that you can look at it historically and you will realize that you've been descriptive the whole time. So I'm going to give an example. The way the left-right boundaries, where those actually originated, was in the French aristocracy, where the left was anti-monarchy and the right was pro-monarchy. So if
Yeah,
you're
in
like,
the
well, we just
legislature,
have to freeze them. Okay, well, it sounds like we're all left-wing. Every single
didn't say that
person
we
is
have to freeze them.
anti-aristocratic.
But why would I say you have to freeze them?
According to
Why would I
Scott,
say
I'm
that?
a communist.
Is that not what you're advocating for? What are you advocating
Why?
for? then?
No. Why would I
Communist
say you have to
socialist.
freeze them?
Then I'm
saying
asking, I'm
it's
sorry.
constantly shifting. That's okay. The Overton window is constantly shifting, but to identify a person and say, well, they're definitely within the middle, right? In the middle of what, right?
They're
Like
in
the
centrist
middle
context to today.
Of the current Overton window.
of this current second.
Yes,
right?
yes,
I'm saying
yes.
No, because that person exists, right? That like is perfectly. And what does it even mean? To be
It doesn't have
perfectly
to be
perfect,
So
perfect.
right?
centrist doesn't mean
It's
anything.
fine.
So
Have an
centrist doesn't mean
equal-
anything if it's
like,
always
no,
changing.
seriously.
No,
What?
you guys, what are you
Always
guys
changing.
talking about?
Does your age not mean anything because this is always changing?
Are you serious? Okay, listen, no, because
What?
age is
What?
age is a. Oh my god. Wait, okay,
Why
so
would that
my
not be
camera.
anything?
so like Tucker Carlson, right? Tucker Carlson,
Uh-huh.
MAGA or not MAGA?
Not mega now.
Right now,
Not MAGA now. He's a centrist now.
No, I would
Popular
call him
centrist. He's
conservative.
kind of hitting that middle of the
No,
road.
he's
middle of the
not-
road
he's
thing.
not
That's
a centrist
what
at all.
he's
He's
going
just
for.
crazy.
He's a
He's
popular
an
delusional.
anti-establishment conservative.
He's
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
conservative.
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, who's a centrist right now? Like
Bill Maher.
We can all
Bill
agree.
Maher.
on.
I was actually gonna say I was literally
Bill Maher is a
Maher.
centrist?
Bill Maher is a
Yeah.
centrist.
Maybe, yeah, maybe-
Bill
wait,
Maher is a left-leaning centrist. Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Pool would be a right.
That's awful.
Yeah.
No, Tim Pool's
Tim
pretty
Pool's a
conservative.
right-leaning
Tim
centrist.
Pool was a liberal for a long time.
I haven't
He's
heard
like
a lot
right-wing.
of maybe, but Bill Maher's for sure a centrist. He's very. Would you consider him a Republican or a Democrat, Ali, or left or a right?
Consider
Sorry, I'll
him.
use those terms.
Oh
'Cause
my
I know
god!
you
I
hate
think
Republican
I
versus
understand.
Democrat.
I think I understand when Prime says liberal. I was gonna say I think he's a right-leaning Democrat. So I think he's a which I guess
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
Bill
liberal.
Maher, by the way, Bill
Yeah,
Maher is
Bill-
not.
You
a
think
centrist.
Bill
I
Maher
would
is
be a
right-leaning
liberal.
overall?
Hold on,
No,
Bill Maher-
right-leaning Democrat.
No,
Oh,
yeah,
in the
yeah,
context
yeah,
of
yes,
Democrats.
yes.
Hold on, but hold
I
on.
agree with that. I agree with
And
that.
that's
Yeah.
100%
Bill
Yeah,
Maher
yeah.
is not a centrist at all. He'd be the moderate because he represents the old liberals, like the old
But no, but it's
liberals.
contextual to the time.
Right? Yeah, but this is why I think
And they're
it's important.
centrist now because the party's got so far left.
Exactly.
Well, hold on, but hold on.
What-
This is
what
actually
Prime was
important.
saying-
No,
wait,
this is
so what
hold on.
Prime-
This is
and that's a
important, right? Because this is why I said
No.
Bill Maher and Tim Pool are
I'm
different examples.
biased.
Like Tim Pool is a centrist because he's of the populace. He got rich doing what, skateboarding and shit. He's not like traditional old
No,
school.
that's
He's a
right?
man. He's a man of the people. I agree.
Yeah, he's tied. Yeah, but
the
he's
media
like,
empire he built.
media.
not
Okay,
the
media. But
skateboarding.
skateboarding not the media. Yeah, he's a pro skateboarder. He literally took that and turned it into media.
Yeah, he's good.
Anyway, so right. Okay, here's my point. Is
His media empire.
It's not
did
where he
that.
got
Like,
rich.
The political
Okay,
empire.
cool. Okay,
Was
but
he
all
actually
right,
professional?
yes, that's how he got his like leg into the empire he built. Right? Sure.
No, it was
He
Vice, wasn't it?
covering- He
Yeah,
was
because-
literally covering
Right. And why did he get that job? Did they
the
find him from his pro
protest,
skateboarding shit? Yes, they did. Okay.
And where did they find me from? High school?
Bro, that's what he got. That's
Therefore,
how I fucking knew of him
He didn't
before.
get
he
famous
was-
for that.
What the fuck are we
Hold on, hold on.
Now,
Did you
listen.
know of Tim Pool before?
Yeah,
his
because
politics?
I used to watch X Games and shit. All
You
the time.
knew him from
Okay,
X Games.
You are the one person. You're
Yeah,
the
he was-
one person on
Bro,
planet
do y'all
Earth.
not
That's
watch the X Games? Like,
crazy.
bro, like, oh my god,
That's
this
so
is
cool.
No
awesome.
one else has this. No one
You
else
don't watch
has this.
sports?
No, that's
Like-
unironically awesome though. Like I didn't
Like,
know there
they
was
also
people
know
in
No,
what
but
Italy.
I need to be
The
clear.
point-
You
Bro,
are
you know what, bro? I'll tell you what's really cool. Win
The
sale.
point I was
Check that
trying-
shit out.
Yeah. The
Win
point I
sale
was
is really
trying to
cool.
make.
Anyway,
is
the
that-
point. Hold on. He's because he's
Go
for the
ahead.
point. I want to get to the point. I was trying to give you. The Bill Maher is an old school liberal, like elitist. He's like
Yes.
the moderate, like maybe lean right Democrat now because the Overton window has moved, but that's different than what Tim Pool is because he's not coming from the established, right? So you're looking at this like difference. That's kind of what I'm trying to say is the difference here between like Tucker. I don't know what his background is, right? But he's like kind of like
Paul,
you know,
He's been in news
Fox
for
News.
forever.
I would think
he used
legacy
to wear a
media
bow
got-
tie a lot.
Yeah,
he would
he's
probably
on
be like-
Crossfire.
You would
Yeah.
you would be like at a neocon, like without a home, but
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Versus like I don't know. I don't know that you. There's a difference. Though. I think it's a class difference.
If Bill
really
Clinton had his policies from the '90s today, he would be a centrist.
No, he'd be
Probably.
a moderate. He'd be a moderate.
Okay.
No, Bill Clinton. He'd probably
The
be closer to a
issue-
centrist.
He's establishment too, though.
I think
You're so
Just because
obsessed
you're
with this.
establishment doesn't mean that like
You're
you-
obsessed with this ideology where we look at populism versus anti-populism.
I'm not obsessed. I'm just saying that's what I think it is right now. Like,
No,
but
no, I
specifically
think establishment and like being anti-establishment is not necessarily on the left and right. It's more on the up and down, I guess.
Sure, that's what I'm saying.
I
Yeah,
understand
that's what I'm
you're
saying.
I understand what you're saying, but I think that you are often discounting the severe ideological differences between the left and the right. Like you are not as compatible with the left as you think that you are, Gibbs. Fuck my camera.
Gibbs is a
I know what's going
centrist.
on.
He is the
Bro,
most
I'm way
centrist.
more
Gibbs-
compatible with
Gibbs-
the left than all you think I am.
So,
You
what,
you just have extremist views.
He dates lefty women.
he does
Me?
date.
No,
lefty
no,
goth
he dates
women, he
crazy.
goth.
Gibbs does.
Women.
What's the difference?
True. True.
Thank you for sending
No,
that
but
one.
I don't know what Prime. If you could clarify like what you would, because I said you don't. I said I don't want to freeze them, or said I said I thought that you wanted to freeze them. You clarified that you didn't. What would you suggest when it comes to labeling left versus right?
No, we can label left and right. I
What-
don't have a
wait,
problem
say it
with
again,
those
like,
labels.
with
No,
me
no,
on
no,
the
no.
left?
But how would we? What are the
We can call
mechanisms
them
that
left
we use?
and right. Sorry, that's fine.
No, but is it
So I know-
contextual to the time? Like, how do we anchor it?
Oh, I guess it could be contextual to the time and place. Yeah.
So
yeah.
then, what was your issue with what being lactoid were saying?
Sure. Specifically, like finding a person, right?
There is
Saying
no
that this
centrist,
person
yeah.
right here, right,
Uh-huh.
is in the center. Specifically,
I
what
said
left-
before-
Well,
I
what's
said
so
before-
funny? Wait, hold on. And wait, hold on. What's so funny is that we actually couldn't find one because you would have to nail the median.
Yeah.
We found a centrist
Exactly.
Democrat and we found a centrist Republican. Well, sure.
There's
but
no
centrist
pure
is probably
centrist.
a little bit.
Exactly.
of
That's
a
what I'm saying.
range.
That was my.
But I even
There's
said
only
I even said
moderates.
that-
There's moderates and there's
You're
non-moderates.
gonna find.
There's no
You're gonna find
centrists.
flavors between the moderates. You're gonna find flavors between.
Yeah,
the
none of them are
socialists. You're gonna-
centrists.
Sorry,
No,
do
they're
you
all
mean?
still like so. Okay, you don't have to be exactly centrist for us to call you like centrists.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
Then what's the
like-
difference
like-
between that and a moderate of that party?
So
No, because I'm
I
a
think
moderate. I'm not a centrist.
yes, I think like a moderate is somebody who's like a little bit further down their respective wing,
Yes.
but like not so far as to be an extremist.
and it's
How-
a vibe.
Yeah.
It's a vibe. We got
It's
to
a
feel
vibe.
this out.
Yeah.
Every
I don't
label
think you're
is
ever
going
gonna
to
find a
have
pure
gradients to this.
centrist.
A
besides
moderate,
Gibbs.
a moderate is someone who is far on their party but not extreme, so they're not moderate.
No, they're
No, they're- no,
certainly they've established
than a
themselves like
centrist.
deep. It's their center of their party. That's a moderate.
Okay, so what's a normal? So from what I'm hearing, it goes center, right, which is no one can be. Then there's the centrist of your party,
Oh, sure.
right?
Yeah.
Then
No,
there's
no,
the
no, no, no,
moderate,
no, not centrist of our party. Centrist
Yeah.
of America.
center left. There's going to be center
Yeah,
left.
you
or
can be
center
center
right.
left,
There's gonna
center
be no
right.
true
Yep,
center.
yep,
Okay.
yep, yep.
But I
No,
wouldn't call
there's-
that centrist
and
of their
then,
party.
and then there's going to be a moderate of your
Moderates.
party,
Yes.
right? And then after that is what
Extremists.
the liberal of your party,
No,
because
the
like, what we're
extremists.
I would say the extremists. Yeah.
Yeah.
the extremists.
And if you don't like that, you usually, you call them the leftists.
Radical. You know, maybe
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
And then
better
how
word.
different are the moderates
Socialist.
from the centrists?
Like
How,
Laxally.
how much
different
do
am
you
I
differ
from Bill Maher?
how different are you from Bill Maher? I don't know.
Fuck you. Very.
I'm actually
He's got a lot
asking
more
you.
money.
He's very,
Yeah, like I'm
I think
actually
Hunter's
asking you what
I-
are the
I
differences are?
genuinely no. Come on.
I just like Hunter's politics.
You-
I think he's much better than Bill Maher. Bill Maher is like
Bill Maher's
Yeah.
great.
I don't know Bill Maher's politics. That's what I'm saying. I only know
Oh,
Bill
no,
Maher from
yeah,
like
he's
7 years
a-
ago.
he
Like,
screams. He's like, I love being a Democrat. I love taxation, but this fucking trans shit, we got to cut this shit out. Okay, like we got to stop talking about them going to the bathrooms. We got to go back to common sense. We got to be realistic about
He'll
this kind of
attack
stuff.
bureaucracy, like in
That's
California.
very anti-democratic.
And
Or
he's
sorry, not
borderline
capital D.
anti-vaccine.
That's
It's
very
a little bit questionable.
anti-capital D democratic.
Yeah, he absolutely is an example of like, because the Democratic wing has shifted very far left. And
He
really
smokes pot all
Republicans-
the time, though.
He smokes a lot of pot, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
he's
but
very
that's been
pro-drug.
that's been like a left
No,
wing
exactly.
thing
He's
for a long time now.
he's a Democrat of a previous era,
He's a-
and
he's
now
a
he looks like a
libertarian.
centrist.
He has
Yeah.
some
100%,
libertarian views specifically when
True.
it talks about him. But like he's like more concerned about like should we actually be attacking the rich or taxing the rich? He's a rich fuck himself.
Oh,
And then-
hold on. I know why you guys are gonna hate him. He is very critical of people who are pro Gaza.
Yeah, he's deeply
Yeah, he's
Zionist.
a
That's an
shill,
excellent-
that makes
he's
sense,
deeply Zionist. And genocidally so. So fuck him. But in any case,
Bill
and
Maher,
so
if you're
what
watching
I'm
this,
saying is
I
that
don't say
wouldn't-
fuck you. I like you, Bill Maher.
I
You should have
would-
me on your show.
Yeah.
I think you're- I
I
could
would say
probably.
Hunter.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Hunter is a much better person. So I would never like equate him
Thank
to that,
you.
and I mean that sincerely.
I appreciate that. I do, and I would definitely. I look at Bill Maher's views. I mean, repulsively. I look at Fox News repulsively. I understand that he's more reasonable than fucking Tucker Carlson, but yeah,
He's just a relic of the past.
I dislike him quite a bit.
At a point
He's
in
been
time.
sued like
he-
3 times by Trump.
Yes. 'Cause,
And then he
Trump
started
is,
gargling
Trump is
on
an
his
orangutan,
balls.
or as
No,
relatives.
he does not.
exactly.
He does not like Trump. He still does not like Trump.
No, he does. He was just praising him to John Fetterman, right? They were just talking about how, like, there's a.
No, he will speak honestly. He'll give like some credit where it's due, and he will meet with the
honestly,
guy.
yeah, like,
But
no, no, no.
yeah.
He
He
won't-
was
he won't
being
vote for
honest,
him.
saying like,
Right.
I met with him, and Donald Trump didn't spit in my face.
Hold on.
Actually,
I'm
And he's
almost
like,
positive Bill
Consistently
Maher
donated to like Kamala
Voting
Harris, like,
for
$1
him and
million.
normalizing him
Oh,
are
come
are
on,
hang
overrated.
on. Of course. He's a
that shows
centrist.
lot.
He's a centrist. No one's saying that he's going to be. Yeah, of course he's going to normalize Trump to
So
some
centrist
degree
is a
as a
pejorative
centrist.
then.
I'll use it pejoratively, of course.
Okay.
I'll use Republican as a pejorative.
I'm just trying to keep up with. I'm just trying to keep up with the.
Just like you
with
guys
the
use
I
discourse.
said
liberal as a
centrist was
pejorative, right?
pejorative.
Exactly. Yeah.
You guys
All
use
labels that are away from us
just-
are going to be a
disgusting.
pejorative label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay. So,
And I use anything left of Pinochet as a
Jesus
denigrating label.
Christ.
All right.
And where are you as a socialist?
Okay, sorry. That fucked me up a bit. Let's go to all right. All right, let's try to recenter this. Right, I got a title here. Cruise ship
Recenter
full
on the
play.
centrist conversation.
They should have
plague.
bombed the cruise ship. I don't know why we let it dock. I don't know why we let this thing get off. It has nothing to do with immigrants or migrants. or
No,
whatever
they're
the
in
fuck
quarantine.
it is.
They were
Right?
let off.
If there's a
new
new virus, I'm being like a little bit frilled. Don't bomb the cruise ship, but you don't fucking let the people leave the cruise ship. You send doctors onto the cruise ship. You keep them on there for 6 months. You keep them floating around in the water for 6 months until the shit's gone, until the shit's off the fucking cruise. Then you let the people dock, and then we can let the people, and then you still monitor them for another 6 months. I do think that's a little bit, especially after what happened with COVID. Like I said, I didn't personally take COVID that seriously. Not saying it was responsible. I was very irresponsible, but a lot of people were irresponsible. And I think that when you see a new virus kind of
Would
popping
you
up,
feel, out of curiosity,
Could this encourage
Ollie,
hate towards cruise ship riders?
would you feel guilty if it was
should.
if it was
should.
traced to
I
you that
endorse
like
that.
you spread the disease and caused a death?
if I found that out, I mean, maybe, I don't know. Because because honestly, like it could have been any disease that was spread that caused.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, but like, let's
I
say
don't know how like
retrospectively, like an analysis came out, whatever. We spend, public funds to do some research on you and contact tracing you, and like you were able to establish a high confidence, like, you contributed to spread, and like there's like one death.
You would have
associated
to
with-
prove to me that in the places where I contributed spread that other people also weren't doing it, right? It would be a weird
Come
thing.
on.
In the places I was going, it seemed that everyone was consensually going, right? If you weren't wearing a mask, this was your consensual choice.
So you would
to wear
not
a
feel
mask in
guilty
these
as
things.
long as
like when I
other
went to
people
Florida.
were
Yo,
as
this
guilty
is
as you?
crazy. What are you talking about? I would feel guilt,
do you
of
mean?
course. That's fucked. I'd go, wait,
I don't
knew
know. I
all
don't
of the
actually.
sides.
I actually don't think that you. Okay, so like during the pandemic broke out in Michigan, for example, like I was wearing my mask, I was at everything. But like
Yeah.
on the offset chance that like I didn't have my mask on and people were going crazy, or like if you did get sick and you had to like message people like that you were sick, and then they would like go around and blame you and go crazy over the fact that like you got sick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I have blame for one getting sick and passing it, which I never
No,
got.
that's not what I'm asking. I'm just
But,
asking,
like,
it's an unrealistic hypothetical. I grant
Yeah, I
you
know.
that, but
I'm
just
saying I don't think I would feel blame if there was like a death that could be directly linked to me by like once again a virus spread.
That's
now I don't know if I
crazy.
feel like guilty for that.
That seems
I-
like
I-
I think intentionality
feel
has a lot
guilty.
to do with
For
why
sure.
I
I
think you
was-
should feel guilty.
Guilty.
Yeah,
Well,
I would-
by the way, I have an actual.
I should have known to stay home. I could have
Yeah.
saved that person's life. Like
I have an
that's-
actual anecdotal experience about this where
that
so,
specific day.
Just wait. Hold on.
Well,
I-
so
there's a recognition. Sorry,
Go
Lacto,
ahead.
you can go.
okay, so I was going to say that for me personally, like I actually had a situation where I was exposed to somebody. I was out of the state, visiting family, old family, and I was visiting also friends in the area, and I was exposed to somebody who started feeling sick when I was with them, and then afterwards messaged me, "Hey, I tested positive for COVID," and I was staying with this family that was old. And it was a huge fucking inconvenience, but I just left the state. Because I just didn't want to give that to them, and
Yeah,
I
that's
would have felt awful. I would have felt awful if I did, because now I have the information. Right now I know that
Yeah.
I was with somebody who had it for sure.
Yeah,
We were together like the whole fucking day, and
I'm not saying you stay in the
Was that your
house.
girlfriend? Was it?
No. But the
Wait, I'm
question
not
is-
saying you stay in
No,
the
no, no.
house,
No.
right?
No,
but
the
I'm saying like
question
let
a
your
girlfriend in a
wait,
different
mistress.
state. No,
Your mistress. Well, you
Wait,
got
no.
holes in different area codes. This
that's true. That's a good point.
I can frame it a little differently, right? I can frame it a little differently. You are hanging out with this friend. They're fine, right? They don't find out for like a week and a half later, because I think it was like a 2-week incubation period for COVID. They find out 2 weeks later that they have COVID. You then find out that you had COVID for over the past 2 weeks. You still leave the house, but then the old people you were living with
Yeah,
got
I wouldn't
sick.
feel
No,
as
no,
bad.
but that wouldn't
that's
be bad.
more
That's
what
not
that's
the hypothetical.
That's not the hypothetical at all.
Yeah,
Wait,
by
no,
the way, I would still probably feel a little
Corey's
bit bad.
hypothetical. I know. I'm saying this is
I
a
wouldn't
more
feel that
likely
bad, though.
hypothetical. I'm saying, yeah, you wouldn't feel bad in that hypothetical, and in Corey's hypothetical,
As bad.
hypothetical, he's saying we put out a study, and then we find out that through contact that I gave someone COVID and that person died.
Here's
Right,
the
that was the
difference.
hypothetical that
Here's
you
the
presented to me,
difference. Here's the
Corey, right?
difference. You were taking every reasonable precaution in your example. You were at home, and like, yeah, you weren't getting a COVID test every day, but that's not reasonable. Okay, you're at home and you accidentally spread it to your roommate accidentally. Don't feel bad about that. That's super fair. But if you go to like a concert willingly after like, and you know that there are precautions that we should be taking, and you're in a high dense area and you actually got sick, it's like you should probably feel bad because you knew you probably shouldn't be around that many, like all of those people, and you spread that disease, that known infectable disease to all those people.
I would distill it even further. Let's say I have rabies, and I know I have rabies, Ali. And if I go and actively bite someone and they die, should I feel guilty for that?
Yeah.
Why though? Like,
You actively went and bit them.
Is that not the
actively went and
exact
bit them
same
and
scenario that I
transmitted it to them.
outlined of like?
You actively went out and bit them and transmitted it to them, right?
Yeah, but is that not more or less? At least that's the hypothetical that I'm trying to like distill down to. Of like, you have retrospectively, I understand it's retrospectively, so it's somewhat disanalogous to my example of rabies, but like you have the information now of like, and I'm saying, again, unrealistic of like whatever. God came down and said, passed you the note saying, hey, you caused this death due to your behavior during the pandemic. You would not feel guilty?
I don't know that I would.
Okay, that's very strange.
Hold on. Even if I was
I think it's strange. I think it's strange to feel guilt of there's a virus going on. You happen to catch or pass the virus, and then all of a sudden you're gonna feel guilt for this death, even though it's like once again it's a virus that's killing people. So like
no one's saying you have to hang yourself, but like you should probably go.
I know you. I'm not saying no one's saying that you're gonna have to hang yourself. I'm answering this very kind of directly.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I feel like I'm not shying away from any answers here.
Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, like I don't feel death if there's like once again if like influenza is going on and then you get sick and pass it. I don't know that like that's something that you should feel guilt over.
If the information comes down where again with like virtual certainty that like your behavior, your modifiable behavior like is directly linked to a death, I think, I think a healthy human response is to feel guilty for that, actually.
Yes.
I would feel some guilt either way, but I think that like the only real blameworthy thing that really I would, if I had some reason to know, right? So I was informed that I was with somebody who had COVID. I then would feel if I got it and then transmitted it to my older relatives, then I would feel like actual guilt, like real shame, like, oh wow, I could have prevented this. I knew I could have prevented this and I just didn't do it. And by the way, I got COVID like 2 days from then. So it was a good thing I left.
Killed them pretty easily.
Yeah, it was a good thing I left.
Moved to go, and I would have left as well.
And then I got in a car wreck on my way back, by the way. Horrible
Oh,
time.
I'm sorry. Friend.
Yeah, terrible.
Oh my god.
Horrible time. Yeah. Anyway, I lived though. So
yeah, I'm glad, friend. I'm sorry.
So but maybe I'll leave to build a bridge here. Like if I got infected with some disease that I didn't know that I had, and then like I unknowingly passed it on, like I would still feel like, oh shit, that sucks. Like I kind of feel guilty that way, but I wouldn't feel like I did anything wrong necessarily.
That's kind of what I'm saying. I feel like guilt is like maybe not. I don't know what I would
feel bad.
Like
maybe not guilty, but bad. Like
guilt is the exact same thing you should feel.
But bad
like,
doesn't mean
public
anything.
Health campaign
as a feeling, like
that
that's
tells you, like,
hold
hey,
on,
this is how it's spread. This is how to keep it from being spread.
Yeah, but if you take the precautions,
disregard. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You flagrantly disregard those precautions, right? And then we know that, like, you were the one. Let's say somehow we could actually trace it, right? That you're the one who spread to someone else, right? Yeah, guilt would be the proper thing to feel, to know that, oh, you even got these people sick, first of all, because you don't know how bad that can be for them, right? Even they live, right? Some of these people were disabled afterwards, right? Like they were like, the long COVID thing, right? Or that, of course, they died. Yeah, that's the proper thing. I would feel guilty because I did that. I took those.
Wouldn't you feel guilty even if you took all like the preventative actions and then you still killed somebody?
Yeah,
I would
that's what we're.
I would feel less guilty. Yeah,
I'll give
it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we mean when we say feel bad. It's like because guilt implies like what we would change, and sometimes you feel responsible even though you can't exactly pinpoint what you would change in a reasonable manner.
Right.
Yeah, but that's why I'm like trying to again distill it down of like this link it again. I know impossible scenario, but like this specific set of behaviors that you exhibited during the pandemic led to this death. Like I think you should feel guilty, and if you don't,
there is like I get you're gonna say like intentionality of like me going like I had my mask on, I did the thing. I'm saying I wouldn't say I was like the face of responsibility. I didn't stay at home the whole time. I definitely went out, like, I took it less seriously maybe than should have. But I guess like what I'm saying is if I ever found out that I was sick, because like I would get tested if need be or so on and so forth. If I found out I was sick, obviously what you would do is like inform the people, stay away, but so on and so forth. Like I would do it exactly as like Lactoid did. But like otherwise, if I'm not sick and I'm not like there is no like pass, right? Like I don't feel like I transmitted anything, and then like you find that through like some I shook someone's hand or I bumped into someone, and then like, yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna necessarily how much.
No, okay, well,
I
wait,
think the
wait,
difference is that you shouldn't have been at the. We all knew that you shouldn't have gone to the festival.
Okay, so I will
Yeah,
use
I get what you're saying.
I will use your exact example, Ali. You said, you
Yeah.
were not the most diligent when wearing your mask. So what if again, God came down saying, hey, due to this droplet that you expelled while you were not wearing your mask resulted in this death, you would not feel guilty for that?
I mean, like I said, yeah, I'd feel a little guilty, maybe, but like once again, I don't know like what.
I'm not
'Cause,
saying I'm
like,
going
to
to
me-
morally condemn you per se, or that I think you should be
I understand.
like convicted. But if I would say if you expressed no guilt from that scenario, like that's pretty questionable in my mind. But what do I know?
Okay.
Ollie, just say fuck them. It'll be all right.
No,
Yeah.
it's not even about like a just fuck them. They'll be all right. If it's like you removed your mask, and we're gonna do it like it was some minute what's it called. I removed my mask and there was like I sneezed and something got off on the side of the mask. I wasn't wearing the mask properly. Something so on and so forth. I don't know how much guilt. I guess it would be how much guilt would I feel. I don't know how guilty I would feel about that.
Okay, that's fair. Like there is a spectrum. But if you just
Yeah.
said like, yeah, I even, and again, this is like during the time where, generally speaking, the main message is like mask up as much as possible. At least, well, I guess maybe Canada was different, but I think they're more or less the same in the United States. Emphasis on mask, and so it's like, yeah, again, if the information came to you that it's like, oh, we were able to determine that during this window where you were not wearing your mask and like this droplet that you expelled when you coughed led to this death. If you said that you felt no guilt at all from that, I don't think I'm the only one that would.
No, I get it. I guess it would be like the level of guilt I would feel, or how
Fair.
much guilt
Yeah.
I would feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not a
we got it.
sociopath, guys. I promise. I'm trying.
Yeah,
Well,
we
I was
know
really
that.
trying to tease that out. Okay, like
Uh,
I genuinely.
Okay. So with the remaining time that we have, well, we can keep on this topic if we like, but it seems like we might
Star
be
Wars?
winding down on this one.
Do you think
Sorry?
pit bull owners should feel guilty? I kind of do.
It's a good question.
Pit bull
I
owners.
think most dog owners should feel guilty because I think most dog owners are poor
Pitbull
dog
owners.
owners.
Whoa! You are against.
No.
Base
Okay,
take.
you're gonna lose all.
That's
pretty
that's
good.
the proper
Take.
take.
I don't even know. I
that's
just
the proper take.
I respect it. I
most
respect
dog
the take.
owners
Yeah.
are fine. What the hell?
No,
No,
most
I
dog
know, I
owners
Most
respect
dog
it.
owners are
This is the
shitty
take.
dog owners.
most dog owners
I-
are poor dog owners.
Clarify
Yes,
what
I
you mean,
100%
Corey.
What's a
Let's hear
good
it.
dog owner in your
that-
Lactoid?
I was just thinking about this like earlier, right? Now, this has been on my. This used to be on my mind a lot because in my neighborhood, right? Like there's a lot of dog owners, right? And I know that because I know there's a lot of dog poop they leave around, right? They go, they walk through parks, they shit, their dog shit there.
It's a small percentage of dog owners that are doing most of the shitting.
You have
I
any
don't
data
know
to back
about
that up?
I don't know about that.
No, but
You're
there's
welcome.
probably a
The
I don't know,
best
man.
data.
I've been
Purely
around.
anecdotal.
I've been around a lot of dog owners, right? And I'm going to say that a lot of them. So, like at its best, it's a glorified Hassan, right? Where it's like Hassan Piker has this dog that like he loves or whatever, but then like this thing is just sitting in its cot every so often, right? He shocks it every time it moves. Like he wants a prop, not a pet. I feel like a lot more people treat their dogs as like props rather than pets. They put it, they
not at
keep
all.
them in their
I
little
don't even
cots
think-
or
I
their
don't think
little
that's true.
their little like cage or whatever. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people
think
treat
that's
their
most dog
dogs
owners?
as like living like
My mom
actual-
did like
the way they're supposed to.
the
Your
moment
mom
that
might have been a great dog.
Most
owner. She
people-
might have
no,
loved
no,
her
no.
dog,
My mom was
right?
a psycho dog owner. As soon as we left, because
Oh.
like the kids really cared about the dogs, she really just like forced him into like the laundry room and closed the door and just.
I think
like,
a lot of people do that.
it
I
was
think a
kinda
lot of
crazy.
people.
This is not
have
most
this
dog
dog-
owners.
I'm not
I think a lot
saying
of people
it.
have.
You
I
said-
think a
I'm
lot of
just- it's
people. I
just
think
an
most
anecdote. I'm just
have
throwing it out there.
untrained dogs. They
Let me
don't
throw
train
it
their
out
dogs
there.
properly. They take care
No,
of
it's
their
great.
dogs so much as they feed them and they like love them, but like they don't actually treat treat their dogs as dogs are meant to be treated. You have a lot of fat dogs. You have a lot of dogs with like
Let
with,
me
that don't get walked often, right? That are just
Let me
kind of
throw
like
in a
staying
new
home. This isn't
anecdote
like a
for
good
Lactoid's
dog
point.
owner.
My mom realized that the dogs were not being taken care of well, and we really pushed her to just give them to a new dog owner. And
Yeah,
there was
new
another dog
breed.
owner who had like 20 dogs, not 20, I don't know, like 5 maybe, and just like genuinely loved the shit out of him. And we go see him every once in a while, and like he's living great, and he's got a it's
Like,
like,
that's a good dog owner.
That's great. I think the vast majority of dog owners, you're going to have horror stories like that, and you absolutely. There's also
Yeah.
certain
I wasn't trying to make any broad.
income ranges where I become
Aren't
much
the
less
vast
trusting
majority of dog owners in
of
apartments?
like the dogs and kind of how they're trained. But I think the biggest criticism is like my biggest criticism sometimes is how much dog owners
Anthropomorphizing,
how much they treat them just like another person.
like babies. Yeah.
Where it's like I'll walk into a house and like they let
I
their
do
dog
hear
like
this too.
like walk everywhere. They'll let their dog like walk on me. They like will share food
Yes.
with their dog. Like,
To my
here's a
point,
bite.
thank you for
Here's a
thank
bite
you
for
for
you.
thank you for bolstering my point. Most dog owners are poor dog owners.
I wouldn't call that a poor
That's
dog
what you're
owner.
saying.
Yes,
You just
yeah.
mean you just
yeah.
mean bad
And
for
also-
humans, not for
also,
them.
Like
No, no,
most
no, as
dog
in-
owners live in apartments. Like
I think
like
I think most of the dogs owned by dog owners are living great lives. That's what I.
they're
that's what
living
I
in
think.
apartments
Well, wait,
where they're
that is not my claim. I have no problem saying that.
Well,
Yes,
so-
probably
okay.
most dogs are living great lives because most dog
don't
owners just
pose
let
it
their
down.
dogs do whatever and don't train them.
No,
or
no, no, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. When I say do whatever, I'm not talking about like shit everywhere or like attack children. I think that is a minority. Now it is more
I
common
don't
amongst certain
disagree
dog
there.
breeds, but I think it is a minority. I think most dog owners like they will pick up their dog shit. They they live in some suburb with a fucking white picket fence and a golden retriever, and
I think-
they treat their dog as part of their family. I think this is
No,
most.
I
of
think
them.
most dog owners live in
And-
apartments in cities. They don't live in some picket fences in the suburbs.
So
I think it's like a
what?
Yeah,
minority
most
of
people-
dog owners.
Most people live in cities, right? And
No,
so,
no.
like,
Yeah,
most
they're
pet
leaving their
owners
dog.
I
live
bet
in
dog
cities.
owners are
So I
disproportionately.
think most people are single, living their dogs locked in.
Oh,
locked
it's gonna
in
be
a room for 8
disproportionately-
to 9 hours a
No,
day.
Come on.
It's
If
gonna
they're
be
coming home and taking it on
disproportionately
one
homeowners.
walk. They're coming home and
walks
taking it
into-
on one walk, and that's the extent
It's
of the
gonna
dog's
be-
life.
it's gonna-
It's 9 to 10. It's 20 hours indoors. Wait, 20 hours indoors. 23 hours
Not most
indoors.
dogs.
Maybe an hour outside a day. That's
Hold on.
the
You
average
guys are
life of
all
a dog.
being
that's
so
not
dumb.
most dogs. First of all, most dogs are
How
going to
many
be
hours a day outside is a
dogs-
dog?
just
dude?
wait,
Most
hold on,
dogs are
hold
going to
on,
be owned by
hold on.
homeowners because
65% of
Apartments-
America are homeowners.
sure, but and in cities
60% of dog
and
dog
in
owners
cities,
are
in cities.
renters
This is going to
in
be a much lower
cities.
percentage, and a lot of these apartments have either like increased money
No
requirements for
dog.
having pets or no
Yes.
dogs allowed at all. And you go in the
Correct.
suburbs, seems like every other fucking family has a dog.
1 million.
Yeah, no,
percent,
you're
sorry.
correct. So
That's-
at least
it's-
from what I'm seeing here, it says dog owners primarily live in detached houses,
Thank you.
largely because homeowners have higher pet ownership
Pretty
rates,
unquestionably.
about 58%.
Yes.
Where
they have yards and tennis balls.
apartments, but the apartmentship ownership is rising. 40% of renters owning dogs in 2025.
Sure.
So
It's still a lot. But I mean, look how prevalent it is then, right? The lowest percentage is 40%. That means like you go in the suburbs, it's like, it wouldn't surprise me if 70% of people in the suburbs, like family homes, have a dog. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't
That
know.
wouldn't
If that's
surprise me either.
Yeah, I don't know the percentage, and I think most of them are like perfectly fine. They're happy dogs. And they're also
70%
not
Corey,
would
shitting
Corey,
themselves.
so Corey, what did you mean by your
70% would
claim?
surprise me actually.
Corey, what did you mean
I
by
would
your
say
claim that
maybe
they were bad
40,
I'll
dogs?
look it up. I could be
owners?
wrong. I could be wrong. Let me look it up.
70
I
seems
wish
like
I
a
could
lot.
respond to you, Hunter.
yeah, go ahead, Corey.
So everything that Lactoid's saying, I think he actually even bolstered my point. Like, because I'm not claiming that these dogs are unhappy dogs or that these dogs are like, let's say, maltreated. Okay, I'm saying overall, most dogs, and I think even Lactoid more or less like made my point for me, but maybe I didn't make it clear enough. Of like he said, if I understood correctly, that most dog owners treat their dogs like a human and just let them more or less like do whatever. Okay, I would say that is a poorly trained dog.
But that's
okay?
to the
And-
detriment of us, not to the dog, right?
That's
Yeah.
we're talking about the
Yeah,
owners.
yeah,
We're saying
okay,
the owners
that
are
is
bad.
bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I do
And-
think the way that
and-
you originally formulated your point, it did sound like the dogs were.
Well, no, but wait, no, because if I remember correctly, Lactoid was bringing up pit bulls,
shit.
and I'm pretty sure he was bringing up pit bulls in the context of like that is a detriment to us due to their
Okay.
You know what,
bites.
that's a great point.
No, I think what I
Corey,
said
that's a
is
great
what
point.
I said is I think that people do let their dogs
Fucking got
do
me.
shit in terms of like eating shit or like walking around and stuff, which I mean it's really not that big of a deal. I agree that them shitting on people's lawns or when they shit on my lawn, which does happen, that sucks. but it really doesn't happen nearly the frequency that it would if this was like most dog owners, which I don't think it is. When it comes to
like your inability to, although again, I might just be my inability to communicate, but the fact that you just distill it down to like, well, it's just a dog, going to the bathroom on the lawn, and that's just like the only range of like it's either biting, and like going to the bathroom
there's
on
only
the
two
lawn.
I care about.
What would you clarify?
Really?
Yeah, well, exactly.
Like bringing chihuahuas into restaurants. Like,
yeah,
and
what
you're
other
going to
ones
be
are-
the wife of the dog.
and Lacto is going to be a bad dog owner and probably a bad parent too.
What other?
whoa,
Very harsh, unnecessarily. But what are you talking about then?
Because I'm pretty sure you have the mentality of like, if I just give a child food and I give it shelter, nothing else
And it
can go
doesn't
wrong.
bite
No, wait,
people.
hold on. You are doing the anthropomorphizing.
Yeah, they need those
right
whoopings.
now.
What they need.
I don't
Those
have.
children.
I'm not gonna have an
Those
education
children,
plan
dogs need
and
those
like for a
ass
fucking
beat.
dog. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Corey,
Corey,
you are
probably.
guilty right now of anthropomorphizing animals because Lactoid was just like, there's two things I care about with animals. And you're like, well, what about humans? Yeah, we have 50 things that we care about.
Very
Just
different
as-
concerns
no,
with a child.
No. Just as a dog has to be socialized, okay, appropriately, a child, a
Much
developing
less
human, has
so.
to be socialized appropriately.
Like an extremely
Much less so if they're not biting people,
No,
which I
the
included.
fact that,
Yeah, I don't
the
really
fact that-
care.
The fact that you have that mentality, again, just bolsters my point.
Okay, maybe I should have known dogs, but I think I'm a great
I don't
parent.
know, man.
Yeah, this is weird. Like, if we're talking about a poorly socialized dog, like, yeah, my main concerns are going to be if they bite somebody, that's bad. Okay, now we're talking about socialization to the point where I think it's actually important to intervene when it comes to a dog, or when it comes to shitting all over like people's lawns. Yeah, that's also bad on the dog owner. But when it comes to like, okay, a dog that doesn't do those things, you're saying that I have some requirement to like socialize a dog with other dogs to some extent.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm a poor dog owner, and that translates.
Yes.
And hold on,
Yes.
and this would translate to me being a bad parent, despite the fact that I'm perfectly willing to socialize my child with other children.
I would say you are probably going to, just as you have the mentality of like, my dog needs pretty much virtually no or very limited socialization, you probably underestimate the amount of socialization that a child needs.
Why are you assuming that I would treat a dog and a child the same?
Yeah, that's what I keep getting to.
Because I think there's a strong correlation.
I
there. Yes,
don't.
because you don't recognize.
Where's that correlation? Where are you pulling that from?
Just in terms of overall, raising another organism, basically.
I
Hold on,
think
what
that
about
the
what about
issue
people
is
who
treating
hate
these
who
organisms
hate
together.
pets, right? Can they be good parents?
They
if
hate
you
their children
like-
too because
Yeah,
I'm
do
one
they
to
hate
one.
children?
Yeah, I'm not saying well, to be clear, I'm not saying there's a one-to-one correlation, okay? But let's just say the correlation between poor dog owners or poor pet owners, okay? As in, if someone is probably a poor dog owner, they're probably going to be a poor parent as well. Now,
So,
does it
I'm gonna
work
say this.
exactly in every single scenario? The answer is no.
I'm going to say this. I had a cat and I didn't really, I think it was a fine parent. I think he had a good life, but like I would leave him in the house for 2 days and just make sure that the food dispenser was like automatic. And I really wouldn't think twice about it.
Do you
Like,
do that
and
for your child, Hunter?
I do not do that for my child. I
And
actually,
wait. How often did you let your cat out of the house or residence?
very rarely.
Rarely.
You're not supposed to let him out of the house. Right?
Yeah, I thought, isn't that bad for the
That's
environment?
bad
Well,
for
no,
the
no,
environment.
He was a house cat for sure.
I'm saying like I could be assuming, but correct me if I'm wrong. But like it sounds like okay, pretty much the cat largely interacted with you or whoever it is that you and your roommate were living with exclusively.
My wife, yeah.
Okay, but dogs
So you didn't
interact.
socialize
Generally
the cat.
speaking. So I have no problem
not
saying
supposed to.
that if we're going to advocate for having dogs
That's a bad cat owner if you let your cat out.
primarily in the residence, then I would agree that would reduce the amount of dog incidents and poorly behaved dogs out in the wild.
Okay, I'm not going to speak for dogs. I haven't owned a dog in like 15 years when I was like a kid in middle school. So I
Yeah,
don't really
you know,
know.
scare the rod, spoil the child, applies to the dogs, and the people, and all.
So yeah, Corey,
Oh
I
wait.
think you're on.
So no.
this-
What is the
look
likelihood
here,
if you found out someone is beating their dog? What do you think the likelihood or the correlation is between them beating their children?
I bet the dog
Hold on,
listens.
I'm not talking about beating a fucking dog.
No,
Yeah,
but-
those are like
wait,
evil
wait,
people.
I bet that dog
Is there
listens to them,
is there any correlation there at
Fine.
all whatsoever?
Hold on,
yes.
wait, stop. There's probably going to be some correlation between the kind of aggressive underlying behavior between beating a dog and beating a child. I am not.
That is exactly my point. That is exactly my
That is
point.
not your point.
Let him get
You're
it.
saying
can't
that if you don't,
extrapolate
if you're saying if you don't go socialize your pet, that this is making it you're probably because you use the word probably that you're
dog,
probably
I
going to
mean.
be a bad parent too because you don't socialize
yes.
your children.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
pretty crazy.
yeah.
This is insane. You have no. You're just pulling this out of your ass.
Hold on. Don't most people think the pets are going to be fine and they know that the babies are not going to be fine if you just if you just don't interact with them and just leave them. Loki, I leave my kid in the bedroom, and sometimes he takes like half an hour to sort of wind down and go to sleep. I feel guilty about that. I'm like, I'm just letting him run around for half an hour. He loves it. He's playing with his toys. He's having a great time.
But yet you let your cat alone in the house for 2
2 days.
days.
Honestly, probably even longer. I might be undercutting that.
Dude, I'm
Like,
more longer.
I really was like,
Yeah, there's a
I know
cat.
there's food. I know there's food, and I know the litter is empty, and he's not gonna poop anywhere, and he's gonna be fine.
Your cat also requires cats don't require the maintenance. You
Okay,
can
well,
leave a
I
cat
don't.
in the
Okay,
house alone for like
Corey,
a
does
week and a half.
does this extend to
Right,
cats?
that's kind
Or
of
is this a
Corey's point,
purely
right? It's like
dog?
you're linking to a cat that doesn't require really any fucking
Okay,
maintenance.
well then-
Cats, if
oh,
anything, would
okay,
prefer to be alone
the-
if they're in a house.
Okay,
But like what
cool.
Corey's saying is that if you have someone who's willing to be, if you have someone who's willing to have a pet, right? This is a thing, which is what I was saying. Is most people want a prop, not a pet. But if you have a pet, which is a living animal, and then you're willing to beat this thing, something that you're supposed to raise, presumably
Beat
you got
it.
as a small, hit it. Right? Some
No,
people
no,
don't-
no,
some
no,
people
that's
don't
not the
abuse.
issue
They
we
hit their
had.
dog.
Beat up
They
once,
hit their
so I
dog.
beat him
I know.
again,
I'm
Alright,
saying
we
the
got it.
correlation. If someone's willing to hit a dog, which is a defenseless animal, right, with no
Stop
consent,
going
no
there.
anything, and can't actually listen to response, then they're probably willing to hit their kids that will actually piss them off with words.
I
don't know.
agree. I
yeah,
agree.
that's-
Dog is
That's
saying
not
you
the
go get your
fucking
kids a
point.
spanking, you know?
That's not what we're talking about. Yeah, if you're willing to lay your hands on
If
something,
If you're willing to
Innocent
neglect
animals
your
are
pet, you're probably willing to neglect
stop
your kid. Is what he's
extrapolating that
saying.
into that.
I
That's
mean,
a different
and
point.
not whooping your dog's
What
ass.
was the
neglecting
point?
Your pet, bro. I'm
You
saying.
can't
gotta
shift
learn.
it from willing to attack a dog, so you're willing to attack a person.
Okay, neglect.
To neglect. No. Stop changing it like they're the same.
I said
will
okay, then
concede-
neglect.
Okay, then I'm gonna take back all of the concessions I make. No, that's stupid.
If you're willing to neglect animals that you're not willing to neglect
Yes,
kids,
that's
why? I don't-
fucking dumb.
The kind of
Why
behavior
is it
that
dumb?
is not neglect for a dog is neglect for a child. You see that, right?
What do you? I'm sorry. Repeat that.
You can treat a dog a certain way, and it's not neglect. That you can't treat a child, because
You
then
could,
it is
you could
neglect.
leave a dog. You could leave a dog in your house and maybe have one person check in on it, like once a day for
Yeah.
probably a week, and who cares?
Yeah, and you can play around with a dog every day, and that's enough. With a child, that's not
Genuinely.
enough.
It's you gotta always be
Get their
talking to him.
vaccinations. You got to take them to school.
So
you
I'm
got
assuming
to
what Corey's
He's gotta be around.
that
Yeah,
someone,
everything
someone
that's
saying
in his day
is
is gonna go to
bolstering
the
my point.
park.
Like,
Okay.
the fact that you just
Yeah.
expressed that leaving a dog for a day and then just check in on it
No, for
every
a
few
week.
days. Even,
So a
even a week. Okay.
I
And
do
just check-
say a week. I'll
Open
say
up-
a week.
Yes.
Open the
I'll
house
say
Okay.
like crazy.
Bolster my point that you're probably going to poorly socialize a dog. Yes.
and thus
Okay,
his
but
children.
Thus, my children. I have 2 children.
Yeah. Probably.
Well, you don't have a dog, and you probably wouldn't actually
Okay,
socialize.
well,
it like
I'm
that, right?
evidence.
Like
I
realistically
take my
speaking,
kids to the park every fucking day, and they go to
Cool.
daycare, and they socialize with kids, and I take them over, and they.
Corey,
play
you're
in the
dying on a
dirt.
hill you don't need to die on.
Yeah,
I
this
have
is
no problem
crazy.
dying on it.
The bad
You
parent
think I'm
hill.
more
I'm
likely to be a
specifically them two.
neglectful parent because of I think that dogs can be fine for.
I have no problem saying that. Just as I think most dog owners are poor dog owners, most parents, my own included, are poor parents.
Oh, including me though.
Most parents are bad. What does it mean to say that? Like, okay, doesn't bad require some kind of like baseline to compare it to? If most parents are bad, like, what's
No.
good?
What do you give me an example of a bad parenting thing that you think most people are complicit in? Like screens, probably.
Yeah,
Actually,
doing
that's
some
probably a
bad
quick one.
parenting doesn't make a bad parent, though.
No, well,
Because like,
will also concede that every parent, if or when I become a parent, will make mistakes.
No,
okay?
sure. But my brother, for example, I don't really agree with a lot of his parenting things, but like, he's certainly not a bad parent. Like sometimes he gives the kids the screen time a little bit much. Sometimes they're on websites that feel a little brain rotty. Sometimes they watch shows that feel really fucking stupid. And I go, I don't know if that's the best thing. I would never call them bad parents though. That feels like crazy. They're,
Okay,
I just
fine.
disagree. Yeah. Would you? I'm just curious.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay. But like, that's all they're doing.
What's your
It's
threshold
just like
for a
brain
bad
rot TV
parent?
shows.
Actually, Hunter, I think you're
Ju-
the only
just as-
official
What if
parent.
they're like? What if their
Okay,
kid is like a
threshold
completely
for
serial
just
killer?
just as most dog owners don't set appropriate boundaries with their dogs, most parents do not set appropriate boundaries for their children because they
Well,
don't know how.
I have a question. Are they? So I have a
Do
friend.
you want me to answer the question? I can answer the question what I think is a bad parent.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to have a specific line, obviously, but I'll give a vibe.
Well, like
okay?
like a set of features or like
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you would
yeah.
consider
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a
I
end
watched-
result, whatever.
I
yeah.
watched this video of like fucking Harry Potter parents who are like, we have to give her the screen because it helps with her ticking, and she's got like a fucking like blanket over her head, and she's like incessantly tapping, and they're like, we just leave her like that for hours while she does that. It helps with her like anxiety. I'm like, that's a bad parent. That has become, you have hit a point where that's a bad parent. There's probably a gradient above that, and there's a gradient below my brother where like I would hit that line. But like, yeah, that's the distinction between a good parent and a bad parent. Obviously, like abusive parents are even worse parents. And like,
of course, yeah.
What if they have just like a terrible child, right? Like, so like I have a friend, she's got like 2 good kids and then 1 kid that's gonna be fucking a serial killer. Like, I'm 100% sure.
I agree. If they have-
She's tried things, and like the kids out there still fucking eating squirrels, and like
What's wrong with eating squirrels?
Oh, bro, the way he's doing is wrong.
in Texas,
I would say,
everyone eats
yeah,
squirrels?
I'm saying this is not normal behavior. This kid's for sure going to be Jeffrey
yeah,
Dahmer.
first off, I have like a psychopath brother. Like I
don't know
but
what
he's
this
also,
is. This is a
and
problem.
I blame a lot of I blame my parents for a lot of the ways that he
Sure,
turned out,
she's not
genuinely.
perfect. She's not perfect, but she's
and there's probably legitimacy
got-
to that.
well, hold on, she's not.
Yeah,
perfect,
and
right?
I would
But
probably
hold
say they're
on.
bad
And
parents.
it's
They weren't
because they
necessarily
didn't
abusive.
socialize dogs. That's
No, no,
why.
Exactly.
Hold on. I think it's a real
Exactly.
question.
Wait,
though. So, like,
Hunter,
said
was
my
your
mom
dog
was-
socialized? Hunter,
I
was your
have a
dog
real
socialized?
thing.
You said
Hold
no.
on.
You said your mom was a bad
My
dog
mom was a
owner.
bad dog parent.
Hold on.
That's
I want
true.
to finish my thing here. I want to finish. Like, so, like, all right, she has 2 kids. One of them's like 16 now, and like he's good. He's like a good child. He seems like he'll be fine. Like he'll be. She's got another one that's still younger. He seems like okay. Then she got this one like this. Clearly, I don't know what's going on there, but the kid's gonna be a serial killer, right? Say this kid does become a serial killer. Was she a bad parent? I'd be like, by some metrics, yeah, you raised a serial killer. But at what point is it not their fault? And what can they do? Like,
I
you know,
have no problem conceding
Does
that
she cover
if-
for
if-
his serial
I'll
killings?
answer the question. I will answer the question. If you have Macaulay Culkin from The Good Son, yes, that's out of your control. Okay, like yes, those children exist.
I don't even know if those
she's got
children
Jason.
exist.
So
Like genuinely. And I worked in a treatment center for teenagers, like for 2 years. Like I have seen
let me introduce
almost
you. This
all
kid.
of the time the teenagers have problems. I'm like, dude, I could see that this is your.
No, this
parents
kid's
and
like
it's,
6.
Fucked you up.
I'm saying this now.
Hold on.
I'm
And-
100% positive.
No, but
this
here's the
kid
thing.
is
When I say
No,
my
he's
brother's a
6.
psychopath, he's actually
Yeah,
an
bro,
adopted
this is,
brother.
it's like I was
He-
scared to sleep over at the house. I thought he was gonna try and kill me. in
No,
his
yeah,
sleep.
yeah. I genuinely, I've had the same fears, but it's my adopted brother because for the first
Most
2
fear I've
years,
ever
he
been
was
in.
like, he was in a fucked situation. He was abused, and he was like, that really fucked with his head. And clearly, he's out of the circumstances, and now he like does not know how to handle it. And my parents didn't know how to handle it. Whatever. There's a lot of people I could point to and go, you fucked him up, you fucked him up, you fucked him up. Also, he fucked him up. He's 28 now. He's in a jail cell right now because he's a piece of shit. Like,
Oh,
you know, I don't know.
sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
Can I say one thing real quick about going way back a little bit, the China thing?
Okay. All right.
They're run by serial killers.
He wants to avoid the dog topic, right? Corey had him
Yeah.
dead to rights.
No, yeah,
so-
yeah. Dead to rights.
Go ahead.
Former Arcadia mayor Eileen Wang, the mayor, has pled guilty to acting as an agent of the Chinese government.
Wow.
The mayor of sorry,
Is
the
it-
mayor of what town?
The
I have
mayor
a-
of Arcadia, which I don't know.
Is
what
this
that
fair? Lactoid, tell me if
I
this
don't
is
know,
fair. Is it fair for me to go guilty doesn't necessarily mean she did it? Like there's a lot of plea deals that
Yeah,
happen.
you know what? It's fair because you know what the Democrats like to do. They like to say that they're not the racist, and then
It's
they
a
put-
genuine
No, hold on,
question.
no, hold on. I know it is a genuine question.
Yeah,
They like to
look,
say
this
they're not a
Gibbs'
racist. They're not the
favorite
racist.
topic.
They're not the
Yeah,
racist.
Wait, hold on,
Democrats
Lactoid,
are the
did you
racist.
hate
Hold
that
on, hold on,
question?
let me
Is
just
that not fair?
Let me answer the question. You say they all go and say, "Oh, we're not the racist," and then you'll run a guy and he's leading by 30 points that has a literal SS tattoo, and then they go, "Oh, but the Republicans are the
California.
racist." Yeah, so it's crazy that y'all are going to say you're going to do this thing. So yeah, I think. It is
Did he
fair.
know it was an
I'm
SS
pretty
tattoo,
critical of-
or was it just like
Yes,
you know
yes, he
vibes?
did. Yeah,
in,
he's
like,
so-
you
so-
know,
so-
No,
Okay.
it was a totem
Okay.
cop tattoo.
Fair point. I haven't fully gone through this case.
No,
All I
and
know-
that's
all I know
I'm
is
saying
that
like,
it just came out. The first time I'm hearing
yeah,
about
yeah,
it
yeah.
is so Arcadia is in California. She was apparently pled guilty to acting as a Chinese agent.
And I usually want to look a little bit more at the case,
Fair.
but that obviously does not bode well.
I don't know
sure,
what
it's
kind of
crazy.
plea deal you take that makes you guilty of being a Chinese agent.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, and these are fair. That's
That
fair.
one's
That's
a little
fair.
specific. That one's a
That's
little
fair.
tough.
Maybe
Just like he
when
did
I look at a
for
case,
An
I rarely look if
unregistered
they
foreign
pled guilty.
agent. That might be.
That's
it.
all I'm saying. Because
Um,
like
you got to register as a
95% of
foreign
the
agent.
people who are charged, actually, I don't know the stats. Maybe Lactoid could help me out. But like 95% of people charged with a crime are plead guilty, and most of the time they haven't done it. Or sorry, maybe not most, but like a good chunk of the people who plead guilty do so because the plea deal is a better deal for them.
There
Is
are
it not
people.
fair?
There are people who plead guilty that didn't do it. It's not most of them.
Really,
most-
you think so?
Yeah, I think.
Oh
there was-
no! I took back most. There is a sizable chunk of people who plead guilty who haven't done it, and I would say.
So I saw.
Wait. The vast majority who are charged with a crime and didn't do it plead guilty. Is that fair?
The vast majority of people who didn't do a crime but plead guilty.
And
Sorry.
got charged with it.
Oh, they got
plead
charged with a
guilty.
crime and they did do it, or
They
didn't
did not do it.
Plead guilty.
They plead guilty.
That I don't know.
I would say that's probably true, and I know nothing about the justice system.
That
So
I
take
don't
that with a
know.
grain of salt.
It's possible. Look,
salt.
I know people who are not guilty who have pled guilty in order to avoid
So they
all the
say.
headache. This does happen. Now, no, I believe him.
No, I know. I'm joking.
Actually, based on everything he said, it
Yeah.
was actually really sad. That's actually a really depressing story. I'll go into that later, maybe sometime. But the allegation against this mayor is that she ran a news website between 2020 and 2022, and she claimed it was just a news agency for Chinese Americans, but in reality, she was getting directives from Beijing
Jesus Christ.
and posting whatever propaganda was sent to her by the government,
That's pretty insane.
and then reporting back to Beijing with screenshots showing how many people viewed the stories as part of their deal.
That sounds like there's
It's
evidence
fine.
for sure. And I'm willing to say she's
Yeah.
guilty now. But that's
It's
what I
fine
needed to
when-
hear.
It's fine when they do it for Israel, though, right? When
Yeah.
Israel
Who said that
literally
that's
does
fine?
the exact
Sure.
same thing.
The people who haven't charged
does
anyone who-
Exactly
yeah.
that. Like what? Like we
We
know
have all these
we have-
officials who haven't been charged for probably this exact same thing, and yet this Chinese official seems to be very.
Hold on,
specific.
you
I
think
like-
you
I
think there's
will say that
orders
there's
coming in from
probably-
Tel
yeah.
Aviv, like the actual Israeli
Yes.
government is like
Yes.
sending directives to
Ben
news
Gavir
agencies,
is
and they're just
texting
copy and
Yes.
pasting like
Yes.
no.
Tim Pool.
Yes.
Ben
How
Gavir
much
is
difference does it make
texting
if it
Tim
comes
Yes.
from Beijing.
Yes,
or if
Lachlan,
it
yes.
comes
You
to,
guys are-
whatever
You
You think
proxy
there's
live in
they have.
messages coming from
Same thing.
Beijing
I didn't,
Yeah,
yeah,
it doesn't
nobody
matter.
said
Yeah,
Beijing.
or wherever you said?
Well, for this
Right.
mayor,
Uh,
yeah, the allegation is that she was taking orders, like the Chinese government would send her some, like, deny the Uyghur genocide, and then she would post that whatever they told her to post.
And
Yeah,
that's
like-
believable, but,
and
but
Israel-
messages coming from Tel Aviv isn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. Wait,
What the
How is
fuck
that not
are
the
we
same? They
talking
literally have
about?
talking points about like the
yeah, they have talking points. Which
And they have-
hold on, let me take a step back. Which news agencies in
Oh my
America
God.
do you think are verbatim, like, just subordinate to Tel Aviv?
Sorry,
Do they have to be news?
that was what I was saying. I'm saying when people are engaged in this, we have individuals who go on these news shows and who will deliver exactly those talking points. Right? We have the ADL that does exactly this.
We have Ben Shapiro.
We have
Gosh,
we have
that was-
They're not getting
that
money.
does
They're not
exactly
getting. They're not
this.
getting
We have-
paid by like the government of Israel to like.
They don't.
To
They don't have
literally
to. They get
parrot
paid by
like,
their
whatever they say.
proxies. What difference
That,
does it make
that's
to
what's
these-
happening
hold on.
here.
No. No, actually, it does. It matters on if your proxies. This is how they always works, right? They give money through proxies, right? They didn't.
How should
This
work?
lady, I
Yeah, but
guarantee
China
you,
does
she
that,
didn't
but
get,
that's not illegal.
She didn't get like a fucking Venmo, right? From Beijing saying good work on the.
No,
on the
no,
propaganda.
no,
But
she
hold on,
literally
they
got
gave
that.
you
She literally got good work. Thank you for posting that so fast. They literally.
Yeah, and I don't know why we're surprised.
This mayor was getting confirmation
I don't-
from the Chinese government.
I don't know why you're so.
Did
I don't
she
know
get
why.
a Venmo. Did she get a Venmo?
I don't know if it was Venmo specifically.
It might have been Cash App. It might have been Cash App.
But hold on, you know what's Prime? You know what? What's crazy is we actually have evidence this happened in the U.S. You know what we have evidence of? Where the SPLC paid the organizer of the Unite the Right rally like $258,000 to set up that event in and of itself. So yeah, we already have the Dems doing this. And in fact, what's crazier is guess who's been saying that they were neo-Nazis the whole time? I have. And here we go. I just posted in the back room a photo of Graham Planter's tattoo, a leading candidate in the Democratic primary right now, who the CNN, I just saw, what's his name, fucking tell everybody we should rally around him and get in a whole fight with old Scott Jennings about it. And here we are today, and it's, wow, lo and behold, now we're sitting here talking about how much we hate the Jews. It really doesn't seem like the socialists have changed at all since the 1940s to me, but crazy coincidences here. Hunter, thoughts?
I fully agree that Graham Plattner has a Totenkopf tattoo. I don't think that he knew it was a Totenkopf tattoo when he got it, but he
I
certainly
didn't.
knew.
I didn't
Just
know.
hear me out for a sec. He
Yeah.
definitely
Come on.
knew that it was before he admitted to it. You know what I'm saying? Like he
Has
was
he still
like
not gotten rid of
this
it yet?
year. No, he
He
got
had
rid
a
of it.
20-year. Hold on, have you seen
Yeah.
his other posts?
He's gotten rid of it.
Yeah.
All right, you got
Yeah.
rid of it finally.
Hold on.
You should have got rid of it
Personally,
right away,
I don't
right
think
when you
he's a
found
Nazi,
out.
but I
Hold
think
on.
that he has.
Right when you
Hold
find
on.
out.
So,
but
okay,
I-
so if you have a Nazi tattoo and you post like all sorts of anti-Jewish things on your thing, I would have to say
I'd
probably
have to see
think
the
you-
anti-Jewish thing.
Yeah, what's the
I've seen any of that.
anti-Jewish?
All right, now let me go here. There's a USA Today article about it, and there we go. And they have a whole bunch of stuff that I posted.
I think to be fair, if maybe he didn't know it was when he first got it. However, you kind of can't just have that shit on you for 20 years.
and then be
That's,
saying anti-Jew shit.
That's what is that?
They're
I
like
fully
talking
agree. I also think that he is better than Colin. So
Damn it. What am I looking?
I feel like a Nazi
Um,
tattoo is like just you're too radioactive. The
Yeah,
fact
no,
that
I'm
he
with
bad.
you.
is-
I'm with
yeah,
you. And
it's
if that's the justification, it's like let's just not have it. I didn't want him as the Democratic nominee, 100%. I think that it ruins credibility when we're trying to talk about fascism and we have people like Gibbs going like, "Don't you guys have a Democratic candidate right now with a Nazi tattoo?" And it ruins the whole argument, even though I don't think he's a Nazi. So it's like we just got to get rid of him.
Was so,
Yeah,
wait,
he's
wait,
he's denied the Holocaust even.
wasn't there a recent
Where?
story
Hold
about
on.
like somebody
Oh,
who
yeah,
had
hold
like a also like some woman had a swastika? Did I not hear about
Hold
that?
on.
I don't
It looks
know,
like
I
he
don't know.
praised Hamas for a sec.
No, hold on.
Not October 7th.
He also shared.
Praised Hamas on October 7th.
Okay,
No, not on October
Here's a
7th.
quick
Oh.
AI overview. It says, "I in
He praised an
2026."
attack in 2014.
He also shared. He shared a post of Steve Peters, a far right anti-Semitic commentator, stating that the Jews and the Holocaust never occurred, and then it criticized the U.S. Middle East, as well as in the Middle East for Israel. That sounds pretty pro-Nazi.
Yeah,
What'd you say? Say it one more time.
He shared a post by like a Nazi, like a far right anti-Jew commentator that said the Holocaust never happened, and then he said it's at the same time he said the U.S. shouldn't be involved.
Why
in
isn't that in
because
the
of Israel.
fucking thing that you sent me? Because I'm typing
Well, I'm
searching
just-
Holocaust right
just
now and I
quick
can't find it. Can you
I
just
just-
show me the thing?
Why don't I just share the screen? I'm just quick AI over you real
Just-
quick, and it's not. Oh, cool.
Oh, and
Do your own fucking research, Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I just posted the U.S.
I
thing.
would
They-
be
they-
surprised that Plattner denied the Holocaust. That feels ideologically weird for him, but I'm willing to accept it because he seems like an insane person. I don't think he should be the senator, but I'll take him over Collins because unfortunately, lesser of two evils. But I think he's one of the worst Democratic candidates we have right now. So I
Wait,
don't
okay,
think I'm
this-
being that weird.
This thing.
So,
this lesser. Of, go ahead, Prime.
Okay, so back to the actual topic just for a second. Okay. So we have the reason why I brought this up is because like
He didn't deny the
ship was
Holocaust, come on.
arriving.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah.
That's a, what? If you're sharing a guy saying that the Holocaust doesn't
we-
exist,
Show me a fucking link and then I'll change my mind.
how am I sure
Brian,
you're supposed to
continue.
do a link for when they say he's deleted it and there's a post from a certain date? Like,
Oh,
if I
also-
hold on. If I post something that says,
Stop. Are you retarded? What are you talking about? Show me a fucking news article that says here is the deleted
Why would I need to
post.
do that? Okay, how am I supposed to do that? Am I supposed to go like my post? I hate Hunter, and then I delete it. You go.
How
show me a
would
link
wait?
that
Hold
you
on.
said that.
Doesn't
How
someone
would-
know that? Did someone take a screenshot? How
Someone
would
just
we know
does
that?
a Wayback Machine, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
something like
no,
that.
Bro, I mean, you're
There's
expecting me
ways to
go find
hold
their
on to that
sources.
information, and
I'm not
if
gonna
it's
go
fully
find that.
gone, then
It's
I just
already
can't
in the
believe
news.
it.
I didn't just find this out of the air. Just you go look at the
I'm
sources.
wondering where you found it. Show me where you found it. Everything that you
But-
sent me
but
is not in
why-
there.
You literally pulled it out of AI's ass.
No,
Like, you
got the
literally
link.
pulled it from
It
thin
just
air.
fucking
That's the
hallucinated
issue.
it because
That's the
there's so many
issue,
things that
Gibbs.
say Plattner's a
It's
Nazi,
Thin
and they're
air.
like, well,
Well,
you
I
denied the
literally pulled it from the
Holocaust.
USA Today article. Who said
I looked in there. It's not in
they said
there.
he had anti-Semitic posts. They didn't specify. So I go, what were they? And this is what they said.
Did you
Like,
type in
didn't-
anti-Semitic,
I said,
Hunter?
what was anti-Semitic post? All right.
And
it
AI
said,
posted. AI told you that he denied the Holocaust.
This is what the AI said. I mean, you can show.
Stop fucking
January
using.
Where
2026.
is the source?
God
Give us
damn
the
it.
source.
Oh,
And then I'll
wait,
believe it.
it doesn't
Ask
matter.
AI for the source. Ask
Okay,
AI.
let me find
US
What link
Today
should I
says
give my
it
friend
was-
Hunter, who feels a
He's an
little bit?
anti-Semite, but whatever. US Today didn't provide us With
No,
the
this is
evidence,
like
so,
the double standard. If I post like a fact search check like a news source like the USA Today, and they say something like this, and then you go, Gibbs, you need to find what their
You
source
said he
was.
denied the Holocaust, and that's not in the
Okay.
fucking
Yeah,
article.
we're looking for the source. Okay,
Okay.
the actual.
If I give this to you, I'm gonna stop giving sources again because I get held to the most
I don't care.
standard compared to all of
We're
y'all.
just
Every
asking-
time,
Shut the
every
fuck up.
time,
Gibbs,
you'll
I
never
hate
put my
you.
sources, and I'm the only one
Yeah.
that ever does. And then it's
We're
crazy.
just asking-
It's never
we're
It's
just
good
not
enough.
asking
in
for
here.
the
Hold
quote.
on. I agree that he has said some anti-Semitic things.
I tried to move away from the conversation, but you keep dragging
No,
it back.
I'm gonna
like, hey,
find it. And
okay,
when
well,
I
that's
find
good.
it, once again, we're gonna spend 20 minutes where Gibbs finds source and is proven
I
correct
don't-
again.
You're not gonna
I know you don't care because
Go ahead, do
fact
that.
checking Gibbs is a national pastime here. Because
Stop.
guess
No,
what?
because
He always
here's how
has
you
to be
fact
right.
check. You send 10 sources, none of which have your claim, and then you have AI hallucinate it. That's how you do research.
That's not how I do research. Just because I click one and I review something, thinking, okay, we can take it at face value. But here we go. Oh, we got set for
You're
linking
just
interview.
bad
It's a
faith,
lie.
Hunter. You're bad
There
faith.
you go.
I'm
You
gonna-
know
I'm
what?
gonna step
Here's
in and
one.
protect my
Here's
friend
some Jewish insider. Here you go. I got it. They're gonna quote it.
Did
I know
he?
that's a source. you'll
Jewish
trust.
Can you
Jewish
send me a source?
insider.
Like,
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
That's
he
a
didn't
source
say
you can
it.
trust right there.
Okay,
But-
awesome.
Now,
I'm
now,
sure he's
but
been
but
anti-Semitic.
why would
and
you
he
not
supported
support
Hamas.
Collins? Probably the most, I think, the most moderate
here's how
Republican
Boston Spirit magazine.
of ever right now.
No, I think she still votes like 95% with Trump.
No,
Or-
she's very much. She is. So, by the way,
She
I
is,
said-
she is of the moderate Republican. She is moderate,
She's
but
the most
also the
moderate.
Republican is very ideologically like.
hold on, I don't know about that. I've read the USA article, the USA Today
Hold on.
article, and it pointed
I've
out
said this.
that Collins voted to confirm the Democratic justices. Collins is voted to
Hold on, let me
keep the
clarify. Let me
ACA.
clarify.
Collins
And
is,
hold on. This is going to sound like I will show you tweets where I've said this before this conversation. There is a marginal difference between Collins and Plattner. It's almost a coin toss, but I would go with Plattner.
so wouldn't it be better though if you're like pushing an image to like want to work with moderate Republicans against the threat?
I'm
of
with
Trump?
you. I'm with you. That's
Support
why it's like
Collins.
there's a lot of good reasons to support Collins over Plattner.
Okay.
And like
They can't do it
if
right
you
now.
do that,
Lacroix. Vote
if
blue
you
no
do
matter
it, I
who
would
is
go.
the-
I don't like
liberals, man.
if you vote for Collins, I don't
These
blame you.
fucking liberals.
Shut
These
God damn
fucking
it.
liberals.
Even voting for Nazis is better
I'm
than
saying
fucking
I can't
liberals.
have a
Maybe it's because they are
rhetorical.
Nazis.
I can't have a rhetorical conversation
Fucking
with any
liberals.
Republican when we are not being properly vetting our candidates and they have Nazi tattoos. That's just shit we can't have. That's not being a moderate. It's just shit
These
we can't
fucking
have.
Liberals. They're fucking liberals.
You're betraying the vote blue no
Um,
matter who. See, you are different than Josiah. Josiah,
No. I do think Josiah would agree with me here and say that there is
you
a
think
huge-
you think Josiah would vote
yeah,
for
because
Republicans?
they don't
over
have-
Democrats?
No.
Yeah,
I would
I
vote
would-
for Plattner, but I wouldn't necessarily. I think that this is the closest election currently.
Then why
by
would you
far.
vote for Plattner?
What?
Why would you vote for Plattner?
Because vote blue no matter
Because
who.
no, because I do think that that his specific policies are more in line
It's opposed to
with my
the Detroit
ideology.
News covering him. Here you go. Perfect. This
Which
one got it.
Which ideology?
Oh my
'Cause,
God,
we don't know.
please.
From what he's claiming, I can only take his word for it. But his word isn't worth much. I agree. I don't know.
Okay.
But also, fucking Collins sucks too.
Why is the Detroit News doing an article on?
Yeah, I'm
Greg
trying
Plattner?
to. I tried to get into a Jewish Insider friend, Gibbs. I did like it's just like it won't verify me. It's like
They have him
verify,
blocked.
Like keep doing it.
They
That's
got
why
you on
they
the
got me
list.
blocked.
It's Mossad,
Jewish
bro.
Insider's got me
Well,
blocked.
don't worry,
I'll
Detroit
try the other link
News-
though.
I didn't
Detroit
even-
News is
I'm
activating.
why you
I'm
can't
disappointed
find
you
it.
even sent
I'll
me
try
that
Detroit
link.
News. I'm sorry.
I'm disappointed
Go
you
ahead.
even sent me that link, Gibbs. I'm not gonna click that. Have Mossad infest my computer right now.
Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna
now you got
search.
Detroit News.
I'm gonna search for the word Holocaust. Am I gonna find something?
No, you have to search anti-Semitic.
Well, I agree. He's
I
probably
didn't,
had
I
made
didn't
some
search. I
anti-Semitic
didn't search
comments.
any- I didn't Semitic. It
The
said,
question
okay,
was, did he
like-
deny the Holocaust?
Yeah, he shared fucking far right people
Did
that would
Trump
deny
even?
the
Or,
Holocaust.
sorry, did Gibbs even say that? I don't remember Gibbs. Let's move on.
Okay.
To
He said he
something else.
Then why
retweeted. He
doesn't
said
he
he
concede that?
retweeted
Why
a
didn't he
far
say,
right
"Oh,
guy
he
who was
doesn't say
denying
that"?
the Holocaust. That's
Yeah,
what
if you say like
Let's move on to something
pro,
else.
you say I think it's pretty clear. If you have a Nazi tattoo and you're pro Hamas killing the Jews, and then you're over here sharing posts like hold on. In context, maybe that's fine. But when you're pro that, and then you're also posting statuses where a guy outright denies the Holocaust, yeah, he's probably a Nazi. I like, and you had the tattoo for 20 years. You probably found out if you didn't know right off the bat, and then you go, hey, what? This tattoo aligns with what I believe. So like, crazy. it's not like the guys covering the other country.
Personally, I think that the anti-Semitic left is not pro the SS. I think that that's a pretty fair brush to.
Yeah, they just want to use the national government to enforce their rights and enforce everything they want on top of people that don't want it, and then by gunpoint.
By Prime.
And the Mossad really did
Get
get
sick of us.
Hunter, I gotta
True.
ask you. I gotta
Yeah.
ask you something. The vote blue, no matter who crowd.
Yeah.
This is something that's annoying me.
Go
Something
ahead.
That's annoying me.
Mhm.
Something that's annoying me. When the Democrats win this round of elections and potentially the presidency,
Win the Senate.
the Senate,
Oh.
yeah, the
Hey,
Senate,
I'm the
the
crazy one.
Senate and the
He's
president.
No, I'm wondering, is that a
I am not
hypothetical?
No,
That should be entertaining.
the Senate
Well,
and the
it's
presidency.
it's kind
this-
of close. We're
No,
winning
I'm
the
telling
House
you,
for
this,
sure.
kind of.
this blue wave that you guys see coming, that I think is predictably true, right? I see
Okay.
it too.
For the House, yeah, 100%.
I have
Maybe.
I have an issue with the
changing.
way it's being
Oh, yeah.
portrayed because
Okay.
I don't think it's because Democrats have a strong base. I think it's all anti-MAGA, anti-Republican. You have an anti-party right now.
Uh-huh.
So my issue is that you guys are voting whoever the fuck in because vote blue no matter who, right? At least the liberal
Okay.
crowd, right? So you vote, but then
I would say
there's
vote blue no matter
there's-
who. That's something I'll say
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll-
yeah. But then you're voting in whoever. You're voting in people you probably disagree with, right? Which I think is going to turn off all the anti-MAGA voters because they're not going to get the things that they want, right? They're going to see the Democrats get in, and we're not
on, what-
necessarily.
What Democrat are we voting in that isn't anti-MAGA?
No. Not. You're not voting in a Democrat that isn't anti-MAGA. I'm saying the anti-MAGA voters are going to
Okay.
be are the ones that are voting in our vote blue no matter who right now. I don't think
Right.
people are amped to vote in Democrats. I think they're amped to vote anti-Republican right now.
Right. I agree.
Fair.
Yes, of course.
So then right now when the Democrats get in, it's all going to
Uh-huh.
be working against whatever MAGA or whatever did. So I feel like Democrats aren't going to really get many things done.
Wait, why are
Which-
you saying that? If we have a supermajority, we have the Senate, we have the House and the presidency. We have a supermajority in them, and we
Mhm.
won't get shit done. Is that what you're saying?
I don't think you
fundamentally disagree with that. We had a supermajority.
So-
The only hold on. The only time that the Democrats have ever had a supermajority in all three, I forget what it's called, the triumvirate or something.
Mhm.
I forget what it's called. Was 88 days. And you know what we did in those 88 days?
Mm-mm.
We passed Obamacare. That's
Mhm.
that's what we did. Is we established a universal health care for
Well,
or
if you want
maybe
to go
not
back
universal
further, you guys
healthcare.
had it for longer than that. During
Yeah,
FDR.
back in Clinton,
Yeah.
sure, but over the last
So
20 years.
that's kind of the point I'm going to make, Lactoid, is that this is a little bit of an issue that I
Yeah.
see with the Democrats is
Okay.
and once again, MAGA voted in Trump for the things that they wanted. Now they get everything they wanted in the way that they wanted it? No. But guy came in and said, I'm gonna do this for you, and he kind of did some shit for them, and then he kind of backed off
Some
on
of it.
some shit and so on and so
Uh-huh.
forth. Democrats don't do that. Democrats come in and they are pragmatic, right? It's performative. They're coming in. They're like, "Oh no, we have."
I
to
mean, I
work
disagree with
within-
your framing for sure.
We have to work within the system. Well, I mean, everyone looks
Here's
at
the-
the
here's-
Democrats
wait,
as
can I-
feeble, right?
can
That's
I
kind of
pause-
the issue.
can I pause here?
Go ahead.
I
Whatever
do
you want.
think the big frustration that I have with conversations like this is
Yes.
it feels like we reify this idea of something like the Democratic Party. We treat something as an abstract label and we treat it as something like concrete. Like Laxwood was like, okay, well, what about back in Clinton? That personally wasn't the Democratic Party. That had the label Democratic Party. We are a fundamentally different party than what existed in
Sure.
the 90s. Clinton is fucking different. When you talk about the feebleness, you're referring
Yeah.
really to Biden. And largely speaking, most of the Democrats in power right
No,
now
that is not
disagree
what
with
they're
that
referring to.
feebleness.
I'm not referring.
Who
I'm
are
not
you referring
Biden.
to?
Biden's Biden's an
so-
example.
So,
of it.
as a Democrat voter, right, of the past,
Uh-huh.
and someone who is who is I only got into politics through you guys, through the panel
Okay.
thing. I wasn't really a big panel. I see no one. The only person I see that anyone's talking about is Gavin Newsom. And as far as I've seen of Gavin Newsom, there's really nothing that I'm like, ooh, this guy is gonna be doing anything revolutionary or when I say revolution, I don't mean a revolution. I mean he's not gonna do it. I think he's just gonna be a
gonna
run-of-the-mill
revolutionize
guy.
No. Wait, hold
Yeah.
on.
He's gonna be a run-of-the-mill
Are
guy.
you telling me?
What?
Because here's the confusion. We don't
Yeah.
even need to do.
We don't
this.
need water.
We
for
can just look
firefighters.
at. Hold on. Shut the fuck up, Gibbs.
Go ahead, Hunter.
We
Yeah.
could just look at.
revolutionizing firefighting by letting it all burn down.
We could just look at triumvirate hard blue states and see what they've accomplished. Largely speaking, they have the most pro-trans legislation in the entire world. Largely speaking, they have the most pro-choice legislation in the entire world.
True.
Largely
Trans people
speaking,
don't feel
they have
Unlimited
the
abortions
most-
all the way up until birth.
Yeah, but
Like,
hold on. Do you
genuinely,
think-
and
hold on,
I'm
Hunter,
against
you
that.
don't- Hold on, Hunter. Like, just objectively, do you
Wait.
think, like, hold on. Like, do you think that makes y'all less feeble? Like, no offense to my.
I know,
my
Gibbs. I was
fan
doing
base.
something.
Yeah.
I'm doing this whole thing. So like,
Sure, go
so
ahead,
like
yeah.
the
Yeah,
states
Gibbs, come
have
on,
it.
you
The,
say-
the,
butt out,
the
all right?
states
Okay,
have it,
yeah.
right? No. The states have it, but
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, it's a lot more things go into like the following election, right? This election matters right now, but you have to think about the next ones that come up. And so, like, unfortunately for me, who is the vibes voter, who is the what's I think the majority of people, all we're thinking is, well, yeah, the Democrats are going to come in because Trump was like fucking rough, and people want the change.
Yeah.
Then right when the Democrats come in, nothing much is going to be
You keep
accomplished. Versus
saying
when
that, but,
Trump
like,
because
have
this is
no-
how it feels, and I'm trying to tell you that you guys are not, or you are not demonstrating a difference.
And
'Cause Trump
here's my
comes in
issue:
and
we
Roe
don't
v.
have the
Wade
ability
goes away,
because we don't have
and
the
this-
numbers.
yeah.
We've never had the numbers.
Well,
it's
this
always a fucking.
you don't
it's,
have the aura, is what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I was
Oh
saying. That's what I was
God.
commenting on right there.
You're
Like,
the
hold
aura
on,
in the
Hunter.
Democratic fucking party.
Orless.
You're all
Yeah,
your aura right now is anti-Trump.
Jacks.
You have
No, no.
you have an anti-party, and the issue is there's no one to get behind. There isn't
It's
anyone
so
doing
fucking
anything, and then you
easy.
guys,
No,
and then you guys, and then
I'm
you
gonna
guys,
talk. I'm gonna talk.
We
I'm
are
gonna talk.
driving
guys
the
know.
conversation.
I'm
and then
gonna start-
and
hold on.
then
Here's the
and
issue I
then
have with this,
and
Ollie.
then
Here's
and
the
then
issue I
and
have
then
with
and
this,
then you
Ollie.
guys spend and then you guys
You-
spend all your time. You guys spend all your time shitting on leftists, which I understand why you do
You're
to an
so-
extent.
this
How
is so
fucking
pathetic.
ever,
No,
how
but-
fucking ever, just like for MAGA, just like for Trump, at least for the leftists, right? They want to vote people in that they believe will kind of walk in, kick the fucking doors down,
Here's-
and get shit
but
done.
here's
why-
Which
Hunter, before
is
you
the
go,
problem with the
Bob, this is
Democratic
a
Party. There's no one that
conversation
kicks the
with
door
me.
down.
But I want you,
Hold
I want you to
on.
understand
Shut the
something.
fuck up. It's my turn.
I want to ask
It's
you a
my
question,
turn.
Hunter.
Here's
what
my
they
issue.
said.
Gibbs,
Oh.
shut the fuck up.
No,
Let me
I'm
talk.
talking now. You can respond in a second, man. Motherfucker. Just 10 seconds. You just mentioned all these policies, by the way, right? And you're like, you were proud of those. You're like, this makes us look like less feeble. And like, Ollie is trying to communicate something to you. The things that you're proud of make you look like a bunch of bitches. Like, that's not the things you are accomplishing
And
makes
not-
you look
Kind
makes you
of,
look.
not so much.
But it doesn't make you look strong. Like,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah,
like wow, we want to put men and women's sports. That's not like, yeah, we're really like no.
Gibbs,
I mean,
you're fully arguing as a conservative, and
no,
this
I'm just
conversation
saying,
is not
like,
about you.
as a vibes thing. No, I'm just saying, like, do you think that to an
The
average
vibe
person-
isn't for you.
Like,
You
cool.
are
No, so
fundamentally
at least-
opposed to what we stand for.
I understand that, but even for the things that the Dems, the party is pushing, that's not what the average Dem wants. Like, they're like going here going,
No.
oh, buddy.
Hold on, Gibbs,
Ollie's
shut the fuck
telling
up.
you-
I'm going to
Ollie's
talk to
telling
Ollie.
you this, and you're like going,
Shut the
Ollie,
fuck up,
you're
Gibbs.
telling him
You
he's
don't know
pathetic
this
for what he's
conversation.
saying.
You are ideologically opposed to everything
You're
I
just
believe
not-
in.
you're
Of
just
course, I'm going to sound like a
but
pussy.
you're
to you.
refusing to listen to what Ollie's telling you, and then you turn around and say some shit that you're proud of, and he's like, I'm like going, bro, that's not selling it.
Bro, don't you just fucking let's murder people at the fucking border. Let's shoot them down. Alligator
That's
Alcatraz. That's how we
manly.
show fucking.
That's manly
Go-
shit. right
that's how we
there.
show aura. Exactly.
It is aura.
You're okay.
Sharks
Ollie,
and laser beams, baby.
Here's why.
Yo.
Here's why I can't stand. Here's why I really can't stand. And I'm gonna say I'm gonna be a little aggressive. People like
Do you
you.
think?
I'm gonna
man?
be
Do you
honest.
think?
Here's the thing. I can't fucking stand people like you because
Yeah, I'm down.
you are the
We're
entire
right. We're
country
correct.
is full of people with you.
We're
Okay.
correct.
You-
Yes,
there is-
people like
there's-
me are right.
Fuck, sorry, my camera's off. I don't know what the hell's
Yeah,
going on.
It's fine.
Got him.
I'm still
Right
talking.
when you were getting on a roll too.
I'm still talking.
Oh.
Here's the issue.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah,
the
we can
issue
hear
that
you.
I have. Here's the issue that I have. Like 40% of Democrats are people like you who are like, man, we have to like stop being the anti-Trump party. We got to be the pro something. Why are the
Mhm.
Democrats so feckless? You say this over and over and over again. You
Yeah.
know who disagrees with you? You know who is listening to you? The Democrats. And you still don't fucking care. How many interviews, how many times have they talked about, man, we got to start pushing for these policies. Here's the things that we care about. Here's the shit that we need to talk about. We can't keep talking about Trump. We can't leverage Trump. We can't make the politics about Trump. In 2 years, he's going to be gone from politics. We can't focus on this. And they
Yeah.
talk about this ad infinitum because you keep saying, no, we're going to change our mind as long as the Democrats change. They change and you still don't care.
So as far as I know, what's like Newsom, right? Newsom's the guy for president that everyone
Yep.
wants, right?
He's the
That's-
governor of
that's-
California.
Governor of
I
California.
think he's
So like,
leading right now.
when he becomes president, right? When
Yeah.
he becomes the Democratic president,
Mhm.
the leader of the free world is what they call this position,
Yeah,
right?
go ahead.
Right. What are we gonna get? What do we get out of it?
Universal health care
outside,
immediately.
we're gonna immediately get universal.
Hold
health.
on. If we have
Within 4 years,
if we have a super majority in the House, Senate,
Yeah.
and
No.
presidency, absolutely
No.
fucking I will
So,
bet
yeah,
money
yeah.
on that.
So
Absolutely.
see, Lactoid, right now, you're giving
What,
him
you think
aura,
we
right?
maybe not
You're giving
Medicare
him-
for all, but certainly a public option. You think we could do a public option
What?
immediately?
You just went. You already just dropped a notch.
You're already
You already
backing
dropped
up.
I did it. I said universal health care.
You're
You
backing
dropped
up.
it. You're like, yeah, maybe,
No,
maybe
here's
a
your
public
shit. You don't
option.
even know what universal health care is. I say, oh, this specific type, and you go, see, already you're backing up. You don't even fucking believe it, shit.
There is a public option already. It's called Medicaid.
Also, I'm just
Am
for
I
that,
wrong?
just for
Yes.
that, I posted
Why am I
one
wrong?
news story.
Is that
Because
not
it's
public?
For the public, it's for poor
There you go.
people.
I
Are
thought we
poor
had
people not a part
Obamacare.
of the public?
No, but I'm part of the public, and I don't have access to it.
Yeah, because so you just said it's going to be a public option as opposed to universal, right?
No, not opposed to. Universal public option is a type of universal.
You think that there's going to be a public option if the Democrats win the House, Senate, and the presidency?
presidency in 2028. Absolutely.
no way.
100%.
What else?
There's no way.
I want to know what
Why do
else
you- wait,
we're
hold
getting.
on.
I want to know
Why
what
would
else
that
we're
not happen?
getting.
Lactoid, why would that not happen?
Because among Democrats, that's a fucking like marquee issue. You think you're going
What
to
Are
get
we
the
forgiving
fuck are you
student
talking
loans?
about?
You think you're going
think
to hold on? You think that Democrats are universally in favor of a public option?
Name one. Name one.
Fetterman, get fucked.
You're such a bitch. You're such a bitch.
Am I out?
Mention.
You said name one. You said name one.
Oh, fuck.
Name two. Name
God.
two,
Name
Lactoid.
two.
No, but okay. What else are we getting,
Such a
Hunter?
bitch.
Hold on. Do you think it's Gavin Newsom? Maybe you can educate me here. Do you think Gavin Newsom actually supports a public option for the whole country? You think so?
Yes. Unquestionably. Let's look it up right now.
I'm looking at it right now. I'll
I
eat
mean,
pro
that's
that.
definitely the guy you should let run it. I mean, we can
What the
see how
fuck are
well
you
we can
talking
see
about?
how well projects are
No,
running.
no, wait, hold
California.
on. Were we alive in 2020? In 2020 during the fuck, what was it called? Not the generals, the primaries for president. Because do you know who got shit on so fucking hard? Joe Biden. Do you know why Joe Biden got shit on so hard by the entire party?
It's all-
It's because he was such a bitch. He didn't support Medicare for all. He supported a public option,
Mm.
and they all went.
then he won.
You fucking loser.
And then he won.
And we did it at the house.
Can I read
We-
this? Hold on. Can I read this AI summary
I'm
for you real
gonna
quick?
fucking lose it. We don't have
No,
that
no,
house. We've
we
never
need
had
the
that
source.
Hold on.
Let's
No. Let me read this. This is an AI
Oh, well,
summary.
we have a president, so we
This
should
is
be
AI
able to do
summary.
whatever
Hold
we
up.
want.
Hold up.
Main
As of May
Republicans
20
get a triumvirate, and then we're like,
Are you ready?
who
Hold
cares?
on. Hold on. As of May 2026,
I'm
Governor
losing my
Gavin
shit.
Newsom's healthcare policy focuses on universal access through incremental expansions of Medi-Cal rather than a single-payer system, covering 94% of California residents.
Okay.
He
You are
incentives
being
include
retarded
expand-
right now. That's what I just described.
He-
That's a public option.
Hold on,
I mean, that's not
Medi-Cal
a
is
public.
there.
I mean, that's not a public option.
Yes,
Johan,
it is.
universal-
It's
What are we
income,
talking
it's
about?
income tested.
See how dishonest the Dems are? See
It's
this?
not a public
This is
option.
what I'm
You
talking
said
about.
it was gradually
He's
increasing
He's
until
right.
it-
he's
can't
done
even
on
admit
single
Ollie was
payer, right? Like there's an
Crazy.
article on it right here, right? Like
Like,
Gavin
show-
Newsom's
show me this
single
shit.
payer
I'm
healthcare.
so
By the way, I need to
fucking
see those
mad.
sources, Lactoid. I need to see all the sources specifically for the bills that he's proposed.
See, Hunter,
down
no
to the-
aura is kind of the
Yeah,
point.
I'll-
I
I'll send
hate
you-
His Google
everyone
ID is
here.
fine.
I hate everyone. I hate Ali for being a little bitch and for Democrats listening to people like Ali.
I'm
a
thinking
little
bitch,
that
but
they
I'm a
would
little
change
bitch
their
He
who's
mind.
walked
right.
back from
I'm a
universal.
little bitch
He
who's
walked
right,
back
and that's
from
what
single
matters
payer.
to me.
Where
What
are the
matters to me is
sources,
that I'm
Lactoid?
correct.
Where are the sources
Hold
on
on.
your Google
Is this
AI
him
search?
is this him as a president or is this him specifically as a governor?
As governor.
As a
He
governor,
was
has he
with- he
released his
hasn't been
presidential
president.
platform yet?
Wait, hold
Yeah,
on.
he hasn't been-
Hold on. Doing so within a state is very difficult to maximize the amount of risk, and largely speaking, it is
In a
more
blue
effective
state?
nationally.
And a blue.
He
state.
couldn't even get it done in
The
You guys don't know how
California.
healthcare works. You guys don't know how
said,
fucking
yo,
healthcare works, and it
you
pisses
just
me
have to
off.
have
I will bet $1 million.
right?
I will bet $1 million.
Yes,
If
that.
Newsom wins the presidency, we have the House, we have the Senate, we have
Definitely.
the supermajority to do
Newsom
it.
was,
We will
who
have.
backed away from,
we will
from
have-
progressive stances before. Newsom who talks about
No,
how
you know what?
Republicans
You know what I'll
have
say?
a
We
good
would have
point.
Medicare for all.
Newsom
We
was
would
like
have that.
my son's favorite podcaster.
You guys
Charlie
are such
Kirk,
bitches.
right? Like,
You have no idea how
Newsom-
healthcare
Okay, so
works.
Hunter,
You have
what
no
else
idea.
would we
There's no
have?
fucking
What else
Newsom
would we
who
have?
Who doesn't have who believes in nothing.
He
who,
promised to do it in
what was-
California and then walked it back, just to be clear.
I just want to know what else we would have. Like, show me give me the aura. What
Um,
else would we have?
So okay, here's the thing. If you're looking for aura, here's
I mean-
the issue. Here's the issue. We are
Yeah.
right. And so we don't just get to make shit up. and have
No,
that
I
or
mean,
like
Hey,
Gibbs
they're
gets.
right.
I
They're
mean,
right.
I mean,
Hold on,
I mean,
hold
I
on,
mean,
you know
I mean,
what's funny?
Shut the fuck
you
up.
said
Shut the fuck up.
Medicare
I'm
for
answering
all.
the
Again, hold on,
I'm
once
answering
again,
the question.
No, what else
here's
do
the
we
thing.
get?
Hold
I
on,
would
hold
say-
on. Once
I would say-
again,
I would say-
I
how about
said
this?
I make shit up, and I provide. Hold on. Once again, I just want to point out the double
Gibbs,
standard.
shut
again.
the
No,
fuck
no, I'm
up.
not
That's a
shutting you up.
plethora
You
of
invoke my name again. I'm gonna just bring up a point. This is what's funny. Oh, you're the one who's right, morally right. You're right or whatever. And then
I am.
yet I say, hey, y'all are Nazis, and y'all go give source, prove it, and y'all literally run a candidate who I can provide now. I provided sources. The AI who's got a Nazi fucking tattoo.
No one said he
says-
didn't have a
hold on,
Nazi tattoo.
shh. Now you be quiet now. I've been waiting. You've been saying y'all say these things.
I'm not gonna not
hold
listen to
hold
you.
on. And I've said for months, years, they're actually Nazi socialists in disguise. Then you'll run a candidate. He's leading by 30 points, who has Nazi imagery and has a checkered history.
Okay.
No, I'm not done.
We're not even talking
I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm not done.
conversation.
I'm not done. I'm not done. Thank you. And so when he posts these things, and I say
Such a
that,
bitch.
and I hold on, no, and I
A
say
white
this
man's
out-
talking. Listen and
yeah,
learn.
you're,
I
listen,
apologize.
it's a Mexican man, first of all. Secondly, I'm going to say this because I say this,
White
and y'all go Gibbs. Source, and so I go. AI said this, and you'll go source from there. So I go find the sources, and I post it, and then I'm told Gibbs is crazy, Gibbs is wrong, and this happens over and over and over again.
'Cause you're
And
wrong all the time.
No, and I keep every time I end up provide. You say that, and yet every time I actually provide the sources, and I end up being right. Prime got mad at me one time.
You haven't. I
stop
to find a
talking.
source
I'm
that
not
he
done.
denied the
Hold on.
Holocaust happened.
I literally posted it in there and I posted it in chat. Thank you.
You hear
And-
that? He's saying that he denied the Holocaust, not that he made anti-Semitic
Oh,
responses.
hold on,
Not that he is a Nazi,
even
but
more,
he
even
denied the
more,
Holocaust.
even more so, bro. If you make anti-Semitic posts like "Yay, kill the Jews," and then hey, share a fucking post about a guy saying, "Hey, this guy's got some good takes." What about a guy that says "Deny the Holocaust"? That's deny the Holocaust,
Kill the
man.
Jews and
Hold
plus
on.
30 is crazy.
And you have a Nazi tattoo for 20 years. Hold on, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry.
Such a
Hold on,
bitch.
you say you're right.
You're
Hold on,
such
I'm
a
not
bitch.
done. I want to make my point. I'm trying, but I keep getting off. Here's the thing.
You're a bitch.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. Is you keep saying I'm a bitch because you're mad.
I do.
Because I'm actually saying
I am mad. I
saying
fucking hate.
factual-
I hate
factual-
people like you.
I'm saying factual statements
hate my
backed up
country.
by things.
You
You're
are
mad.
really
No, you hate
manipulated by
the
people like
Although
you.
I'm going to finish my point. You're mad because I say things that are factual, and it's not
Big
the uniform talking points of the uniparty that you prescribe to. And so when I actually go read things and see
Whoa,
news
you're
and post them,
reading.
as opposed to eat the dick of my betters and sit and promise to say their talking points like you do, I'm sorry, it might sound shocking and crazy to you, but unlike you, I actually do the research, and then when I post this shit, I know how to find the source. Although, unlike you, I've never once seen you post a source in your period. So get fucked and get wrecked. That's called debate. You lost. It's sad times. That's
Okay,
That's
I'm
all
going.
good.
He defined it and he declared it. all
No,
right?
no,
I'm gonna ignore all that because you're a little bitch. I'm gonna talk to Ali instead. Ali, what were you saying? What else are we
Yeah,
gonna
I
get?
will.
Okay,
No,
how about this? How about this?
hold on. Before we move off to healthcare for a second, I'm going to challenge you on this.
Me?
Yeah, I'm going to challenge you on this. You
Do
said
it.
Gavin Newsom would 100% President Gavin
I would.
Newsom
I
would do
would
it.
bet. I would bet
Here's the
as much
problem.
money as I have.
Sure. Here's
His
my
newborn
problem.
child.
Yeah.
I
Why
got a stack on it.
Okay. Why?
Mhm.
So just a little bit of history here that I've been
Yes.
reading on after we brought up Gavin Newsom, right after I owned you
Yes.
with John Fetterman. Gavin Newsom.
All right. Fetterman, Fetterman's a good
Uh,
example. He's the one. You found the one.
No, Gavin Newsom.
And I asked for
when
one.
he
to
ran,
be fair.
you did. When Gavin Newsom ran, he said that he was going to get universal health care in California.
Mhm.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
And then he became governor
Mhm.
this last time around.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that because
Correct.
he cited that it'd be too expensive, that it would cost too
Mhm.
much money.
Mhm.
Now, let
Because
me
you
ask
can't
you-
minimize risk nationally.
When you're saying, you're using that word, minimize risk nationally.
Mhm.
I'm a little bit confused as to what that means.
Mhm.
What do you mean by that? And why would that stop California, which is overwhelmingly wealthier, overwhelmingly healthier, and
Mm.
overwhelmingly more liberal? Why is this risk pool all of a sudden harder to insure than an entire country, which includes much poorer areas and much more politically difficult areas to get support from, and areas that are more unhealthy? Explain that.
You know what? That's a great question.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. So then so
you know,
then,
I
yeah,
think
so-
you're right. I think you're right that the risk pool would be it would be better in California than nationally. I think that's
So
true.
no, so no
Because-
universal health care. So what are we getting? What else are we getting with? So Lactoid just shut you down on that one. What else am I getting? Why? Okay, this is my point. This is my.
I would
point.
have
This is my
to
point.
wait. Hold on. I would have to
This is
look
my
into.
point. No.
I also
Wait,
wait. Hold on. Hold on.
This
hold
is
on,
really
hold
my
on.
point.
Just,
This
can
is,
I
let me-
clarify?
no,
I conceded.
Let him
Let me add a
clarify.
caveat.
Let him clarify. You can put it.
Let me
Go
add
ahead.
a caveat.
That's fair.
First
Yeah.
off, I genuinely don't know about Gavin Newsom's policy proposals specifically and what he has done with California, and I would like to look into that. Okay, I
Mhm.
will concede I did get bitched. Okay, and I will own it like a man.
My- oh,
But I want to
Mhm.
clarify.
yes.
I also do not think that Gavin Newsom is the ideal candidate or even close to that ideal candidate.
Which is the bigger
So
issue.
that's also
which is
so
the
that's
biggest
also part of
issue.
it. Yeah.
No, that's the biggest issue is that unfortunately
What?
the only thing that the Democrats have going for them and liberals have going for them is
Mhm.
an anti-Trump thing. No one is your ideal. No one is your ideal candidate. However, all you
No,
guys
no,
do,
I have ideal candidates.
yeah, but none of them that are viable.
Yes,
But-
100%.
I mean, like who? For
Buttigieg
president?
and AOC.
For president?
Yes.
Who? I'm not gonna lie. I don't know who Buttigieg is. AOC, sure, but I don't think AOC is winning presidency.
Okay, I think she's extremely popular in the Democratic Party right now. I think that she is pretty viable. She's polling, I think, 4th or 5th, but like 4th or 5th sometimes wins. She's definitely got a
Maybe.
chance. She's definitely got a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. AOC has a chance. Yeah, I would
Has a
agree.
chance, okay, but my issue with AOC is that a lot of the liberals are gonna. She's too left for a lot of liberals, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then you guys all attack the people who want the most change because you need the most milquetoast person to win because the party right now is there isn't enough like coalition amongst the whole party to actually want one thing. So the only thing that everyone can agree on is anti-Trump, which is why you're getting vote blue no matter who.
Okay, I
which is
keep
why you're
saying
probably going
this.
to end up. Which is why you're probably going to end up with a Gavin Newsom, which then is going to turn off all. Which is what I was saying earlier, is that you're just going to get some run of the mill guy, which is going to
Run of the mill guy.
which is going
Uh-huh.
to turn off all the anti-Trump voters because
Uh-huh.
or they're already disillusioned now, but they just want to
Uh-huh.
get Trump and Republicans
Here's
out of office.
I heard you the first time.
Yeah, and
here's
then
my issue.
then you tried to tell me that we're going to get
responded
universal
to you.
health care with
They've
Gavin
listened
Newsom
to
day
you
one.
and you
So
still
like,
don't care. How many?
no one. Oh my god. Oh my god. You just said they listened to me and no one cares, right? Me
Mhm.
personally, I'm a one voter guy. For me, it was
So-
Israel Palestine. So
Uh-huh.
I'm not. No one was going to listen. No one's going to listen to me on that one. So I moved
actually, I think
on.
the Democrats did a fucking way better job than the Republicans did
No, they didn't at all.
in
Not
terms
at all.
of Gaza.
They literally brought
Fire happened to
fucking bro. I'm from Dearborn, my guy. Like you guys brought Bill Clinton to come talk about Judea and Samaria to fucking Dearborn and Detroit, plugging your ears to Palestine. The DNC was plugging their ears to the. Listen, I don't want. I'm not gonna
Before we go on,
wait,
sorry guys,
Yeah.
we at the end. Let's just end this
Sure.
here.
No, let's
I'd
start
rather
the
not.
Israel Palestine right now. I think
Yeah.
now's the
Yeah.
time.
Let's
I
you'll
know what's going on
get
with my
an
camera. I'm
outro.
sorry.
You'll get an outro. And you can say whatever you like to say. All right. We know what Gibbs will be saying. The correct opinion is what Gibbs will be saying.
The correct centrist opinion.
But
That's right.
thank you, everyone, for coming here. Honestly, this was a lot of fun. We kind of meandered, but that's okay, right? Sometimes the topic keeps us the entire time, other times it doesn't. But I appreciate you guys coming through. And then, no matter what, we have a good conversation because we got a good group of individuals here. And you guys are reliably entertaining and engaging. So I'm very grateful to you, all of you, every single one of you guys. And yeah, so give you guys an outro. Before I do that, I wish I had had this prepared previously. Fuck. I was saying I'm gonna put the link in the chat at some point. I'm working on that. So you guys go to check your status, right? Your registration status. It is hold on a second. Hold on. Yes. Hold on. One second. Okay. I got the link. We're gonna copy this link. Copy link. Oh my god. And then we're gonna go back here, right? And Prime's just going to spam it in here. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. All right. So there's the link. Yeah, everyone, take a look at that. And yeah, make sure that you are signed up to vote, right?
No matter where you are in the world, no matter.
Yeah, no matter where you, of course, yeah, no matter where you are in the world, make sure you're and to vote how many times you've won, right? Especially if you're a Democrat, all right? Like like sending the secret message, right? But yeah, consider doing that, guys. Like no matter who you are, no matter who you're gonna vote for, consider being so kind as to make sure that you're able to participate. Like we want everyone to participate. We want our Republican friends, we want our Democratic friends, we want everyone to be able to participate. So go and head out. Let's go to our friend Lactoid.
Yeah, I'm Lactoid. You can find me at Lactoid TV on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Tomorrow, there's going to be a debate on Wick's channel between me and Hunter. We're going to debate why Hunter thinks Elliot Page is a woman.
True. We're not doing that, but we might.
That's it. That's all I had.
We will be on Wick.
Okay.
We will be on Wick's panel tomorrow. That's not the question. Yeah, the question is, what is a woman? We're gonna.
That was answered by Matt Walsh pretty clearly.
True.
Yeah, I know.
I'm ready to use my degree in philosophy of language to use.
No, thank you. But have fun with that one. But let's go to our friend Hunter. We wish you luck in that Lions Den.
For sure. I'm glad to come in to go into that Lions Den. I do want to say that looking into Gavin Newsom's policies when it comes to universal healthcare, it does look like he had a public option while he was mayor for San Francisco called Healthy San Francisco and extended care to all individuals, it seems, in 2006. So I do think, whatever. I'm going to have to look into this more. But I will say, vote blue no matter who. Democrats are better than Republicans unless they are insane. I don't really mean no matter who, but what I'm saying is if you're a bad person, you'd probably just run as red. That's really what I'm saying. They are largely one of the reasons I like Gavin Newsom so much is because I think he hates Republicans just as much as I do. And I really appreciate that aggression and tenacity. And there's something about that really just gives me a kick, even though he's not my ideal candidate.
He's a friends across the aisle type of guy.
You're an idiot.
He's 100%.
You guys don't listen to Democratic
candidates. He's been going on Republican podcasts, right?
He had an interview with Charlie Kirk. Therefore,
it wasn't just Charlie Kirk.
He's
been trying to reach out to conservatives this entire time. Okay. The Republican. Okay, whatever. It's fine. It's okay.
He's a hand washer, man.
Yeah. I don't think
you guys genuinely don't pay attention to politics. You have this side eye.
Don't say that.
No, Prime does. I don't.
I don't. That to me. I pay attention to politics, and fuck that. Yeah. Gavin Newsom is a spineless worm who will betray every single a progressive principle that he'll pretend that he has during the campaign. Right, as soon as he gets into office.
Let me plug for your better half, Prime. I'm going to plug for your better half, which is Wick, and say come to his show tomorrow.
That's racist.
I'm
sorry. I feel like that ticked you off. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Me and Lactoid are having a debate, so I think it's fair for me to promote that. Follow me at Hunter E. Kozak, basically everywhere. It's been a joy to have you here. It's been a joy for you to have me here. Thank you, Prime.
Also, if you want to say, what are the sides of the debate? What are the?
That's sorry.
It's probably what you think.
Okay, continue.
Get there. Yeah, let's go to our friend Ali. Thank you so much for coming through. Much appreciated, friend.
Yeah. So I am someone who actually doesn't know much about politics. But to that point, I think most people, especially people who vote, are people like me who don't know much about politics. So if I'm the person you're trying to convince to vote for you, I think, you would listen to me when I tell you, hey, this is what I need to vote for you. But, to the Prime's point, it's liberals don't like to fucking listen. I tried to have the same conversation with Pisco, and he just started yelling at me. Well, you're a vibes voter. You don't even know what's going on. Yeah, you're right. But I'm the person who wins you or loses you in elections. So I don't know, fucking eat my ass or don't. I don't know. It's your loss.
I'm not going to eat your ass.
And it's your and you'll continue to lose for it.
You're not winning the election.
And you'll continue to lose for it. So with that being said, free Palestine, free Lebanon. Prime, thanks for having me, boys. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. it was a coin toss, right? We didn't know which way it would go, but Hunter surprisingly chose not to eat Holly's ass.
I did consider it. I thought about it.
Which is it's crazy because it
I mean,
continues.
you're
A
gonna
bit of a
need
nail
to.
biter.
Yeah,
You're
it,
gonna need to.
it continues his anti everything Gibbs like because I say it's 2026. It's time to eat ass, boys. I'm just saying, but listen,
Yeah.
you know, and it also continues
Yeah.
with all of the other things. I'm anti-Nazi. I don't like white supremacy. You know, Hunter, he loves candidates. He says vote get blue no matter what, even if they're Nazis. It's crazy that Klan.
I mean,
was a
Hunter's
party-
name is Hunter. What are
You
you?
know,
hunting?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Crazy. But the point is, like the Dems, they're the party of the Klan. They're the party of the Nazis. They're now the party of the Nazis because socialists are Nazis. They just never changed. And it continues to this day. And I've always been saying this, guys. It's crazy how people go on the Republican side. Don't go to these spaces and talk to the lefties. I say no. We should. We need to come argue with them and let them speak. Because the best thing we can do for our party is let them say all the crazy shit Hunter says, and then try to tell you that we're the people that aren't normal. Yeah. So also, guys, as for how I'm going to promote all the stuff I got coming out, I just posted a link right now in the chat. Y'all can just go follow it. There's a schedule there. It's called X. Go check it out sometime. All right, and thank you so much for having me.
Gibbs, I do want to say you did bitch me. You bitched me again, and that's twice today.
You're welcome.
I respect it.
Corey, thanks so much. Thanks for being here, friend. Yeah, give your outro.
Oxycodone, that's what it was.
think it's
Thank
worn
you
off.
for having me and inviting me. Always a pleasure. Always entertaining conversations. And yeah, you can find me on Twitch, Corey Campbell 84, Twitter, X, YouTube, Instagram, Substack, TikTok. It's Corey Campbell. Gibbs, Ali, Hunter, Lactoid, always a pleasure. And I'm glad that your surgery seems to have turned out well.
Thank you.
And I hope you continue to fly high on OxyContin for however long it lasts. And the
I'm gonna go take a
prescription lasts.
second one. I don't think I can, but I might anyway.
And love you, Prime, who I think is frozen.
Absolutely. Oh, it's fine.
Oh, you're frozen
Like, I had
again.
to switch to another tab, and it does that.
Sucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna read a woman. We haven't read a woman in a while, and been too nice to.
What is a
men.
woman?
I read it Lactoid last time.
True.
Been on a
yeah,
little
what
gay
is a woman?
streak lately.
but it's a woman. Hey, we don't know. We'll have to go. You have to go to.
On that note, you're
Right.
straight
Yeah.
Lactoid.
I approve of Heath. All
But off you guys go. All right, they're gone.
All right.
right, later, guys.
Boys.
Appreciate everyone.
Something good.
Later,
Huh?
friendos.
Be well.
Bye, Lactoid TV.
Lactoid TV. All right, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. We're gonna raid. What is happening over here? Oh, Scott is on this panel. Look at that. Crazy. We found Scott. Thanks, Fetter. Thank you, friends. We're gonna raid on out now into the Raging Tomato, and Scott is on a panel over there, so give him love. Peace.
Obviously, I'm being pithy when I respond, but there is another theory within libertarianism, which is essentially like